Today, we are doing Path of Exile Boot Camp. The goal today is for those of you who have not played Path of Exile before, or have played Path of Exile and don't really know what you're doing, you're still kind of lost, you get frustrated when you're leveling up a new character, even when you're following a guide, which is, by the way, a very common thing. Don't get discouraged because this game has so much content in it. There's so many different layers and layers and layers to progressing your character that even when you follow a build guide, you're gonna get lost. You're gonna be confused. You're not gonna do something right. It's gonna feel terrible. Like, it happens. Don't get discouraged. So the goal is to address all of that. I'm going to level a character on a fresh solo self-found league start scenario. So I have literally nothing to my name, and I will explain pretty much everything that I'm doing and why. So let's get started by making a new character. It's time. All right, we're gonna click solo self-found affliction. That is the league we want. I'm gonna play. Okay, so I'm jumping the gun. Hey, reel it back, Jeremy. I'm jumping the gun here. If you have not watched my beginner guide to Path of Exile, I just put it out a couple weeks ago, or like 8 weeks ago. If you have not watched this video, you need to go watch this video, okay? Because it's going to explain the basics of the game. It's gonna go through a lot of stuff, but it'll explain them as concisely and as simply as possible. This video is going to be me going into depth on specifically leveling up a character, like pathing on the skill tree, what skill gems to use and why, the weapons, how armor affects, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to be covering all of that stuff. So if you just want a broad overview of Path of Exile to get as much info as possible in as little time as possible, you need to go watch that beginner guide. But if you don't want to watch it, or if you already have watched it, just 3 things, okay? You need 3 things when you're starting out in Path of Exile. 3 things, okay? Here we go. You listening? Number 1. Follow a build guide. Okay, I promise it's not going to ruin your experience with Path of Exile. I promise you that following a build guide will only help you. Think about it like this. A build guide in Path of Exile does not give you the answers. It gives you the formulas for then you to plug in and get the answer. Does that make sense? It doesn't solve everything for you. You're going to be learning a ton of stuff. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to play the game as you would any other RPG. It's just there's so much stuff in Path of Exile that a build guide is only going to help you out. Okay, number 2, download Path of Building. Path of Building is software that lets you plan out a character. It's a very lightweight program. It's very easy to download. All you have to do for this, I would simply recommend that you use it for planning out your passive skill tree, right? So if I chose the Ranger as my class, here's my starting point, and then you just look at some nodes, you're like, cool, mana reservation efficiency, boom, that looks cool. Suppression, oh man, this is cool. Cool. And then all of a sudden, look, you have like a little planned out skill tree. So at the very least, just use this program for planning out your skill tree. Even if you're not following a guide, download this so you can do that. There's also online resources. You can just search like PoE skill tree planner. There's some online ones if you don't want to download this program, but I highly recommend that you download Path of Building because of all the other functionality as well. You have every single skill gem, in the entire game right here. So if you can just do your exact build, and especially if you're following a build guide, it will almost certainly have a Path of Building link, which you will just go over here to import, export, build. You'll paste that code right here, click import. It'll import everything for you. And there's going to be leveling tips. There's like a note tab. Probably the build author wrote some notes up for you to make it simpler. Highly recommend this program. So Path of Building. But for this stream or this video, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm not going to use Path of Building because I want to explain everything that I'm doing and my thought process. So if I go through and I just make a character in Path of Building, that kind of defeats the purpose, especially for you guys that have no context to the skill tree. Like, you have no idea what to path towards and why it matters and what does damage and what is good defense. You have no idea, right? So I want to give you as much of a relatable experience as I can. So I'm not going to use Path of Building for this character, but I highly recommend that you do. And third and finally, you need to download a loot filter. There's a website called filterblade.xyz. Oh, it's already right there. Hold on. Boom. I would recommend probably the semi-strict filter. You probably don't need regular. So you just slide this little guy over here, you know? Regular, semi-strict. Either one of these is going to be good for you. Probably regular, actually, for a beginner. And then you just click save and export. You're going to name your filter. You're going to click save and sync, and then it'll click like export or something like that. And it's very simple. So get a loot filter. That is the other thing. All right. With that being said, let's start playing. So every time you make a character in Path of Exile, it's 3 things. It's not a coincidence. 3 things, okay? You get inspiration from watching a streamer play a certain build, or you see a build on YouTube, or you just find a cool skill gem while you're playing the game. You're like, oh, that looks cool. Maybe I should make a build off of that, you know? So you need inspiration. Obviously, that's the easy part, right? It's like, what looks cool to you? Number 2 is the planning process, which again, that's where like Path of Building comes in. There are a lot of layers to actually making your own build, not following someone else's. So it's outside of the scope for what's going on right now, but I definitely can make a follow-up video, which I actually am planning on, like an in-game centric video. But for the purposes of this video, for the planning thing, you're basically just going to watch this video to get that context. And then 3 is the actual execution, right? You need to actually, figure out what you're doing. It's going to differ from your plan a lot of the time. Like, just because you planned out your skill tree on Path of Building doesn't mean you're going to follow it one-to-one once you're actually in the game and doing stuff, especially with your gearing, right? Your helmet, your body armor, your gloves, your boots, your weapons, all that stuff. That's going to be way different than anything that you just, create in Path of Building artificially or arbitrarily. Okay, so I want to play the Duelist. because there's a skill called Splitting Steel, which seems pretty interesting. It got some buffs, got some changes, so that's my inspiration. I want to play Splitting Steel, so we're gonna go boot camp log in. Someone have that name? No one has that name. Okay, and I'm gonna do my best to explain everything that I'm doing. Within reason, of course. I'm not going to explain, like, literally, I'm not going to narrate every single little thing. So let's turn on, where's my filter? Hello? Oh, Leaf Star, there we go. So I turn on my loot filter there. We're good to go. So as soon as you kill this zombie guy right here, and I'll do my best to read chat as well. My plan is to look at chat for like 5 or 10 minutes explicitly when I complete each act. So every time that I go through one act, there's 10 acts, by the way, to the whole campaign, I'll just sit in town, I'll do a brief overview, like a recap of my character, and then I'll just look at chat and answer all your questions. I'll try to look at chat also while I'm playing, but it'll be kind of hard because I'm going to be explaining everything, obviously. Okay, double strike, or whatever your skill gem is, just put it in your weapon. And then the first thing you do is you go down here to your default attack icon, just left click that, turn default attack to move only, and then never, ever, 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 ever think about a default attack again, okay? Just, you don't have one. Default attack, what's that? That's not a thing. That's not an ability. I don't know what that is. So you'll see me play with my overlay map open, this thing right here. I play with that open all the time just because it's more efficient, you know, having the big old map directly in front of my eyeballs instead of having to like constantly look up to the top right corner. That's just a personal preference thing. I've been doing it for so long that it's just ingrained into my memory. A lot of people that play the game nowadays, especially that got into it in like, I don't know, like 2017, 2018. A lot of people don't play like this if you watch other streamers and YouTube guys. But that's what I do. It might be kind of annoying, but I actually recommend it because it'll make your clearing zones way more efficient because you just have a way bigger overview of what's going on here. So for Hillock, you just walk in a circle. It's really that simple. Just kite him in a clockwise direction. He just will not hit you. You know, if you mistime it like that, he's going to hit you. Dude, what the heck? Oh, my flask. I was like, where's my flask? Hold on, I had a... I'm using something called a tincture on my other character, so I unbound that so I didn't accidentally turn off my tincture. It's like a permanent buff, but it goes in your flask slot. Okay, cool. I'm going to pick up everything here, actually, because we can vendor stuff and get wisdom fragments for an extra wisdom scroll, which will be very important. Okay, so we'll do the skill tree in a second. So you're gonna kill Hillock, you're gonna get like a barrage of probably like 4 or 5 items. I got pretty unlucky here. Actually, I got a rare sword. That's not bad. So it has a little bit of damage. So obviously, we're just gonna put that on there. Bada bing, bada boom. It has a red and a green link as well. So we're gonna swap that over. It does not matter where your skill gems are socketed. It only matters what they are linked to. There are some exceptions to that, but the items that actually are the exception are like way later on. But for the most part, especially when you're first starting out, it does not matter where you socket your gems. It only matters what they are linked to. So just because I have double strike in my weapon doesn't mean that if I put it in my chest piece, I can no longer use it, right? You don't need to put your attack in your weapon specifically. It can be anywhere on your character, any socket, right? So I'm just going to move them over here because I'll probably drop this sword ASAP, so I just moved them over here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to vendor all this stuff because it just doesn't matter. Boom, and we get 4 wisdom fragments, and you need 5 wisdom fragments to make 1 wisdom scroll. And the first thing I recommend you do is you go over here to Tarkley. You talk to him. Obviously, he's going to give you your skill gem. For this one, oh, you get Splitting Steel right away. Oh, I thought this was later on. Yo, I get my skill right away. Let's freaking go, dude. I didn't even know that. Double strike, goodbye. Go here, and you're going to want to go over to where you see boots. Once you see boots, just hover over them, and you're looking for 10% movement speed. That is the minimum movement speed roll, and he can sell them, and I think he sells them for 1 wisdom scroll, and you have 3 of them right off the rip. So the first thing you do is check for movement speed boots. I did not get any, so unlucky. If you're playing a slam build, like if you're using ground slam or something, or heavy strike, I would recommend you buy like a 2-handed axe. Look at that. We have 2 3-links already. That's actually pretty lucky. If you have a bow character, buy some 3-links. That's the second thing I would look for, by the way, is a 3-link. Here we go. But that's 3 green. I might be able to use that. Here's another thing. So if you see a red, green, and blue all linked together, that vendors for a chromatic orb. This is called a vendor recipe. So if I go ahead and buy that, oh, I kind of want that as well, but it's 2 wisdom scrolls, dude. I want that. So if I go ahead and vendor this to this guy, you can see, boom, I get a chromatic orb instead of those wisdom scrolls that we got earlier. So any item in the game that has a red, blue, and green linked together will vendor for 1 chromatic orb. There are some other exceptions, but they're way later on. Don't worry about them. But for the most part, especially first starting out, boom, that's a chromatic orb recipe. And that's very important because the chromatic orb recolors your gear. So if you have like a really good item that dropped, like this is a white item, has no stats on it. But if I got another item that had like life and some resistances and I wanted to use it, but it didn't have the right colors for my gems, then this is where the chromatic orbs come in. So they're pretty important. So be on the lookout. Your item filter will show you those items. It'll make them pop and stand out a little bit. It will show you those items, but chromatic orbs are very important. I would highly recommend you keep an eye out for those. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the skill tree. This is going to be a huge learning curve for the vast majority of people. This is where most of your stress for building a new character will come in. Take it in chunks at a time, very small chunks at a time. So I'm the duelist, so I start here, right? So all these icons right here, this is just the Marauder starting area. Every single class just starts in a different area, but everyone shares the same skill tree. All of these nodes are the exact same for every single class. The only thing that matters is where you start on the skill tree and then your Ascendency class, but we'll cover that in a bit. Generally speaking, you want to path towards life. Okay, this is a big generalization, but it will really just in your mind glue everything together if you just think about pathing towards life. Life is always important on your character. The more life you have, the less you die. Obviously, you need to deal damage as well. All you're gonna do is like search life. Do you have a search bar in the top right corner? All of a sudden, boom, look, all the nodes that have life. Well, some of them don't have life. Like, this is life regen. It's not the same thing. I'm talking about percentage life right here. 5% increase maximum life, 8% increase maximum life. Those are the things you're looking for. This is also kind of where POB comes in, actually. I think the highlight on this is so much better. So watch, I'll type in life here. Ah, look at that. Look at that, so much better. It just pops them all out with big red circles. So definitely, if you have POB, use it for that. So instead of me talking about a general skill tree, I'm just gonna put the nodes where I know I want them to go, and then I'll explain why I put them there. So you have two choices on Duelist. You have percent increased attack physical damage, and then you have attack speed. Generally speaking, attack speed is more valuable of a stat, especially if you're running an attack build, which I am. I'm using Splitting Steel, and you can see right under the name of the skill gem at the very top says Splitting Steel, and then right under that says attack, projectile, AoE, physical. Those are the tags of the skill gem. So basically, everything that scales attacks, projectiles, area of effect, or physical damage will affect Splitting Steel. That's the simplest way to describe that. So the tags of the skill gem is how you build around that skill. You're looking for those different increases and not decreases, increases to modify your skill. It's an attack, so attack speed seems pretty good to me. So I'm going to put my point here. Also, if you hold the control key, you will instantly put a point in. I don't recommend for a new player you do that because you might want to, change your mind. You're like, oh, maybe I misclicked. I want to go over here. But if you hold control, it'll instantly socket sync, and that also works for vendoring things. If you hold the control key, it'll instantly take it in and out like that. I'm going to take attack speed first. My general idea is to move down here first. Art of the Gladiator is a very good node. It gives you a little bit of attack speed, but it also says ignore all movement penalties. It just gives you like, I don't know, probably like 5%, 6% movement speed, which feels pretty good for the early game. So I like this node a lot, and then we're going to go into the life, get all this stuff, but I'll cover that in 1 second. All right, that's pretty much it for the town. Also, one last thing is you can talk to the jewelry vendor for each town. I call her the jewelry vendor, just the person that sells all the currency and all the rings and the amulets and the magician stuff, the flasks. This vendor, there'll be one per town. If you go to their second tab, they'll sell you all the skill gems that are currently available for your specific class. This is not all the skill gems that are available in the game, obviously. The ones that are specifically available for your class, the jewelry vendor will sell them. So in their second tab. So just keep an eye out for that. Let us begin the story now. So generally, you don't want to kill like singular enemies like this. Like it's fine if you have a ranged ability, right? You're gonna kind of like throw it behind you and just kite them back and forth. If you play League of Legends or Dota or anything, this will feel very, very, very familiar to you, the combat. Also, there's a keybind called Attack in Place. This keybind will make the combat feel so much better. I had a couple friends just get into the game, and before they realized that Attack in Place was a keybind, they were like, oh, this combat feels terrible. Like my character keeps just like floating forward. It feels awful. Like what is going on here? This is why. Attack in Place. You can also set this individually for each ability. So again, if I left click over my slot, see this, it says attack, always attack without moving. You can just toggle that on, and then you don't have to hold your keybind. Your character will always just toss it out like that. But I like to play it because there's some times where I want to move forward. So I like to just manually press my Attack in Place. I think the default keybind is Shift. I changed mine to spacebar, but that is a very important keybind. But I was gonna say, generally speaking, you don't want to kill just like small groups of enemies. You want to like that right there. Say there's like 5 or 6 guys grouped up. That's exactly what I'm looking for, because otherwise I'm just kind of wasting my time. So here's a little mini boss. Sometimes you enter, sometimes you won't. For this zone, it's best to just stick to the coastline, because that's just, the connection to the next zone. Just follow the coastline. But if you're like moving around and trying to find every single enemy, you'll run into this enemy. So I'm looking for boots. That is the number one thing. So these are 3-link boots. That's pretty good, but they're common. So I'm looking for at least magic, which magic is blue. You have normal, which is white, blue, which is magic, yellow, which is rare. My sword is a rare item here. And magic items can have 2 affixes. So if I pick this thing up in an idea, it has life and fire resistance. Actually, it's I want to use a shield. I want to either use a 2-handed weapon or a 1-handed weapon. I'll go to that in 1 second, though. So 2 affixes on a blue or magic item, and then a rare item can have up to 6 modifiers. This guy only rolled with 4, and it's 3 prefixes and 3 suffixes. You don't need to worry about what a prefix versus a suffix is, blah, blah, blah. You'll just learn that as you go. But it's just 6 mods total on a rare item, 2 mods total on a blue item, and then no mods on a common item. And then unique items, you probably won't get a unique item for a little bit. when you first start out playing, but if you get one, they're orange, and they have totally custom modifiers, as the name would imply, as the unique name would imply. So they have no like prefix, suffix. It's just totally custom mods for that item. It's a handcrafted item, a unique, if you will. Can you demonstrate the difference between settings? Oh yeah, absolutely. So here's without attack in place. Well, actually, it for splitting still is. There you go. So I saw that kind of move forward there for a second. There you go. So if I click like way out of my range, see the finally attacks. Versus if I hold my attack in place, my guy will just throw it out. So obviously this skill has a distance, a maximum distance that it can travel. So if I click out of that maximum distance, my character will move and then attack where that max distance is. Versus if I hold attack in place, it'll just throw it out. So that's why it's so important, because if there's a guy like roughly right here, but if I click like slightly above him, my character will see all that wasted time right there. My character will just move and then probably miss the attack entirely. So I'll just hold attack in place instead, and the AoE will just bam smack that guy, you know. Rusted Sash with 24% max physical damage. Here's another pro tip. Hold the Alt key. If you hold your Alt key, it'll show the roll range for every single stat on the item. So the Rustic Sash, the base type, it's a common item, so it has no extra stats. The base type is global physical damage, which is good, because we're dealing physical damage, and it rolls from 12 to 24%. This bad boy rolled 24% maximum value. So excellent drop right here. That's beautiful. It's exactly what we want to see. So it's basically like 24% more damage for me right now. Absolutely beautiful. So we're going to go here to Tidal Island. This is the first zone. Also, make sure you grab that waypoint. Sorry, I forgot to say that over here. Actually, I'll just show you like this. You can press the U key to bring up your world map. Oh, I didn't even grab it. See, look at that. If you are in a zone and you see this little blue dot once you leave it, because when you're in the zone, your character will be covering it. So if you are in a zone and you leave it, and then you see this little tiny blue dot in the middle, it's not fully filling that circle area right there. That means there is a waypoint in that zone which you did not grab. So I'm going to go back here real quick. Walk over here, and here's the waypoint icon on the map. It says waypoint as well on the ground. Click that, boom, all of a sudden it activates the waypoint. So now we're gonna go back into Tidal Island, and then you'll see the difference here. The icon will be totally filled up. Boom, so now I've activated that waypoint. Cool. You can't travel to a waypoint while you're in a zone. You have to go from waypoint to waypoint, or you have to go from town. Every town has a waypoint as well. So we're just gonna keep walking around here, killing packs as we go. I'm using a range skill, so again, I can kind of just throw it out occasionally, right? I don't have to worry about wasting my time with one specific enemy. Just kind of like throw it behind me like that. Doesn't waste any time. But if you're playing a melee build especially, I would not recommend that. Like that zombie right there, I would not just run back to kill this one zombie as a melee build. I would just keep running. You're looking for blue monsters. Blue monsters are pretty good because they have extra XP, extra rewards. Just think about it like that. So packs of blue monsters are called champions. Well, I guess they're technically champions. Everyone calls them magic monsters, like your items, right? You have a blue item is a magic item, so everyone calls them magic monsters. So blue packs of monsters, really good. And then yellow monsters. Usually yellow monsters are fine, but sometimes you can run into a very tanky yellow monster that has really bad stats on it. It's actually kind of cool. The monsters in this game get stats just like items. So a blue monster will have some 2 stats on it, and then a yellow monster will have up to 6 stats. And stats on monsters are like extra damage, extra speed, extra life, and some other really crazy stuff as well. So cool, we killed this guy. We got the medicine chest. This is a quest item. I know that because my loot filter makes it green. Actually, what does the default filter do? Does it make items green as well? If I turn this to none. Oh yeah, see, so quest items are green. There you go. So even if you're not using a loot filter, which you should be using a loot filter, please go download a loot filter. There's no reason for you to play this game without a loot filter. Please just go download a loot filter. But green items are quest items, so you won't be able to get rid of them in your inventory. You won't be able to like delete them. So here's the first big pro tip. Are you guys ready? Also, I'm looking for this loot here. I know all of this is garbage. I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself again. I know all of this is garbage because I'm not using a staff. Like, I'm not doing a melee build, so staffs are useless. This is an energy shield item. I'm not doing an energy shield. These are all useless. And for the most part, anything that's a common item, so again, no stats. The white items are common items. Anything that has no stats, you're not going to pick it up. Just don't worry about it. So my brain just instantly, those items don't exist. They are filtered out of my brain instantaneously. So I'm only looking for, that item drop, so I picked it up. And then boots, I'm looking for magic boots because if we ID this, we get movement speed. We did not get movement speed. That's what we're looking for. So boots with movement speed. So we have a portal scroll. We just got this off of an enemy, and as the name suggests, it creates a portal to the town. However, this is going to save you a lot of portal scrolls and honestly a lot of time. If you just simply log out, go to character selection, let's go back here to SSF Affliction, and then you log back in. All of a sudden, wow, you're back in town. Wow, you didn't have to spend a portal scroll. That's crazy. Now, obviously, there are times where you should not do this. So as a new player, take that tip with a grain of salt because you don't really have the understanding of when to log out versus not to, because if you log out of a zone, you don't have a portal to get back. So the only reason I did that is because remember I have that waypoint right outside of the zone, so I'm just going to waypoint to there. You can do that, but as a new player, you might want to just portal scroll instead. I'm just giving you the option. So always for this quest reward, this is the Tidal Island quest where I picked up the medicine chest, take the Quicksilver Flask every single time. Don't even think about it. Take the Quicksilver Flask. GG. So here I'm probably going to take, I think, and this is not a strike skill. Yeah, so I would have taken Ancestral Call, but it's not a strike skill. What this does is essentially like spawns 2 little clones for me to also attack enemies. They do less damage, but it gives me way better clear. With like AoE coverage, but this is not a strike skill. See, specifically this says supports melee strike skills. This is neither a strike skill nor a melee skill, so I can't use that. So I will probably actually get pierce support here. Piercing extra targets just means that it'll help my clear speed a little bit. And again, once you get a new gem reward, you can go back to this vendor and then it'll show you all of the gems. So see right here, Swift Assembly support. This was not available to me on that reward selection screen, but then I checked the vendor and it's here automatically. Make sure you're checking this gem tab if your guide is telling you to use specific gems and you haven't seen them yet. Like, what? I haven't found this gem. Where is it? You probably just need to check your vendor tab. We're also going to go check him. I think he just gives us a quest at this point. Yep. And we're going to just sell the boots. I could put them on, but I actually want these links on my boots because they're perfect for the color gems that I want. So these have no stats. The other one had a little bit of life, but because the links are far more important than the stats on your items, especially when you're first starting out, because the power of your main skill is greatly influenced by the support gems you link to it versus not necessarily the gear that you're using. The power discrepancy between sockets, supports, and then the actual gear, it's definitely weighted towards the sockets versus the gear when you're first starting out. And then later on, it'll be your gear is way more important, but we don't have to worry about it for a long time. Okay, so we're going to waypoint back and we're going to go into the next zone, Mr. Mudflats. Let's go. Not even worth selling them? No, I sold them. Oh, the common items. Yeah. So that like loot explosion from, what's his name? Hailrake, the medicine chest guy. Yeah, it's not worth selling that stuff because your wisdom scrolls are very valuable. You're not going to get a lot of them. So it's usually not worth picking up and identifying blue items. Now, a yellow item I would have picked up, but blue items that I know I'm not going to use on my character, I wouldn't bother picking up and IDing because your wisdom scrolls are just far more valuable because you don't get a ton of them when you first start out. Okay, so here we're looking for the yellow exclamation points. Anytime you see a yellow exclamation point like this, that means there is a quest item available here. So in this zone, we're just picking up these Rowan nests. We're getting the glyphs, and then we're taking them over to the big wall, which we can already see right there too. Cool. So anytime you see an orange doorway, that is obviously an exit to the zone. And it'll put you in, it doesn't, oh, this is actually the wrong zone. So you have a quest here called A Dirty Job. It says search the mud flats for the entrance to the fetid pool. Here's the fetid pool. We're not going to do this quest because this quest only gives us passive refund points. It doesn't give us passive skill points. So as a new player, obviously you have no idea which quest gives good rewards and what doesn't. Coral Amulet gives you a little bit of health regen. That's a pretty good drop. That's not bad. So obviously you're not gonna have any idea, but from watching this video, I'm not gonna play this as if I was a brand new player with no experience to the game, obviously. So I know that quest is worthless, so I'm gonna skip it. I will be able to tell you all the quests that I'm skipping, so don't worry about it. That is the first one that you skip. Dirty Job, don't do it, not important. 6 link is super important. Yeah, 6 link is very, very important. You're not gonna get a 6 link when you first start out. You won't get one for a very long time. But yeah, getting a 6 link is very, very, very important. So here is the league mechanic. So every league in Path of Exile has a specific thing, a specific new thing, activity, let's call it, the league mechanic. So this one is a totally separate zone. You can see on my map, it's the big blue wispy area here. I will do this, but not quite yet. I think I want to get like movement speed on my boots. Actually, let's check it out. Let's check it out. So this mechanic's pretty easy. Here we go. The Viridian Wildwood. Get me in there. I guess I can explain the league mechanic. If you're watching this video and it's not the Affliction League, which is patch, I think 3.23, then this probably is irrelevant to you. Maybe they added Affliction in the core league. I don't know. Hey, leave a comment below. Did they add Affliction to core Path of Exile? I don't know. But if you're watching right now, obviously, this is the league mechanic. Okay, so this thing is pretty simple. You're just following the wisps. There are 3 colors, purple, yellow, and blue. So you're just following the wisp trail. So I see all these purple goopy goppies things. I'm just going to walk towards them. They're going to lead me down a path. And then I'm eventually going to run into stuff that I can interact with. And what that stuff is totally random. So we'll just have to wait and see, because it's Fog of War, right? I don't know what's coming up. Aha, here we go. Cool. So this is a little event. We're going to have these Grizzly trophies. We can activate them, get some potential loot here. Oh, these guys are... I got Temp Chain. So that's a curse on top of me right now. I'm going to die probably. See that little icon on me right here? That's a curse. It's called Temporal Chains, and it slows my movement speed. You also hover over it. You are cursed. Time passes, blah, 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 blah. So basically, I just attack, and I move way slower here. And these guys deal chaos damage, which is... Oh, the clutch level up, bro. Every time you level up, your character fully restores health and mana. That's pretty clutch right there. This is why I didn't want to go in here, by the way. These guys are so tanky. Oh my gosh, dude. I might go a two-handed weapon here. Coral Ring is beautiful. Pick that up. Picked it up immediately. I could pick up that amulet as well. Try and get some different stats. What's the base? 2.1. Pick that up. Might as well. Dude, I'm fighting for my life right now. All right, this is why I don't recommend you engage with the league mechanic until you have a little bit of gear. because it's going to look like this the vast majority of times. All right, trophy, help me. Oh, double rare. Let's go. Another rare. Actually, chain belt's pretty bad. I'll pick it up anyway. Usually, again, you want to pick up the yellow items because you can just vendor them. Vendor them for some money. Bro, why are they so tanky? Help. Help. Can you die? Please? We do no damage. I do have 3 skill points. I should probably put those in. Orb of Alchemy. Yo, that's pretty freaking good. That's a huge drop for like 3rd zone of Act 1. That's actually massive. So Orb... Is this guy just not taking damage? What is this? Hello? Hello? Damage? Hello? This is... Again, I told you I shouldn't have gone in here, right? This is exactly why. Look how long this is taking. It's just like I'm fighting an in-game boss right now. I have no mana either right now. All right, you know what? I'm actually just going to make the executive decision to get the heck out of this zone. So we're just going to run. We should run out of juice here in like a millisecond. Any second now. There we go. All right, we're done. Get me out of here. Holy... So that was actually a pretty good zone. I got a few rare items. However, I don't have any wisdom scrolls. So before you identify an item, see how this says unidentified? You can't equip it. So you need wisdom scrolls to identify your items, and then that's how you equip them. So that's why wisdom scrolls are very, very, very valuable. Do not waste them. Do not use them on magic items unless they're like boots. You can use them on boots for movement speed. Magic boots, I should say. So right here, armor scraps are a currency item. You don't need to worry about their effect. Just vendor them for wisdom scrolls. When you first start out, armor scraps and blacksmith whetstones, if you get those currency items, just vendor them. They'll give you wisdom scrolls. Armor scraps give you 2. Blacksmith whetstones give you 4 wisdom scrolls. Also, I'm going to move my links over here. So now splitting steel's in my boots with chance to bleed and pierce. The pierce will just help me with my clear speed a little bit. Also, when you you link a support gem to your primary skill, you can see the third line after the name is cost and reservation multiplier. It says 120%. So that essentially just increases the mana cost of your ability by another 20%. That's what that means. And it's multiplicative, right? So the base cost is 5 mana. So it's being increased by 20% off of that. And then that increase is then increased again by another 20%. So they're all multiplicative. So once you get a 6 link going, your skill will cost significantly more mana than when you had like a 4 link or something like that. I only have 2 wisdom scrolls, so I actually have to think very carefully. Also, I'm going to put my Quicksilver flask on. This is just for zooming around in zones. So definitely as soon as you hit level 4, put your Quicksilver on. I think I'm going to ID the ring and the belt because I only have 2. So for right now, let's go ring and belt. Belt rolled double res. It has less damage on it. So you see the base value. Remember, it was 12 to 24. Hold the Alt key. If you're not sure what the roll range is, hold the Alt key. So this is 12 to 24. This one is, this is 24%. It rolled max roll. This is only 16%, but it has the double resist on it. So I'll probably just put that on. It's a side grade, if anything. And then this thing, unfortunately, rolled pretty poorly. It has lightning res. Cast speed is irrelevant to me. So attack speed is for attacks. Cast speed is for spells. I'm using an attack. Again, I know that because it's right under the gem name. The attack is the first tag of the gem. So it's an attack, which means cast speed is irrelevant. However, I'm still obviously going to put this ring on because it gives me health. The base item, Coral Ring, gives you max health. I think it's 20 to 30. There you go. And I rolled 25 right in the middle. And it gives me a little bit of lightning res. So this Orb of Alchemy is very valuable. I'm not going to use it quite yet. I'm going to use this once we hit our first roadblock. So if you get, let's see here. It's kind of hard for me to spitball. I'll probably just talk about this when I get to it. I don't want to bombard you guys with too much info. I know it probably feels like I have already, and I apologize for that. Yeah, I know. It's just the nature of Path of Exile. There's so much stuff to cover. I'm trying my best to filter it out for you. So as a new player, I recommend that, again, whatever path you choose to start off on, you just keep going down the middle here. And this is going to be your natural instinct too. Like every class, once you choose your starting area, you have 2 options after that, right? So if I chose to start here, I can either go here to 30 armor or 5% max life, or here to 10 strength. If you don't know what your stats do, if you hit C, this is your character panel. Hit the C key, and then you just hover over them. So every 2 strength is +1 flat life. Every 5 strength is +1% melee damage. So if I go here and I'm like, 30 armor, 5% increased life, or 10 strength, which equates to 2% damage and 5 flat life. Not percent life, flat. I wonder which one's better. Obviously, it's this node, right? So for the vast majority of people out there, you're going to just pick a zone and then just keep going in there. But once we get to a pretty good point in our playthrough, I will recommend that you come out of your skill tree going this way, simply because your passive points get exponentially more valuable the higher your level character. We don't have to worry about that for a long time. I'm just letting you know now, so it's in the back of your mind. Your passive points are very, 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 very valuable. I'm not joking. When they literally are exponentially more powerful. Once you get to like level 80, 85, every passive point you get is just huge value for your character. So don't waste them, is my point. So I see right here, we have these 3 nodes right here. They give evasion rating, armor, and max life. There you go. That's what I'm looking for. Remember, you're pathing towards life. So I'm going to go here. And then I'm going to connect here because I get the extra life right here. I could have just kept going this way for a little more attack speed, but again, I value life, so I'm going there. So cool, that's where my skill gems are right now. We have these items here. I'm going to keep this guy around just in case. Actually, nah, we can just vendor it because we get another wisdom scroll too. Forgot about that. So vendor that guy. We get our 5 wisdom fragments for 1 wisdom scroll. Bada bing, bada boom. I'll probably ID this other ring because you have 2 ring slots. So you have a helmet slot, body armor slot, gloves, boots, belt, 2 weapons, so either like a one-handed weapon and a shield, 1 two-handed weapon, whatever. Obviously, you have 2 hands, duh. And then you have 2 ring slots and amulet. So I'm going to ID this ring. We get strength and evasion rating, so cool. There's a ton of life. Sounds good to me. Let's go talk to Tarkley again. He should give me a... What does he give for this? Oh, yeah, another skill gem. So you have a lot of options every time you complete a quest. Don't worry about it. You're not totally locked into your option because, again, you can talk to the jewelry NPC in every town. She'll just sell you all the skill gems. They do have a cost to them, like wisdom scrolls or something like that. But for the most part, skill gems are super, super, super easy to acquire. So here's actually a tough choice because there's a lot of good things for me here. Sniper's Mark is definitely what I'm going to be using as my curse. So for most builds, a curse is something that just exponentially increases your damage. It's a temporary buff applied to the enemy, but it gives you a massive benefit. You have to specifically choose the right curse. Like there's like 10 different curses. So this one right here, Sniper's Mark, it says enemies take increased damage from projectile hits. That's very good already. On top of that, it says projectiles which hit the cursed enemy split towards additional targets. This is especially important for my build because splitting steel, I know there's a bunch of text, and this is, trust me, this is like one of the worst parts about Path of Exile. There's the bombardment of text. Like, what are you supposed to read off of this? Like, how is a news player supposed to decipher all of splitting steel? Like, what are you looking at here? Trust me, I understand. It's terrible. So I'll just explain it in plain and simple English. So every time that I use splitting steel, in fact, I'll go into the zone so you can see. When it fires out, it'll explode, and then it'll have a bunch of other projectiles that come out of it. See that? So it'll make that explosion right there. See that? And then there's like 4, I think it's 4 extra projectiles. 2. So 2 extra projectiles will come out of that because that is the projectile splitting towards an extra target. Sniper's Mark says that when you hit the cursed enemy, it splits towards 2 additional targets. So essentially, I'm multiplying my projectiles every time I hit something. So that's very, very valuable. So I'll take that for right now. You get a second reward too. Oh, your movement skill. Let's go. Take dash. If you have the option, take dash there. Some classes get Frostblink, which Frostblink is absolutely goated with the sauce. It's the best movement skill in the game. I think everyone can actually buy Frostblink now. That might have been a change. Even like the Marauder gets access to Frostblink. I might be wrong in that. Correct me if I'm wrong, maybe. But this skill is the best movement skill in the game. So I don't have a wisdom scroll right now. Plus I don't have the int requirement. You can see requires, like in the dead center of that skill gem. See it says requires level 4, 16 intelligence. So I'll obviously have to get a piece of gear with intelligence on it before I can use that. But Frostblink is absolutely crazy. I also want to get a couple more gems, but I don't have the currency for it right now. So we'll just ignore it. But I do want to come back here and buy some more gems once we have the currency. But I'll describe that once we get there. All right, so we're going to waypoint back. Remember, generally speaking, when you're progressing through the campaign or progressing through the zones, you just want to find the waypoint. Once you find the waypoint, think of that like a checkpoint in your head. Then you can log out. Then you can go back to town and like waste a bunch of time looking at vendors and stuff. But if you don't have the waypoint for the zone, I highly recommend that you just keep progressing until you find a waypoint. Not every zone has a waypoint. You see right here, the mud flats, there's not that little blue circle. So there's no waypoint for that zone. And again, this is the U key. Press the U key to bring up the map here. This is your overlay map. I have it on tab. I think it might be M by default. Your overlay map is different from the world map here. So make sure you're finding your waypoint before you're progressing here. All right, so I'm going to press my Quicksilver Flask. I'm going to press the dash key. Movement is king in this game. The faster you move, obviously, the more efficient you're playing. So I'm just going to keep kiting stuff. You don't have to open chests and stuff. Obviously, you're going to want to when you first start out because you're like, oh, chest, that can have the best loot in the game, right? Yeah, no, usually it's going to have a bunch of garbage for you. I'm also kind of wasting my time here. I don't have a ton of damage, so it's taking me quite a bit of hits to kill these guys. So I'm just going to kind of keep kiting forward here. And I am holding my attack and place key after every time. Yo, triple blue boots. What the heck? Let's go, baby. 1 whole year. Beautiful. Orb of Transmutation. That's perfect. That is actually perfect. I'm going to go back to town. Actually do that right now because we haven't made any progress here. So I'm going to log out again. I'm not going to waste my portal scrolls. I'm going to log out, take me right back to town when I log in. So Orb of Transmutation is the other item which vendors for wisdom scrolls. So see if I put this in, it vendors for 4 whole wisdom scrolls. That's the rarest item in the game right now. That's the best item we could have got. So now we can go back here and look. So I'm going to buy Ancestral Protector, which is a totem. It's basically a temporary skill. See, it lasts for 12 seconds. If I'm near that totem, I get 10% more attack speed. Again, I'm using an attack. So 10% more attack speed is insanely powerful. Here's a big thing about Path of Exile. Increased does not mean the same thing as more. If you see the word more, it is a multiplier to whatever the value is. So this says 10% more attack speed. So regardless of how much percent increased attack speed I have. So I have 6% right here. I have 3% here. Let's say I had like 100% increased attack speed, right? That's doubling my attack rate. If I pick up this guy Ancestral Protector and I put him down, this is a multiplier. That's all you need to know. So more, anything that says more is very, 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 very valuable. We're putting Ancestral Protector. Unfortunately, the state of attacks in Path of Exile is you have to use these totems. They feel pretty bad because you have to place them down. I'll show you in the zone real quick. You have to place them down. They only last for a certain amount of time. The radius is pretty small, which they affect, but they give you such a powerful bonus, the Ancestral Totem. So there's Protector, and then there's another one later on. So if I put this guy down, middle totem comes up, see the icon up here. If you see this green icon right here, it's giving me the more attack speed buff. If I move out, right there, see? Goes away. So my totem is still alive. See right here? I move out. All of a sudden, the buff is gone. And you can see when that little red guy pops up. So when that red guy is there, that means the buff is currently active. If it moves out, the totem is still there, but the buff is not active. So it's a pretty big radius. You know, it's okay, but it essentially means that every single pack of monsters that you find, you're gonna have to replace your totem, which is kind of hilarious. That's just the state of melee though. All right, so here I have the option to grab even more life, which remember I said you want to path towards life. I have the option for this node or to just go out here to more attack speed. When I said path towards life, that is the best blanket rule I can give you. However, you don't want to get every single life node that you come across, right? I'm actually not going to grab this and I'm going to go here instead because I want to make it towards these guys right here. These are notable skills. See how this one has no border? It's just a regular good old-fashioned circle around these nodes. This guy has that little special gold spiky border. This is called a notable passive skill. These have way, way, way higher stat values for the point cost. So I'm 1 point away from this notable. It gives me 10% attack speed, 10% accuracy, ignores movement penalties, and 20 dexterity. This one costed me 1 passive point, gives me 3% attack speed. So already this gives me triple the attack speed off of that node, and it's 1 point as well. Basically, you're going to path towards life, but also pick up the notables that you see along the way towards those life nodes. And life nodes are notable as well, like this guy right here. So this is a regular life node, 6% life. This is notable, 10% life, and some regen on top of that. This node over here, oh, where is it? It's this one right here. This one go crazy. Look at this one. 20 flat life, 10% life. Boom! Absolutely gargantuan. So path towards the notable skills. So I'm not going to waste my point here grabbing that little life node. I'm going to go out here because there's more efficient, like literally right here. Here, look, 5% life, 8% life, 5% life, and then I can grab that as well. It's in your best interest to path towards notable skills. Life and notable, or the gold border ones. Okay, so now we're back in here. We got some extra skill gems. I didn't even finish buying all the skill gems. Oops. Hee. Let me go back. Hee. My bad, guys. Here we go. Okay, so I bought Ancestral Protector. I also could get War Banner, which I think I will just for right now. This is a buff skill. I'll explain that in 1 second, though. Blood and Sand. I don't think I can use that. Yeah, I can't. So it says melee skills. I'm not using a melee skill. It is an attack, but it's not a melee skill, so I can't actually make use of that. But if you're a melee build, Blood and Sand is actually pretty good to pick up. I would recommend that. I don't think we need anything else here. Yeah, I think we're good. All right, let's go. Let's keep moving. Here's what I'm going to do. If you hold the, I think it's Control by default. I changed mine to Shift. If you hold Control or whatever your key is, you'll bring up a second active skill bar. So see right here, I have my totem on Q, I have my banner on W, my dash is on R. If I hold Control, mine is on Shift though, it'll bring up a second bar. So I like to put all of my toggleable abilities that can be toggled, I put them here. So see right here, I toggle on War Banner. It gives me a permanent buff. So all the time, enemies take 8% increased damage, and it gives me like accuracy rating. You see at the very last line says you and nearby allies gain accuracy rating. So that's and it reserves 10% of my mana. See right here, I have 77 max mana. If I turn that on, it reserves 10% of it. So obviously it rounds up. So 10% of 77 is 8 mana. So it rounds up. So that is a huge deal for every single build. It doesn't matter what build you're doing. You want to reserve your mana. That's one thing that new players I found kind of struggle grasping that concept. Is like, why do I want to reserve my mana? That's how I use my attacks and my spells and stuff, right? I'll just be running out of my resource. Nah, you won't. It's so easy to fix your resource costs in the game, and the buffs that you get for reserving your mana are absolutely gargantuan. Like this is a very small buff. A 10% reservation buff is not that good. You can get up to 50%. There's a permanent auras that give you a 50% reservation, but they have a absolutely gargantuan increase to your character in some way, right? They all do something different. So you definitely want to be reserving your mana. You don't want to reserve all of your mana, obviously. But I'll get more to that in a second. Actually, not a second. It'll be a little while before we hit more auras and stuff. Reservation. Okay, I'm actually not going to go in that zone again. As you saw last time, the enemies are really tanky. I don't really have a lot of damage right now. I should be on the lookout for a two-handed sword because I'll be dealing way more damage with a two-handed weapon rather than a one-handed weapon, because the one-handed weapons in this game have the benefit of obviously dual wielding, so you can use two one-handed weapons, or you can use a shield with it, so you get a huge defensive benefit. Two-handed weapons obviously are going to deal more damage than a one-handed, and that's all I care about in the early game is damage. Who just farted, by the way? Who did that? All right, so I'm going to put down my totem here. I'm going to press Q for Ancestral Protector. I'm going to press E for Sniper's Mark, and then we're just going to hold down the attack button. So we have the extra attack speed from our totem, and we have the Sniper's Mark on the boss here, which is causing the projectiles to split into other guys. That was a double, dude. Holy double. Also, I have not explained this whatsoever. So you see my life and my mana levels right here are constantly going up. You're like, what? This guy's hacking. I'm using my flasks. You want to use your flasks all of the time. If you are not piano keying your flasks, essentially, you're doing it wrong, baby. And also, you can change in your settings. I forgot to go over this. This is in the beginner guide. Again, I recommend you go watch my beginner's guide to Path of Exile if you have not. So you want to go here. You want to go to, I would look at items, toggle on, always show sockets. You want that on. Under gameplay, you want to see show life mana levels. I think that's chat. I think that's on by default. And then you want to turn on mini life bar above you. There we go. So that's how I have my bar above me here. I just toggle that on and off. If you have not done that already and you want your life bar. Okay, so we killed this guy here. I know that that's the end of that zone, so I'm going to log out, go back to town, talk to this guy. He's going to give me a passive skill point. Let me go do this real quick because... Oh, I can't do this yet. This is really going to stay up on my screen the whole time. That's so annoying. Sorry. So that killing that big crab gives you a passive skill point as a reward. So we're going to put our skill point into here and get Art of the Gladiator for that extra movement speed and stuff that I already described.
Cheeks.
Okay, we also got another transmutation orb. I'm going to sell that, have 7 wisdom scrolls. Let's ID this real quick. I know I'm not going to use this because splitting still specifically says, there's so many, I know, so many words here. But see the green text, the last sentence of the green text says requires a sword or axe. So this is a mace. And you can see the base type is right under the item. So this is a sword, one-handed sword. This says one-handed mace. So I can't use splitting steel with a mace. I only identified that because if I sell it, you see I get alteration shards. These are pretty dang important. Whenever you vendor an item, it'll always give you some kind of currency, but the magic or the yellow items will give you alteration shards if you identify them. If you don't identify them, I think they give you a transmutation. Yeah, transmutation shards. So they're still pretty useful. Actually, I might get a mixture of stuff here. So the yellow items, I just usually ID them just to get alteration shards. It's just a habit thing. I know I'm not going to use these items because they're energy shield base. I don't care about energy shield, even with the stats on them. I mean, this has a little bit of int, actually. Maybe I'll use that one. I clicked to cancel. I'm trolling. I'm griefing. Also, this gives me the ability to buy Frostblink, the best movement skill in the game. So I'm going to put Frostblink in my helmet and replace dash with Frostblink and then drop dash on the ground. In fact, I'm going to delete Dash. Goodbye, Dash. Hello, Frostblink, my beloved. Let's go. I know, there's just so much stuff to cover, guys. I'm trying my best to give you as concise of a breakdown as I can. I only want you guys to focus on the stuff that matters. I don't want to confuse you bombard you with all the info in the game at the same time. But there's just so much stuff to cover in the early game here. It'll get way better once we get into a groove, boys. I promise. And we're almost to that point, actually, where I can just kind of go on autopilot here. I see a blue pack of monsters here. I'm just going to kill these guys real quick. Hello, mana bar. Frostblink, insane, best movement skill in the game. Again, I'm really looking for a two-handed weapon right now. I can get an axe or a sword, and I can use splitting steel with it. So, two-handed axe or two-handed sword. Definitely what I'm looking for here. Sorry, beginner guide. As beginner, you recommend co-timing a character starting Crucible as level 70 now in standard, or should I start a new character in the league? That's a great question. So, if you've already played a little bit of Path of Exile and you're revisiting it, that's my, when your gyms level up, they come up on the right side of the screen right there. If you wonder why I clicked all those and just leveling up my gyms to get them more powerful. If you've already played the game and you're coming back, it really is your own preference, honestly. Like, there are some people that play permanent standards, so you started in Crucible. Every time the current league ends with Path of Exile, so think of like a league is just seasonal content, you don't actually ever lose your progress on that league. It just transfers it over to the permanent leagues, which permanent standard and permanent hardcore. Hardcore is just when you die, you lose your character. Omega lol. Actually, not even. You don't even lose your character. You just get transferred to standard. You don't ever lose anything in this game unless you have to like literally delete your character manually for you to lose stuff. It's up to you. I would recommend personally that you start with the current league. So it's Affliction League now. I'd recommend you do that. But you don't have to. I'm not your dad. You can do whatever you want. So here I have a choice between mana and health. I actually kind of want to get this mana. Not for the mana, though. I say mana because the node is obviously, it's called mana flows, right? It's a mana-centric node. But that plus 20 intelligence is pretty dang useful for me. So right now, if I take off my helmet, I can't actually use Frostblink. You'll see it turns red because I'm missing the int requirement. I only have 14 intelligence. This helmet has plus 11 intelligence, so I can use Frostblink. But as soon as I find a better helmet, this helmet's garbage. It's complete garbage. It just gives me the int to be able to use Frostblink. So I know that unless I get an item with int again, I can't use Frostblink as soon as I get a better helmet. So I'm actually going to go for these mana nodes first, just for that plus 20 intelligence. And you'll find actually that most classes will have the stat that is not correlated to their class. They'll have a node like very close to the start of their passive tree that gives you the missing stat, if that makes sense. So I'm playing Duelist. Duelist is strength and dexterity. He's like a hybrid class, strength and dex. So this node right here gives me 20 int, and almost every class will have that. So Marauder over here, Marauder is the big beefy, big beefy first strength. Used to make. Anyway, so most classes will have the inverse stats correlated with them. in their beginning passive skill area. So Duelist, you know, this is the beginning area right here. Right here is plus 20 int. Marauder, this is a strength guy. Right here is another that gives me 20 dex and int. Templar, this guy is strength and intelligence. So here's a dexterity node. Witch is pure intelligence. So she has a strength and dexterity node. So those are the opposite stats, right? This is Shadow. Shadow is intelligence and dexterity. So here's a strength node. Just keep that in mind. If you're missing stat requirements on your gear, you probably have a node very close to where your current passive tree is. You can just like spend 2 respec points and get that node. Bada bing, bada boom. All right, Copper Sword is not a two-handed sword, but it's a big upgrade to my current one, hopefully. Let's see. Boom. Ooh, that is a big upgrade. Let's go. Huge. Massive. We're going to slot that in. Also, I recommend that, especially if you're playing an attack build, you be on the lookout for your links not on your weapon or your offhand, okay? Because if you find a better weapon and you have your main skill linked in your weapon, all of a sudden, you now have to sacrifice the gem links on your ability. Remember, gem links are super, super, super powerful. So I always am looking out for my links elsewhere, not necessarily on my weapon, especially when I'm first starting out. That's not really a hard and fast rule once you get going on your character. But for attack builds, your weapon is... See how much more damage I'm doing now? It's crazy. Your weapon is everything for your overall damage. Spellcasters have a bit of an easier time. The way that the spells scale. Every time you level up a gem, which by the way, your gem's low. So that's my character. Perfect timing. My character just leveled up there, but my skill gems have a separate XP bar. See right here, Ancestral Protector, the very bottom. See the very, very bottom of the skill gem? I can't move I wish I could move my mouse. I can do this actually. Boop, there you go. See where it says right here? This is my XP bar on Ancestral Protector right here. So 670 out of 3000 XP. So the skills that you use in this game also level up, which is pretty dang cool. So waypoint, don't forget to grab the waypoint. Another transmutation, let's go, baby. That is another 4 wisdom scrolls. GG. Don't forget to level up your skill gems. And if you're ever, again, missing stat requirements, because sometimes if you're using a movement skill or something, not your own, like this character, right? I needed intelligence to use Frostblink. You can always get intelligence from your gear, or more importantly, like from your passive tree. So if you don't have the stat requirements, you can find them pretty easily sometimes. Oh yeah, press Z to hide the item filter. That's not really relevant for right now, but yeah, if you ever have a bunch of crap on your screen, just press Z, it'll hide it from you, and then make sure that you untoggle that as well. Okay, so I'm wasting my time killing a bunch of random stuff here. I'm just gonna keep moving forward here. So you see, I'm just going through here. I'm just hitting all the chests that I see, just kind of throwing the attack behind me. Here's your first unique boss. All right, because it's the second, kill the crab. You don't have to kill this guy. I actually rarely do. I'll do it right now because I guarantee that if you're a new player, you're gonna kill this guy.
You're like, oh man, a big unique totem guy. I want to kill this guy. Let's see what I get. I might get the best item in the game, right?
It's usually not worth your time, but let's see. How much XP do I get, by the way? I'm like halfway to the next level. That give me like 5% XP. It's not bad. Well, look at that, guys. Wow. A bunch of white items. Woohoo! Common items. Thank you, Kaduku, my boy. Woohoo! Also, some of you might be wondering why I'm not using 2 one-handed weapons. So the way that dual wielding in Path of Exile works is unless the skill itself explicitly states that it uses both weapons simultaneously, you'll just alternate your attack with your weapon. So it's actually not beneficial to dual wield one-handed weapons unless you're using a specific skill like Cleave. Cleave, for example, says it swings both your weapons at the same time, so it's going to add their damage together. But the vast majority of attacks, when you're dual wielding, just alternate which weapon they attack with, so it's not actually worth it. If you're using a one-handed weapon, you almost always are going to want to use a shield with it. I know some of you is probably in the back of your mind, why is it not using 2 weapons for more damage? The reason why that doesn't work, and let me explain that real quick. Here you go, guys. Hey, buckle in. We got another knowledge dump coming in. This will take like a couple minutes to get through, but this is very important. This is actually a huge concept to understand. So the stats on your weapons are local to that weapon. What do I mean by this? Okay, this is going to be... buckle in. Hey, strap in, boys. This is going to take me a minute to get through, but this is very, very important to your overall understanding of Path of Exile. On this weapon, you see the implicit. So the implicit is... See what that little yellow line is? I have to do this every single time. That's okay, though. See this right here? This is the implicit of the weapon. Every time it has those little, separation there. So the implicit gives me plus 45 accuracy. Accuracy just lets me hit stuff more often, right? That's the implicit. That's not an actual stat that comes with the item. Every single copper sword that drops has an accuracy rating of 45. The stats under that. So the first stat is 45% increased physical damage. That sounds really good, right? And it is actually pretty good for the weapon. But that 45% increased damage only applies to this weapon. So the physical damage of this sword right here, this physical damage of the weapon is what is being scaled by this 45%. So it says 9 to 20. If you ever see the text as blue, so you see right here, I think there's another weapon back here. Let's do a little comparison. Here's the one I just picked up, 6 to 14 damage. This one is 9 to 20 and it has blue text. See, the damage of this sword is white. The damage of this sword is blue. Blue just means it's being modified in some way. So that 45% increased physical damage is specifically increasing the base value of this weapon. It is not giving my character 45% physical damage. Everything that deals physical damage is not increasing that by 45%. That's not how it works because it is a local mod to the item. And this is one thing that I really hope that they change in Path of Exile 2. They make it clear that stats on weapons, specifically only on weapons. There are some other stats that work this way as well, but stats that are local to the item versus global on your character, I really hope that they better distinguish them, because it's very confusing as a new player. So see right here, the implicit of this Driftwood wand says 11% increased spell damage. If I were using a spell instead of an attack, that would just increase the damage, right? It's a global modifier. 11% increased spell damage. It doesn't matter where that spell is, it's getting 11% increased damage. Versus this right here, if I'm using a spell, it's actually not using the physical damage or the elemental damage baked into the weapon. So that 1 to 4 fire damage, that 2 to 4 cold damage, all of that is affecting my attacks. Your attacks use your weapon's stat values, whereas your spells do not. However, and there's where this is why it gets confusing. You can get mods on a weapon that give it global values. Did that do it? No, it did not. I mean, it did. The gain 1 mana per enemy killed. That is a global value. All I want you to understand, I know this is a bunch of stuff, and I'm doing a very poor job of explaining this, but again, this is a pretty important concept to understand. Local versus global modifiers. You will figure them out eventually just by playing, but it'll take a while. So I wasted my transmute there. I actually could have used those wisdom scrolls. That's okay. Put that in there too. Just understand that all of these mods on this weapon, the attack speed, the crit chance, the accuracy, the phys damage, all of that is local to that specific weapon. It's not a global 7% increase attack speed to my entire character. It's not a global 45% increase physical damage to my character. Whereas this belt right here, see how it says global physical damage? Sometimes it says, the literal word global, so then it'll be very easy to understand. So that is increasing all of my physical damage by 16%, kind of, because it's an additive increase versus multiplicative, blah, 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 blah. There's so much stuff to talk about here. I will do my best to cover that topic in more depth, especially once I get better loot to describe to you. But for the most part, just understand that your attacks use your weapon's values, and your weapon's values are based on the rolls on it. They all modify that specific weapon. Hopefully that makes sense. Change it to 45% weapon versus 45% overall damage. Right. And most times it does say global. It'll have the keyword global for you on the item somewhere, but sometimes it doesn't. Like, this game does a pretty good job at being consistent. It's just so hard to decipher what the values actually are, what the effect of whatever it is actually is doing on your character. But if you read things in Path of Exile, they usually are literal, like increase versus more, right? In other games, like, you might have a tooltip that says increased damage, and they have another one that says more damage, and they probably give you the same bonus, right? Whereas in Path of Exile, every time you see increased, it's a additive bonus, which means every single increased value on your character is pulled together. I'm actually gonna pick up this ring over here. This is a white ring, so it has no stats on it. Oh, I'll make some stats on it. There you go. Hold on. Over chance, unique item. Boom. Never mind. 5 life per enemy killed. So the act boss, the final boss of this act 1, does cold damage. So this will be a really good ring for me to use for that boss. I'm just going to keep it in my inventory for right now. Don't need to put it on just yet because I value the life on my coral rings. Okay, we're moving pretty slow. We have an okay amount of damage right now. It's not amazing. Definitely not bad. I'm looking for a 2-handed weapon again, though. I don't like to kill this guy. It's just a waste of time. If you don't need to kill it, oh, there we go. That's a 2-handed weapon, although it's pretty bad 2-handed weapon. It's like literally the starting tier. Let's see what we get on it. Nope, it's poopy. So see, that weapon has and the reason why you see Path of Exile players just like instantaneously know what is an upgrade versus what is not is just experience, obviously. That weapon right here, this is a 2-handed sword. That's what I was looking for, but it's not an upgrade because look at the physical damage. 8 to 16 physical damage. This one is a 1-handed weapon and it deals 9 to 20. So the rolls on the item matter a bunch, especially for weapons. You're just looking for damage. In the early game, you can get every single type of damage. So physical, cold, fire, lightning. Those are your 4 types of damage. You're just looking for the most damage value, right? Because you're not really like specifically scaling one type of damage on your character just yet. But I know that weapon's not good because obviously oh, here we go. Here's a blue one. So this blue one might actually just be straight up better than that one. Depends on what it rolls. Hey, 2 to 10 lightning damage. But look at the base value, 11 to 26. However, it has way lower attack speed. So this sword right here has 1.61 attacks per second. That's the base value. So my percentage to attack speed, all of these right here. So 6%, 3%, 3%, 10%. All of those values are scaling by the base value. So base attack speed on your weapon is incredibly important to have. So this is 1.61. This one's only 1.4. So this one hits harder, but it just hits less frequently. That's the best way to think about it. So that's like a side grade. Honestly, I could put that on, but it's more of a side grade than upgrade. So I'll just keep it off. Mobs you kill versus what you just run by. Usually it's blue monsters. So monsters have affixes as well. Blue have 2, yellow have 6, up to 6, I should say. You just want big groups of monsters like this. Like, these are not blue monsters or yellow monsters, but there's like 6 of them right there, so I'm just gonna kill them. Also, you want to go back for loot, obviously. Don't just leave like wisdom scrolls and transmute scrolls and stuff. All right, here's another ring. I might have extra stat. Evasion rating. Let's go, dude. For the most part, you're looking for damage on a weapon, as I just described, or life/resistances on your other pieces of gear. So if it's not a weapon, you're just looking for life and resistances, pretty much. Again, that's a pretty big generalization, but for new players, that's all you need to know. If it doesn't have life or resistances, you probably don't need to put it on. Or sockets and links. are very important as well. But for the most part, you only need your main skill linked to stuff. You don't need to start linking your other gyms to support gyms until you get pretty late into your playthrough. So you really just need one item with the colors and links that you need for your main skill. If you have at least one, you're good to go. I wouldn't worry about every single item having 4 links, 4 sockets, all that stuff. Just like your main skill, that's it. Hey, Justina, why splitting silver? Spectral throw for leveling. I just want to do it. I could use spectral throw, but I want to keep this as simple as possible. That is a very good point, actually. For a lot of builds, you will have, also, I'm just describing this real quick. So remember, I got this for the mana because I want to use Frostblink. My helmet's garbage. It has intelligence on it. So I'm filling my intelligence requirement from here. And now I'm going here for the extra life. I'm going to go get some other stuff as well after that. So for leveling purposes, yeah, a lot of builds will have a entirely different ability that they use specifically for leveling, just because like the area coverage is way better. The damage might be a little lower for single target, but the area coverage and just the overall like feeling of playing the skill feels exponentially better. So a lot of builds will level with a leveling skill, and then they'll totally spec out of it once they finish the campaign, basically. So I do have the option here. I kind of like splitting steel. I don't think it feels terrible whatsoever, but you're right. I could use the different one just for, I guess, a little more single target probably. No, spectral throw would actually have more clear, not single target. So right here, all this is not good for me. Claws, I can't use my ability with the claw, so I'm just ignoring that. White items, ignoring them. I did pick up the life flask, but it's a small life flask, which we don't need that. Just gonna drop back on the ground. We're good. All right, we'll kill this rare monster here. Let's see if we can get a couple items from him. It'll give me the best item in the game. Does he give me the best item in the entire game? Boom! Two-handed maul. Let's go, baby. So that's a mace, and I can't use a mace, so not the two-handed weapon we are looking for, unfortunately. Again, when you're traveling through zones, you're just looking for the orange door. Orange door leads you to the next part of whatever that zone is. So if you see the orange door, you're good to go. Walk towards the orange door. And most zones are kind of like a U shape, honestly. So you'll go in, wherever you spawn in, just make a mental note of that, and then just make like a U from that point, and you'll probably find the exit. All right, load up again. We're gonna put our point of that life node right there. Keep going. We're finding the orange door. That actually should be right here. There it is. Boom. Bada bing, bada boom. Perfect. The Warden's Quarters. Our dungeon's procedurally generated. Yes. Every single zone in this game is procedural, which is pretty cool. They have a general layout to each zone. It's not like they're completely random each time. I can better describe that actually once we get to the next act. There's a specific zone where I can give you a piece of info, and it'll make that statement that I just had, which they're procedural, but they're not random. It'll make that make a ton more sense. So just wait till that zone. I can explain it to you. But yes, they are procedurally generated. All right, so here's the first boss, or the first like mini boss, I guess. We fought other unique enemies, named enemies, we'll call them. Like they have a specific name. This is the first like mini boss. He's not the act boss, but he's definitely way tougher than the average unique enemy. This is the skill check. A lot of people quit on this guy, actually. If you look at the statistics, because this is a free-to-play game, right? So you have a lot of people that just try it out, just like, what's this game all about? Then they get to this enemy and then just die left and right. So this guy's pretty easy. You know, you just watch for the big ground shockwaves that come out. I have to resummon my totem. Hey, welcome to attacks. I was going to say melee. This is technically not a melee build, but it kind of is. Welcome to an attack-based build. Your totems are going to die left and right. So you see right here, I'm just walking in a circle. You know, I'm attacking based on my attack rate. Like if I just stand still, I'm doing a pretty good job of weaving them at the correct times. Again, if you play games like League of Legends or Dota, you'll understand this kiting process here. He'll explode into a bunch of loot. Make sure you don't leave before that happens. So Saber is pretty good. That's a one-handed sword and with really high base attack speed, so that could be good. Let's see if it's good. See if it's good. No. And then these are all stuff that I don't want to use. I could pick that up, but you mainly want to save your wisdom scrolls again for yellow items, but your weapon would be an exception because your weapon can roll, even though it's only 2 modifiers, you could get like 50% increased physical damage on your weapon. It'd be an upgrade over your current one. So I would save your wisdom scrolls. Don't pick up blue items unless it's a weapon or a pair of boots. If it's boots, you can get movement speed. So I'm gonna give you a pro tip here. Look, remember when I said if you open your map, if you see here, this means there's a waypoint in that zone, but I have not acquired it yet. This means I've acquired the waypoint. This means there's no waypoint. There's no circle there at all. So you see, I'm in the prison. I haven't moved forward yet to my next zone. Yet, what's this? It gave me the next zone's waypoint automatically. Sometimes it does that. And that's just the developers intentionally doing that, because after you kill like a milestone, a checkpoint boss or something, they'll just give you the next waypoint automatically in case you get lost and you log out or something. Because again, like I said, like most people quit once they kill this guy. So maybe you fought this guy for like 30 minutes and you finally killed him and like, I need to take a break. You log out and you're like, no, I have to go all the way through that again. No, it gives you the waypoint again. So I'm going to log out. My point with all of that is I'm logging out yet again, saving my portal scrolls, coming back to town because I know that I have the waypoint for the next area. All right, we have some choices here with some skill gems. I probably will go Maim here, honestly. These other ones aren't entirely beneficial for me. Yeah, we'll go Maim here. You're probably not going to get like super good skills right away. You're gonna have to progress through the campaign a little bit before you start getting really good support gems for your specific character. Is there anything else I might want? I don't think so. Probably want faster attacks for a movement skill, maybe. Leap Slam. Leap Slam is a very, very, very good movement skill as well. Frost Blink is instant. Leap Slam has an attack time to it, but Leap Slam covers greater distances. But I don't have an Orbit Transmutation yet, so I'm not going to bother with that. All right, we don't need 2 of those rings. We're gonna vendor. It's a yellow item. We're gonna ID it in vendor. We don't need any of those stats, so we just don't even look at them. Keep that ring in my inventory. We're gonna put Maim on nothing, actually. We don't even need this. So here's another thing. You have an offhand. So you have your 2 weapon slots, and then you have, if you press X, it'll swap to your offhand weapons. Oh, cool. I get this as well. Let's get precision, I guess, for a little bit of attacks, crit chance. So if I buy, these are all transmutations, aren't they? Darn it. Here's a wisdom scroll. All right, cool. So I put this in my offhand. All of a sudden, I have 2 extra weapons to put things into. So you will level up gems while they are in your offhand. Obviously, these will not affect you because you're not currently wielding those weapons. But in your offhand, you can just put gems that you know you're going to use on your character eventually, but you don't have the space for them right now. You just use them in your offhand weapons. Remember, they're there, obviously. But that's just a little tip there as well. We're going to the next zone here. Prisoner's Gate. Here we go. Remember, I said I like to put my permanent buffs on my secondary bar. If you hold control, it'll bring you up this bar here for you. I have mine on shift. So I put my permanent buffs here, and then I just leave them alone. There's also an option in the settings which showcase your permanent buffs up here if you want to have all of your auras. If you want to make sure that they're always on, if that makes sense. All right, strong boxes. These are cool. You just hit them and they spawn a bunch of enemies. That's simple. They spawn enemies and then they open up and they poop out loot. Boom, like that. Jade Chopper. That is an axe. Let's see if it has some good stats on it. Crit chance. No. Nah. I'm kind of throwing a Hail Mary here, IDing blue items. I will take the mana flask. You never know when you need some more mana. Kind of doing a Hail Mary, identifying blue weapons here. I'm probably not going to get an upgrade until it's a yellow weapon, but we might as well find out, dude. Question, what type of build should I do as a new player? Whatever you want. Whatever interests you. That's the beauty of this game, is whatever sounds interesting to you, do it. Don't let anyone force you to play a specific build because it's the meta, blah, 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 blah. As long as you're following a beginner build guide, that is the most important part. Well, I guess the most important part is you actually are interested in the skill, because if you're not having fun, then why are you playing the game? Duh. But as long as it's specifically catered towards new players, you should be fine. Whatever you want to do, whatever sounds interesting to you, just do it. Here's another. That shield's actually not that good. It's like literally the. Oh no. It might be a little bit better. Pick it up. Boom.
1% chance to block. What?
Has 3 sockets. Might as well put it on.
1% chance to block? No way.
Keep kind of back. Whalebone Rapier might be better. It's a blue item though. Let's see. Boom. 1 to 2 fizz damage. GG. Don't follow Path of Exile builds on trash. Oh, that's a specific channel. He's not saying don't find your build off of YouTube. He's saying don't follow the channel called Path of Exile builds. Yeah, that channel's garbage. That's not a personal thing. Like, the vast majority of people that watch builds know that channel is trash. Trust me. So I don't think I need. I'm not. This is not a melee skill. So I usually grab this node on every build that I play because it's actually a pretty dang good node. It gives you a weapon range, life regen, a little bit of strength, so a little bit of health and damage. But I'm not playing a melee build. I am specifically playing a attack build, not a melee attack build. So this node actually basically does nothing for me, which means I probably shouldn't have grabbed that either. It's kind of a waste of a point. But we know what I am doing. Projectile build. So I'm going to go here to Fury Bolts, get projectile damage, projectile speed, projectile damage. So we're going to put our point in there. As soon as I get a respec point, I actually probably will drop that 5% node. I don't need that. Again, you want to path towards life nodes, but it's more important to grab notables. So once you path towards a life node and you grab the notable, which again, this is the notable, Bravery, I probably shouldn't have grabbed this extra 5% because it's not worth that single passive point. Obviously, for right now, it's pretty good, but once you get later on, your passive points get so much more valuable that you don't probably want to get that 5% node. You want that extra point traveling towards a different notable is better spent. Here we go. That is literally our first item. So see how this item is kind of like the gray background? That's my loot filter telling me that, remember, a red, green, and blue linked together equals a chromatic orb. So that's my loot filter saying, hey, dude, here's a chromatic orb on the ground. It's a bronze scepter, but this is essentially a chromatic orb bronze scepter because of the recipe. That's your loot filter hooking you up. Blacksmith whetstone, GG, 4 more wisdom scrolls. So I'm kind of wasting my time here killing all these enemies. Honestly, as long as you're having fun, it doesn't matter. Obviously, I don't think you needed me to tell you that. Also, I didn't explain the aura that I picked up. I'm so sorry. I picked up Precision from my quest reward, which gives me accuracy and crit chance, which is right here. So you nearby allies get 20% increased crit chance and a little bit of accuracy rating. Accuracy is very important for attack builds because that is your chance to hit something. And you'll see it in your character tab if you go to the offense tab. Make sure you click your specific skill. So right here, it starts on your default attack. This menu is so outdated. I really hope PoE 2 has a way better menu than this. So make sure you choose your main attack, which for me, or your main ability. It's splitting steel for me. Right here, I'm at 100% accuracy, which is great, but this is the one that matters. Main hand, chance to hit evasive monsters. That is the line. Don't worry about the name. I don't need to explain all of that. Just look at the number. If this is not 100%, you need to get that to 100%. Main hand, chance to hit evasive monsters. If you're playing an attack build and that number is not 100%, you are leaving tons of damage on the floor. It's actually a 1-to-1 for your overall damage. So if you have main hand, chance to hit evasive monster, that's your overall accuracy. If your overall accuracy is 90%, you're literally leaving 10% damage on the floor, which is Obviously not good. And accuracy is pretty easy to get more of, so just cap your accuracy. Explain more of the endgame stuff to get to the campaign? Yeah, absolutely. I plan on doing, obviously this will be part 1, which will be just the campaign. But I do plan on playing this character, especially if there's a lot of interest in it. I can play it for as long as you guys are interested in it. No movement speed yet, but it has pretty good stats on it. However, if I put these boots on, so they have fire, cold, and lightning res, if I put these boots on, I lose my links on my main skill, because this is my main skill, splitting steel. So I can't really put these on. So I will keep them for now, because maybe I get another item with 2 green, 1 red. And if I do, then I can put them on. I might as well pick these up as well. I have tons of wisdom scrolls right now. If I do get one, cool. If I don't, I'll just sell the boots for alteration charge. Not a big deal. I got another chromatic orb. Let me get to the next waypoint. So in this zone, I got the waypoint, and then I went into the ship graveyard cave. Right here, ship graveyard cave. You're looking for this zone because this gives you the all flame. Once you kill that little like, I don't know what to call her, siren looking thingamabobber, she drops the all flame, and then you go back and give this to a ghost pirate guy, and he gives you a skill point. It's basically it's a skill point quest. Skill point quests are very important to do because a lot of them are optional. Well, optional, quote unquote. They're not optional. You want to do them. Also, the most efficient way to do this is you go into the ship graveyard zone, you find that cave, like I just killed her. It's over here. Boom, here's the cave right here. Go into the cave, get the all flame. Then, instead of going back to this waypoint, you keep going from this because you'll probably find the exit. So remember, orange doors. You're looking for orange doors. That's always what you look for, orange doors. So you come out of that cave, it poops you out like in the same area once you're done.
Mr.
And then you just find the next orange door. You get the other waypoint.
Laughing face.
Right here. My week was fantastic. How was your week? And then you just waypoint back over to here because this is where Fairgraves is. It just saves you some time. So just go to this zone, find the ship graveyard cave, go in there, get the all flame, and then go to the next zone, which is the Cavern of Anger, get that waypoint, then waypoint back to the ship graveyard cave. I actually got a pretty bad layout here. I got a pretty bad layout here. Fairgraves is usually directly next to the waypoint here. That's why I recommend you do that. I think he's up here, though. Let us see. Fairgraves, hello. All right, here he is. See his name and his exclamation point. Exclamation point, again, simply means they have a quest for you. Go up here. Talk to Captain Fairgraves. He's going to spawn a bunch of dudes for us. Also, we're getting the projectile speed, projectile damage here. We have a few seconds here. Does anyone have any questions right now? And again, my plan is to do a little recap after every single act. I will give you a recap of exactly what I've been doing and why. My loot filters are important. They're not very important for the early game because it's going to show you a bunch of the stuff anyway. But once you get going into the game, there's just so much loot that drops that you do not want to, as a new player, it's so much better to just not have seen the items drop in the first place because they're garbage. So if I hold Alt, it'll actually, so see right here, it's actually showing me a couple items. So see right here, you can hardly see them. So that's the whole point of the loot filter, is it's hiding a bunch of garbage for me. All right, we already have the waypoint for the next area, so I'm going to log out, save the portal scroll, go here, talk to Bestel. Here's our skill point. Bada bing, bada boom. Talk to her. She should give me another skill. I don't really need any of these, so I'm just going to pick a random one. Shattering Steel. Hey, we can use Shattering Steel. So these are all chromatic orbs to sell them. All the rare items I identify. I don't need any of these stats, so I'm not even going to look at them. Well, that mace rolled pretty good. For a mace, but I'm not, I can't use a mace with my ability. I'll probably find another 2 green, 1 red, but again, this doesn't have movement speed, so I don't really care, so I'm just gonna sell the boots anyway. I'm also gonna sell that for some wisdom scrolls. There's the whole haul. Look at that, 3 chromatic orbs, a whole alteration, got another whetstone. All right, so here is the first major choice, basically. So the whole goal, again, in the passive tree is so incredibly complex. At least like a new player, I cannot give you a overview of the entire tree. Like, it would just take way too long. It's just information overload. So again, you want the path towards the life nodes. You have a search bar on the top. You can type life. All the life's going to start blinking. Now, some of it's not life, right? Some of it's like just has the word life in it. Like attack damage leached is life. That's not, you want percentage life. So you're going to have to use your eyeballs a little bit. You go over here, you're like, where's the life? Life. Oh, here we go. 5% increase max life. Cool. I want to get those nodes. So I want to go over here. That's generally what I'm going to do. It's going to be very hard for me to describe where I'm going on the tree and why, but I will do my best. While I'm doing it, it'll be really hard, but I could map this tree out on Path of Building real quick for you, actually, because I know basically what I'm already going to do. Maybe I do that. All right, we're looking for a 2-handed weapon again. Our damage is still okay. It's just not amazing. Oh, here's that boss. I need to put on my cold res ring. Here we go. So she does a lot of cold damage. So you can see these big old icicles falling from the ceiling, so I forgot to swap onto my cold res ring there. I just did that quickly in inventory. Put my life flask on, too. Whoops, that was the wrong one. Now I'm going to have no life flask charges. That's okay. Come here. So I'm just making, again, that my totem is always up on the boss. I'm trying to kite as much as I can. We need to kill these enemies. So every time you kill an enemy, you get a life or a charge on your flasks, period. Every single flask gets 1 charge per kill. We have like no regen right now. We have a coral amulet, which is like 2 regen per second. I have no life flask, so we have to be kind of careful here. Once we kill a couple enemies, though, we should be fine. Whoa! If I die, it's not a big deal, but obviously I'd prefer it not to die. Dude, give me some health flask. Dude, there we go. Fine. Oh, that was an instant flask. Oops. All right, she's almost dead. We should get all of our flasks up once we kill her. Just don't get hit forehead. It's that simple. Come on. Come on, baby. A battle for the ages right here, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. GG. Not yet. Not yet, guys. Phase 2. The hardest boss in the game. Merveil Phase 2. Here we go. Can we do it? Yeah, this damage is pretty laughable. But once we get a two-handed weapon, it'll feel way better. And this is a good learning experience too, because you're not always going to get lucky with drops. Sometimes you get, you know, weapons left, right, front, and center dropping for you, which again, weapon is the main way you're dealing damage on an attack build. Other times you're going to get totally shafted and not get any loot drops. It's going to feel terrible. Very good learning process here. Yeah, we got classes on classes, boys, in this game. We could take that hatchet, maybe. These are all not useful for me. I could take the horn, I guess. I have plenty of wisdom scrolls. The class you choose basically doesn't matter until you know what you're doing. Then it kind of matters. And even then, it's like not the end-all, be-all. If you have a cool archetype in your head, you can probably do it in this game. That was actually a huge drop. So Bismuth Flask. Oh my gosh! Oh my, okay. So we just rolled additional Res on the Res flask. So this flask, when you activate it, gives you 35% all resistances, which is good, or elemental resistances. So resistances, again, on your gear that is not your weapon, you want life and resistances. Those are the two most important things. You can see your values, go to your character tab, go to defense. So right now I'm sitting at 0 fire res, 41 cold res, 7 lightning res. Actually, it's even worse than that. Hey, there we go. It's a little better because I'm taking off that cold. So 3, 14, and 10. This flask gives me 35 to all. And then I got a suffix, which if you hold your alt key, it'll show you the range. So I got a suffix that gives me additional elemental resistances. That's absolutely massive. It's only up temporarily, right? Because it's a flask, and you only get charges when you kill stuff. So for boss fights and stuff, it's basically not going to be up. Also, haven't got boots with movement speed yet, bro. We need to get some movement speed boots. This is horrendous. Look how slow we are. Look at this. Look at how slow we are. Let's get that portal scroll. Remember, just going for the orange door. Might as well kill this guy. Maybe he gives me a tabula rasa. Boom. Greater life fast. You know what? It's something. Actually, I already have one. Goodbye. Don't need it. Okay, Act 1 complete. Let's take a breather here, boys. Chat, do you guys have any questions? Anything so far that you would like me to explain a little more? Anything that you've just been confused on in general? Something I haven't covered yet? I'll also cover like my passive tree. I'll give you like a basic rundown of what I've done and why. Let's look for boots and movement speed too real quick. Boots. 15 movement speed. Perfect. There it is. GG. All right, we just need to level up one more time, and we have movement speed. However, our links are on our boots. Also, here's another chromatic orb. See, blue, green, red. Linked together. That's an armor scrap. I don't want that one. So just sell that chromatic orb. GG. But I'm going to have to get my links elsewhere. So let's go ahead and look at this guy one more time. We should get... perfect. Yeah, that works. Cool. I can put a chance orb on it. Accuracy and... reflects fizz damage. Oof. Oof! Stash tabs. Cool. Yes, we can do stash tabs. Cool. Yeah, you'll see me. I'm basically just been on this tab the whole time. That's basically what you're going to do as a new player. Are these weapons an upgrade? Hold on. This is probably an upgrade. 6 to 26, but it has that Ellie damage and a little bit of crit multi and a little bit of resist, honestly. Pretty good. 14 to 21. 1.45 attack speed. 1.55 attack speed. Yeah, I think this is better. It's a side grade, basically. Let's put it on. Why not? Okay, sell. Let's keep the boots in my inventory. Boom, boom, boom. Stash tabs. So stash tabs, you will only have 4 of them off the bat. So you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, just like regular looking tabs here. And they won't be premium, so you can't do anything with them. You don't need to worry about stash tabs. Here's the thing with stash tabs. As a new player, you're fine. The 4 tabs you get at the start are actually good because it'll teach you how to prioritize good versus bad loot. If your stash tabs are filling up with a bunch of garbage, it's because it's a bunch of garbage, right? You probably should not have the items in the first place. So you need to learn as a player what's worth keeping and what's not. Basically, all the currency items, you're gonna stockpile currency in your regular tab, right? That's a given. But for the most part, if you're keeping a bunch of like rare items around, especially like blue items, like there's no reason to have common or blue items in your stash ever. Like, don't have them in your stash ever. Just vendor them. You'll see, if you've been watching for a little bit, you'll see that I vendor like 99% of stuff that I pick up. I'm not picking up 99% of stuff, and then the stuff that I am picking up, 99% of that I'm vendoring. Obviously, that takes a lot of time, a lot of experience to get to that point, but that's generally what you're going to be doing. So don't worry about stash tabs. 4 is plenty for a new player. You do not need to spend money, period. Like, I need a guide for a build guide, and yeah, that's a good point. Honestly, a lot of that comes down to the build creator. And unfortunately, I think a lot of people, now we're getting to like a macro topic here, a lot of people don't know how to make beginner content, right? Now, this is a very complex game because even like one of the best beginner guides out there is probably going to seem overwhelming to a new player simply because there's so much in this game. But for the most part, especially in build guides, beginner build guides don't do a good job at explaining it as to a beginner. So I kind of want to make a beginner build guide. In fact, I probably will after I do this boot camp here. Even no trading tab. Yeah, no, you don't need to trade as a new player at all until you get out of the campaign. Like maybe once you get to like level 50, you might hit a big roadblock around level 50. But the goal as a new player is to fix everything yourself. You can trade, obviously, but if you don't know how to improve your character, you don't really know what you're trading for in the first place. Does that make sense? So trading is not going to solve your issue if you don't even know what your issue is. So the goal as a new player, like give a man a fish, will live for a day, teach a man a fish, will live for whatever that quote is. Same idea here. I would highly recommend that you learn how to fix your character your own way before you start relying on other people in trading. Unique items, they're just items that drop. If you get a unique item, cool. If you don't get one, which is going to be the majority of times, you just don't get a unique item. Don't have to worry about them. In terms of like building around unique items as a new player, don't worry about that. Yeah, actually, that's a great point. If you are following a beginner build guide that has a unique item in it, don't follow that build guide. Straight up. Like there might be different loadouts. Like make sure you're checking the build guide, and like there's not one section for like early game and then mid game and end game, and you know, end game stuff obviously will have like a unique or something like that, and that's no problem. But if you're following a beginner build guide and it has a bunch of unique items, just close that guide immediately. Just find a new one, because yeah, that is a pretty difficult concept to balance or to understand as a new player. It's like how do I trade for this item? What roles am I looking for? Blah 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 blah. I forgot to do my recap. Remember when I said I was going to do a recap after every act chat? I kind of forgot to do that. We're in a pretty good spot right now. Again, I still have this helmet on for the int requirement. Actually, I don't need it anymore. So if I take out the gem, I can still use it if I take off my helmet. So we're just looking for anything with a blue socket. Wait, I have a blue socket on my freaking chest piece. Speaking of chest piece, my chest piece literally has no stats on it. This chest piece is garbage. So let me go over my gear real quick. Look how tanky this guy is. This is exactly why you do not want to kill the vast majority of, not the vast majority, but sometimes if you find a really tanky guy, it's not worth killing. Well, I'm sticking. Look at this. Look at this. Boom, he's dead. Yo, strap leather. Maybe it's an upgrade. Yes, it is an upgrade. Cool. Now we have more stats on our gear. Beautiful. If you can avoid it, I would put your auras, your permanent buffs that reserve your mana, not in your weapon slots, because when you swap your weapon, if you swap your weapon for any reason, it'll disable your auras, and it's really annoying. So I would recommend that you don't do that. So see how garbage that chest piece was? I literally took it off. I replaced it with this chest piece. It has a little bit of evasion, a little bit of resistances. I dropped this chest piece. It literally doesn't even show up on my screen. You ready for this? Look at that. Just disappears. That's the loot filter telling me, hey, that item that you had, that was trash. That was complete garbage. Okay, so my sword's okay right now. It's still a one-handed sword. I would ideally want a two-handed sword. I still have not seen one that's worth picking up. So I'm using a one-handed sword. It's fine. I'm doing okay damage. This helmet's complete trash. I'm still looking for a better one. In fact, this can go here. Any helmet that I get now that has literally any stat like health resistances, I'm just going to put it on over this one. This helmet's garbage. This amulet is garbage as well. It just doesn't have any stats on it. It's literally just the region. So any amulet I get, I'll replace that. This ring's pretty good. Extra damage, a little bit of resistances, extra life, strength. That's pretty good. This ring is also life strength. That's pretty good. But if I get another one with resistances, I'll probably put that on. Resistances are very, very, very important, by the way. You want to get those up as high as possible. The normal maximum is 75. You see I'm at 3% fire resistance. We need to get a little higher than that. So we're looking for resistances. These gloves are pretty trash, but they have 3 link sockets. I don't need the links. So these are not support gems. These are all regular skill gems. So the links don't actually matter. Like I can put these, I can put Ancestral Protector up there or down here. It doesn't matter where it is. It's the same effect. So these are not actually benefiting from the links. It's just the sockets. So these gloves are actually trash, so we can upgrade those. The belt's okay, double resistances. These boots are absolute garbage. It's just the links. I'm using this because that's where my main skill is. These are support gems. Chance to bleed support and pierce support are both affecting splitting steel, so those are pretty dang important. So we have them there. So these boots I'm going to put on immediately. Once I hit level 16, which I'm level 15 right now. So next level, I put these boots on to get 15% movement speed. Absolutely beautiful. I'll put my gems over here. In fact, I can do this right now. No need to wait. Once I get these boots, I'm going to slap them on. And that's about it for the gear. Gear is in an okay spot, I would say. It's not the worst RNG possible, but it's pretty bad. Here on the passive tree, again, I kind of wasted this point because the idea is to path toward life nodes, but stop once you hit a notable passive. But the notable passives are the one with these borders. So this has no borders, just a big old circle. These ones have the little spiky guys, little golden spiky border thingy. That's a notable passive, and you'll know, obviously, because it has a name on it instead of just life. This one has bravery. This one's called Art of the Gladiator. This one's called Mana Flows. And that one just says mana region, right? So notable passive points have names and those little gold borders, and they give you way higher stat values. You see here is that's 5% life. This is 8% life, but also 24% evasion and armor. So you want to go for notable skills. So we went through here. We got a little bit of attack speed on the start here. We got life and evasion armor here. A little more attack speed. We grabbed this only for the plus 20 intelligence. I will definitely respec out of this later on. The mana region and the mana don't matter. I just grabbed this for the 20 intelligence because I'm going to need it for Frostblink, which is my favorite movement skill. Highly recommend that you use Frostblink on every character that you're playing. Speaking of movement skills, I need to go get another one. Let me go do that right now, actually. I have to get to the waypoint. But there you go. There's a little... Oh, Chaos Orb. That's huge. So do not spin these guys. If you get these guys when you're leveling up, do not spin them. Do not. It says it reforges an item, gives it new properties. So you're like, oh, I can reroll this item. Maybe I get better damage on my weapon. No. You save them. Chaos Orbs are the most common item available for trading. When you trade other players, when you do get to that point, you want as many Chaos Orbs as you can possibly get your grubby little mitts on, okay? All right, so here we need... oh, I don't have a transmute. That's why. Man, can I buy a transmute from you? Hey. You got transmute orb? 7 portal scrolls. You know what? It's pretty expensive, but I want it. I don't have any transmute. So I'm going to grab Leap Slam here. Leap Slam is a movement skill, so now I can just move around faster. Do you need any other questions? It's a movement skill, and it allows me to move around the map faster. Any other questions? Anybody? Also, I'm gonna switch this up real quick. So normally I like to go to the right. So you'll see when you get to Act 2, this is the start of Act 2, you can either go left or right. Remember, orange doors are the exits to go to the next zone. So you go left or right. Usually I like to go right because the Chamber of Sins, right here, this is the Chamber of Sins. Once you complete the quest here, you talk to one of the vendors and it gives you even more permanent buffs that reserve your mana. Basically free power because you don't have to link the gems to anything. You just activate them. So I usually like going there first. However, I actually need better support gems for my main attack. So we're going to go get those better support gems. So I'm going to go to the left. And of course, as a new player, you have no idea what I'm talking about. You're not going to know Einhar, the best NPC in the game. You're not going to know what quests give what, but I'm just telling you right now, that is, if you want support gems linked to your main skill, go to the left. If you want just permanent buffs on your character, go to the right. I shouldn't say permanent. I should say like guaranteed buffs. Guaranteed buffs of some kind. Alchemy orb. Let's go, baby. How much faster can you move around? It's not that much faster, but it's definitely noticeable. And it's kind of cool because you can leap slam. If your Frostblink is on cooldown, you can just leap slam to get across gaps now instead. Also, here's our movement speed. You can see it actually feels way better. Look at that. Look at the difference. Look at the difference a little bit of movement speed gives you. Let's level all these up. Boom, boom, boom. Just follow the road. This zone's really easy. You just literally follow the road. So I'm on the big old road right now. That's where I want to be. Dude, the clear on this skill is actually pretty dang good. This is the first time I've really used this skill. Oops, I mean to do that. So right there, you saw what shrine. So you see this big old triple arrow prong above my head. That is a shrine buff. It's called a massive shrine, I think. Yep. I've increased life, area, effect, and size. So my character is way bigger. I have a bigger life pool. My attack will be hitting a little larger. So shrines are just temporary buffs. He has 20 seconds remaining on it. So if you see them, and they spawn monsters more importantly. So just clear out the monsters there. So hit the waypoint and then just keep following the road. What you keep in your inventory? I just keep Wisdom Scroll and Portal Scroll. That's it. Everything else, unless it's an item that I'm gonna use eventually, like I need stat requirements or something, then I'll keep that in my inventory too. But as a new player, you might not want to do that. You might want to keep it in your stash just in case you vendor it on accident. Depends on how comfortable you are with that. But I literally just keep Wisdom Scrolls and Portal Scrolls. I'm not going to kill this red enemy because he's so tanky. I have no damage for that, so I'm just going to exit the zone here. That is definitely a good example of a way tanky enemy. I'm just going to ignore him. He doesn't exist to me. I'm out of here. Same idea here. Just follow the path. Keep going. I could get that Wisdom Scroll. I'm at the point now where I have a lot of Wisdom Scrolls. I don't need to go back for like one. Obviously, if I kill an enemy and it drops one at my feet, I'll go for it. Oh, that's good. That's what you want to go back for. Transmute Orb is either 4 Wisdom Scrolls or, again, buying like skill gems and stuff. So Transmute Orbs are very valuable. Blacksmith Whetstones and Transmute Orbs are like the most valuable common currencies, I guess. Not literally common, because there is a classification of currency items that are common, and like Chaos Orb is in that classification, but a Chaos Orb is obviously way more valuable than a Transmute or a Whetstone. I'm just saying for like a new player. The stuff that you'll see frequently, that's common. I'm just using that interchangeably. That's the stuff that Transmute and Blacksmith, those are the 2 most valuable ones, I think. Pretty powerful on your character. All right, so you pick that up. Make sure you click the button here, the thematic seal. You want to activate that once you kill that guy right there. Oh, nice leap slam, bro. That was crazy. All right, so here, instead of leaving the zone, what you're going to go is you're going to go back. So see right here how there's a broken pathway on my map? See where my cursor is? Right here. You can kind of see the broken path here too. Yep, right here. So right where this torch is actually. So see the broken path that starts coming out like this. So you have to deal with the bandit lords as one of your quests. Here's another altar, by the way, or a shrine, sorry. There's a tormented ghost. See this guy will like float around. So I died because the shrine there gives the enemies increased physical damage, and there's guys in the zone that explode. They literally suicide bomb you, and they deal physical damage. So that shrine plus that exploder guy just literally one-shot me. That's hilarious. And the ghost. I think the ghost buffed them as well. That was a lot of damage. Let's just pick up the shrine. So as soon as you grab the shrine, it stops affecting the enemies. Two-handed sword, that might be good. Let's pick that up. Boarding axe could also be really good. Let's see. That's not. So you're looking for the broken path, and then you're going to follow the little rubble. I kind of lost it by now. Oh, here's the rubble. All right, so you're going to follow all this rubble, and it's going to lead you straight to the bandit in this area, which is named Alira. The visual cue you're looking for. You follow the path, look for the broken area, and then follow the rubble. It leads you straight to Alira every time. Should you save uniques or sell them? Depends on what they are. As a new player, I would save all of them. There's no reason not to. You're not going to get that many of them, and you might find a reason to use one eventually, right? Or you just might want to use one eventually. So I would definitely just keep them all for right now. That's what you should fill up your stash tabs with, honestly. I'm going to leave the wand. Actually, we have Wisdom Scrolls. We're good. GG. Oh, those guys hurt so much. Those guys are probably going to kill you, by the way. These purple guys right here, they run into you and explode. Just keep kiting them. So here's another thing. The Weaver, which is the other point of interest in this zone, the Weaver's Chambers, is always going to be the opposite side of the road. See right here, orange door. So the opposite side of the road from where Alira was. So here's the broken path. So Alira was over here. So the opposite side of the road is the Weaver's Chambers, which is the other place we need to go. So instead of wasting all your time walking around, just go to the other side of the road. GG. So this is basically going to be a big U. So I spawned here. So I'm expecting the exit to be over here somewhere. So I'm just going to make a big U. Walk this way, and we should find the Weaver somewhere over here. Probably opened up downwards, actually. Look at that two-handed sword. I'm actually going to alch that thing. Yeah, let's see what happens. Boom. Yeah, that's better. I'm definitely... Actually, wait, I can't use it. Dang it. My colors aren't right. Darn, boys, my colors. We need to chromatic orbit. We have a few chromatic orbs, so that's where they're going to come in handy. I think that is a pretty big upgrade, though. Yeah, that'll feel way better. Also, let me use my first portal scroll. All right, so we're gonna portal out here. I used an alchemy orb on the sword because I had a couple alchemies, like why not try it out? But if I put this on, I drop my shield because obviously this is a two-handed sword, takes both my hands. So my main skill is linked in my shield right now, which means when I put a two-handed sword on, I lose my shield. But this is also 3 links. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna throw a chromatic orb on it, and we're looking for just 1 red. So you see right here, it says requires level 17, and it says 33 strength, 33 dex, right here. These are the base stats of the item, and they correlate to the likelihood of getting those color sockets. So strength is correlated to red, and you can check here on your character tab, press C. Strength is red, intelligence is blue, dexterity is green. You're looking at the base type. So strength and dex means that green and red sockets are equally as likely to roll on this item, and equally likely because this is 33 and that's also 33, so they're both the same chance essentially to roll. Not only red and green sockets, it's just more likely to get red and green, which is perfect for my build because I need red and green sockets. So here we go. Wow, that's actually pretty unlucky. That's pretty unlucky too. All right, here we go. It's pretty unlucky. Come on. Hey! What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What is that? Actually, it's not terrible. I could use that. Actually, I could have used double green. Shoot, I messed up there. I could have used double green, 1 blue. I'm just thinking about in my head what skill gems I'm going to use. Yeah, I definitely could have used double green. I guess I can use that too. It's not terrible. Whatever, dude. Whatever, dude. That's pretty unlucky. Pretty unlucky. Also, the reason why we saw so many blue sockets come up is because the item level is so low. So that's where I said the value does matter, actually. The 33, strength 33 dex. The higher the value, the way more likely it is to roll those colors. So if you had like an item that had 100 strength and 100 dex as a requirement, the chance of getting a blue is like way lower. But the items that have, like this item has no stat requirements whatsoever. It is a energy shield, so it's intelligence centric. But because it says no stat requirement on it, it actually is a 33% chance across the board to get blue, green, or red sockets. Whereas this one has a higher weighting towards those red and green. The blue is a little lower. But because the item itself is such a low level, it actually still has a pretty good chance of getting blue sockets, which you just saw. I used 6 chromatic orbs and I got a blue like every single time. All right, we somehow have 3 passive points. I don't know how that happened. That's cool though. So what I'm going to do here is, here's a pro tip. Get a little bit of life leech and mana leech in your build as soon as humanly possible. So right here, I'm next to a node, even to 0.4%. This 0.4% right here, that's enough. I'm taking it. 0.4% life and mana. Yes, sir. Please. Thank you very much. I'll take that. I also do want to use a 2-handed weapon, so I will be grabbing these nodes right here, which say accuracy, crit chance, and then crit multiplier. These are very good nodes. However, I don't want to be, because maybe I find a really good one-handed weapon, like with insane stats on it, and I want to swap back to it. All of a sudden, these passive points are useless. So I will grab these eventually, just not right now. So we're going to go over here. You want to get like generic stats before you get very specific stats. So I don't want specifically 2-handed stuff. I want generic damage like this. This just says projectile damage. That affects my skill, whatever weapon I'm using. I think what I'm going to do is I kind of want more damage right now. So I'm going to path down here because the next real damage area would be these nodes right here. So this is projectile attack crit. So just more crit chance, crit damage. Obviously, whenever you roll a crit, you just deal extra damage, and the damage is based on your critical strike multiplier. See right here, I have a crit chance of 5%. Woohoo! 5% crit chance, and then when I crit, I deal 160% of the normal. So I deal essentially 60% more damage whenever I crit, and I have a 5% chance to crit. So we want to get way more crit. So I'm going to path over here first, grab these, and then we also have these life nodes right here. So after I grab that damage, I can grab this life. There's also some pretty cool stuff. We go this way. I probably will go this way because we have even more sword crit chance up here. We got some extra life right here. I'm probably going to go this way. That being said, we need to go back to the Weaver's Chambers. Let's go. I plan on posting the POB for this build when you get done. Yeah, absolutely. First, wait here. All right, so you see here is basically a U shape, right? I said it's basically gonna be a U from where we started. So we started here, and I said, okay, I'm gonna make a big U. It could be to the right as well, but usually this zone opens to the left. That's just from experience. So here we go. We made a little U, and here's the Weaver's Nest. Boom. Bada bing, bada boom. Yeah, this damage is not very good, but as soon as we put on this 2-handed sword, it should feel way better. Plus, we have like no damage nodes on the tree right now. So if in other games, if you have something that says like 5% increased crit chance, it just gives you an extra 5% crit chance, right? If you have already 15 and you get an extra 5, now you're at 20% crit chance, right? That's not how this works in this game. I probably don't need to go into too much stuff on that right now. Just know that it's not the case in this game. Once we get to an item that will... Actually, I'll get a skill gem in 1 second, and I'll be able to explain that to you. In 1 second. Boom. Okay. Actually, no, that skill gem's back in Act 1. I should have got that already. All right, so I'm going to log out because I just killed the last thing in this area. I don't need to portal out. Save the portal scroll. So I'm going to go back to here, actually. Number 1, because we have a skill point to grab. Number 2, because I want another skill gem, and it's specifically here in Act 1. So this is, you have to go back to Act 1. This is very important. Go back to Act 1 to grab this skill point. Also, at any time that you're playing, if you type /passives It'll tell you based on your current progression on your character, the quests that reward passive skill points, and if you have completed them. If it's not 0, you're good to go. So there were 3 quests at this point in the game that gave me passive points. I've done all 3 of them. We're fine. If that says 0, you need to go back and do that quest. So here I'm going to grab a... Oh, you don't get it on this guy. Increased critical strikes. I do not get that skill gem. That's actually kind of bad. That's a pretty good support gem. I kind of wanted that. Oh, well, that's no big deal. All classes have limited access to gems, except for, I guess, the Scion, but you're not going to be playing the Scion as a new player. Here, we got to talk to this guy first. Hello, please give me... Oh, come on. So here we are going to grab Vicious Projectile Support. Very, very nice. Gives me 30% more physical attack damage. Sounds good to me. That's now my gem. Thank you. I was going to talk to her, and she should give me more options here. Do I want any of these? No. I think we're fine. And this is where your build guide comes in, right? Like as a new player, like how am I supposed to know which gems to choose? How do I know what to link to my skill? That's where your build guide comes in. If you're not following a build guide as a new player, you're trolling. So please follow a build guide as a new player. Thank you. I guess I do it again. Boom. Yeah, buddy. It's exactly what we're looking for. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, so now we can swap, take that off too manually. So weird. Boom. We don't have any other sockets though. So we need to get a helmet with better sockets. Our helmet is garbage. Remember? We went over a helmet being complete trash. So I need to look for a helmet with green and red. Perfect. There it is. So take that off, put that on. Wait, no way. I over leveled it, didn't I? Oh my gosh. So here's a cool thing. I'll show you something real cool, chat. You ready? You're gonna think this is so cool. So when you buy a skill gem from a vendor, it comes pre-leveled with some experience, but it's usually not enough experience. So if you've been using a skill for a long time in your character, anything that you buy from a vendor is likely going to be under that level. So you see, if I go back to here, nope, it's the same level. Gosh darn it. No! So I can't use Frostblink right now, dude. That's so bad. No. All right, then we'll look for a... Jeez, I don't know. I guess I need the gloves for this. I guess a chest piece. I have to go desperate mode here. Because we need to put on... we don't need Pierce. We can level Pierce in an offhand. So we can go like this. Go like this real quick. You can vendor the gem plus a scour orb, but I don't want to waste my scour orb. That's a vendor recipe. I don't want that. So we're good. All right, never mind. Everything's good, chat. We don't need our socket. So that is the most annoying part about this game, especially as a new player, is juggling your socket colors and whatnot. That is a huge learning curve for a new player. Because even if the gear is a clear upgrade, like you see the damage numbers are way higher or the life value is way higher, you're like, I'm going to use that item. All of a sudden you put it on and you lose your skills. You're like, oh. That's a bit of a problem. Dude, I really don't want to drop Frostblink though. That is cringe. You know what I'm gonna do? We have one alchemy orb, boys. Let me show you how we get down and dirty. Wait. Never mind, we're good. Never mind, guys, we're good. We got the intelligence amulet. Boom. I'm gonna alch it anyway. Boom! Fire damage, crit chance, life, fire res. GG. Best item in the game right there. So I would save your alchemy orbs. Only use your alchemy orbs, which turn a normal item. Again, normal has no stats, just the base value. Normal into a rare item. Only use them on if you're an attack character, your weapon, or a potential upgrade to a weapon, or your jewelry slots. I would not alch any other slot on your character. Just wait for them to drop naturally. But your jewelry slots are very powerful because you can get resistances on your rings. You can get your stats on your amulet as a base type. So right there, I was missing intelligence. I couldn't use my Frostblink, which is very important. Frostblink's a very, very important skill to be able to use. So I really needed to find that intelligence. So we went to the vendor, again, the jewelry vendor in every town right here. Ooh, also she's selling a resistance ring. Perfect. Look at that. 3 wisdom scrolls. Heck yeah, that's worth it. And then I looked for anything that said intelligence. Boom. Dex and intelligence. That's crazy. That's the base item. No stats. That's the base stat of the item. So I take that and slap an alchemy on it. Hope you get like extra life, extra resistances or something. But even the base item alone is really good. Cool. So we're going to save this in case we get another alchemy orb, and we'll slap an alch on that. All right, we have another passive point. So we're still going up here. We're grabbing again. We're going for this crit chance and stuff. Excuse me. We're going to go here. All right, damage should feel way better. Number 1, because we upgraded our weapon, but number 2, because we have a way better support gem on now. The Vicious Projectiles has a ton more damage. Can I not leap slam anymore? Is that what the problem here? Where's my leap slam? Oh, I put it over here, didn't I? What's that? Sniper? I need this. What am I doing? Put them right there. There we go. I was like, you could definitely leap slam with a sword. What's going on here? Dude, look at the leap slam on Duelist. Two-handed leap slam. This like spins in a circle. That's pretty cool, right? Bam! Bam! Duh. Duh. Look at that damage. So much better. This could be a really good chest piece. That's what I think, dude. All right, now we can probably go into the League Mechanic zone. So the League Mechanic, there's you get a second Ascendency class. We haven't even talked about Ascendency classes yet, but basically it's a more powerful class on top of your existing class. So I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna look for, well, that's pretty good too, actually. A little strongbox action. I'm gonna look for the yellow wisps and go to this vendor because if I find her, I get 30% Bolton Strike. Hold up. Huh? I get 30% movement speed if I don't have anything socketed into my boots, which is pretty dang good. Movement speed is ideal. Usually like that. See how right there, how these things, like the text is kind of popping out? Ooh, that saved me actually. A level up just saved my booty. So see right here how I dropped that? See how it's like an extra large border? That one has no border. It just looks like the same as it's like slightly bigger, maybe. No, it's like the same size. That's your loot filter telling you that, hey, you should probably pick up these items. And again, boots always give you movement speed, or have a chance to give you movement speed. That's why they're very important. Actually, my gloves are trash, so I might as well pick these up. Oh, I have no wisdom scrolls right now. Oops. We did not find the vendor. We go out. All right, so Chamber of Sins, this zone is really easy. Once you find the center zone, you just walk around a little more. So I came in here, I walked, I saw the center zone. This area is blocked right here. This area is also blocked right here. Wait, is that not... Did I run past it? Did I literally just run past the... Was this open? All right, this was open. I should have gone through here. Whoops. Wherever this waypoint is pointing in the direction where you're supposed to go. So this is a big circle, obviously. Big circle in the middle. That waypoint is on the southern end, so we just go this way. Follow this straight down, and it'll lead you straight to the next level. There you go. Bada bing, bada boom. Selling whetstones for wisdom scrolls? I do. Because you're not going to want a 20% quality of weapon early on. And once you are at the point where you want to do that, you'll have enough whetstones. So definitely vendor your whetstones, your transmute orbs, and your armor scraps early on. Like there's no reason to keep them. But we'll get them. Could get the boots. Actually, 15% is the highest amount of movement speed right now. Also, once you kill that guy, you click that little bench and you get the Baleful Gem right here. Baleful Gem. And then once you do that, you can just leave the zone. That's the only thing you need to do. So I kind of want... do I get Dread Banner yet? I guess Dread Banner's in Act 3. I'll take Blood Rage. Blood Rage gives me attack speed and a ticking time. Like my health will tick down a little bit. Dude, I have like no wisdom scrolls right now. No currency. I do have... Oh, I have 2. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. Hello. Hello. All right, so now we have how many wisdom scrolls? 13. We're just gonna ID everything. Do I need these gloves? Not really. I mean, I guess dexterity. All right, sure. Why not? Just vendor all of this stuff. Oh, that's a way better helmet. Beautiful. So I'm just vendoring again. This vast majority of this stuff is garbage. So these linked colors give me a chromatic orb. So 2 chromatic orbs and then just a bunch of rares. It's usually good to pick up rares just to ID them and then sell them. You have enough wisdom scrolls to do that. You get extra currency off of it. Just a good idea to do it. Slap this alchemy on this ring. Unfortunately, that's a garbage ring, but it probably is better than that one. Has no... Yeah, it actually is 100% better than that one. Cool. So it is an upgrade. It's a... See, that's the power of base types. This base type alone makes this ring better than my existing ring because it has double resistances. This one has life and strength. That ring that I just got rolled life and strength, but it also has 2 resistances on top of it. So that ring is a pretty big upgrade. So what we're going to do is 10% movement speed. I value extra movement speed. I could put that on, though. So if I put this helmet on, we lose sockets. So what we're going to do is we're going to slap a jeweler's orb on this pair of boots. It can literally only go up in sockets. Here we go. We got 3. Perfect. I would say 2 would have been okay as well. We got 3. GG. Put these in here and then slap on the helmet. Beautiful. Probably don't even need Pierce support, honestly. Just put it over here for now, too. Cool. So now we just upgraded our helmet finally. You can also pick up common items to vendor for scroll fragments, but I highly recommend you don't do that. It's just a waste of time. But time for that soon enough, eh? Hey, bro. Now we go over here, back to the gem vendor. Whenever you get a gem reward from a quest, you always should go back to the jewelry vendor in the town and check the gem tab, because it's going to sell you a bunch of other ones as well. You only get one choice as the quest reward, but everything that you see in that quest reward and even more will now be available at the vendor. So you definitely want to go back and check the vendor every time. Here, I'm going to take some permanent buffs. I already have my curse, so I don't need any of these curses here. So we could go for Defiance Banner, which gives me a little bit of armor and evasion rating. I don't really want that, though. I want offense. So even though I'm going to be scaling physical damage primarily, in fact, solely physical damage, right now, because we're in the early game, any extra damage I get is awesome. Doesn't matter what type it is. So this thing, Herald of Ash, says 50% of your fizz is gained as extra fire damage. So we're going to buy that. And then this one just gives me some flat cold damage to my attacks, 4 to 5. It's not that good. But this one says 9% more physical damage. So I'm going to buy that one as well. So we have 2 little, they're called Heralds. Can I drop something here? Do I not need something? We need some red sockets, boys. This chest piece is so bad. Actually, wait, I can buy. This is why you're vendoring your items, by the way. Here we go. So because we were vendoring all those items that we're picking up, all the yellow items, we have a bunch of alteration shards. We have 14 alteration orbs. This means we can go to her and we can say, hey, give me some jeweler's orbs. I'll buy 3 of them. So now this item has 1 socket, now has 3 sockets. So what we're going to do is we need to get red sockets. Unfortunately, all of this gear is not very likely to get red sockets. I think the gloves are the most likely, but it already has 2 red sockets, unfortunately for me. I just got to throw a chromatic on it. Hope it gets a red. All right, we got 1 red. We can use 1 of them. That's fine. I'm going to do Herald of Ash instead. Do I not need something? I don't need War Banner. I don't need it. Wait, I lost my blue socket. Uh-oh. Yeah, that's the danger, chat. Can you buy chromatics? You can definitely buy chromatics. I never do this, though. Yeah, it's not worth it. 3 jewelers for 1 chromatic. Not worth it. All right, well, I lost my Frostblink, which is kind of bad. So I'm just going to have to live with the decision that I made for right now. Don't follow in my footsteps. Don't lose your Frostblink, okay? Rookie mistake. All right, we're going to TP over to here. Put our Herald of Ash on. So you can see, even with 3 permanent buffs on, we've only reserved half our mana. Put Blood Rage here. Actually, no. I'll put Blood Rage here. I'll put the Curse on there. All right, so we need 1 blue socket somewhere. That is top priority right now. Our priority has shifted. 1 blue socket on a usable piece of gear. So you see our damage feels way better now, and we haven't even reached the first little damage nodes for the crit chance and stuff. That's just the power of the buffs, baby. And the new skill gems, or the support gems as well. Bam! That is an upgrade on the mana flask. Might as well. Never mind, it's an instant mana flask. I don't want that. Instant mana flasks are not ideal because you want the mana to slowly trickle up over time. You're just not going to be consuming too much mana. So if you have an instant recovery mana flask, you're actually losing out on potential abilities, I guess. Yeah, block trade chat in game. I didn't put that in my guide. I probably should have. So just hit your enter key to open up your chat window. Click that one, turn them off. Unless you're the type of person that really likes, like, you know, public discourse in games and seeing everyone meme about stuff. So this is a labyrinth trial. The majority of these trials, you just walk around and see these little lever icons. If it says switch, you don't need to hit it. If it says lever, you need to hit it. So just hit all the levers and then walk to the end and you'll find the Trial of Ascendency. And you click this bad boy. There you go. There are 6 trials. For the first, there are different labyrinths, but for the first labyrinth, there are 6 trials indicated here. So there was one back in the prison in Act 1. We'll go back and get that later, though. There's another in the Chamber of Sins, which we just did. Didn't get that either, so we'll go back for it. This is a waypoint. Doesn't matter. And then there's 3 more. Once you complete all 6, you get access to the labyrinth, which is around level... You'll probably be level, like, 38 as a new player, I would say. Wait, what? 5 chromatics? That dude just hooked me up. 5 chromatics. You ready for this, chat? You ready? Here's my blue socket. There it is. All right, I rather would have that over Herald of Ash. We're gonna get a red. Definitely on the boots. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. 2 red. Oh, 2 blue. Come on. Wait, that's where the blue's gonna be. I'm griefing. Okay. Good enough. I'm grieving. I should have put the blue on the boots, guys. These are energy shields. So these have Dex and Int as the 2 requirements of the item. I could just put the blue socket on there. No problem. I'm trolling. All right, take the portal out when you're done. So every time you complete a trial, you'll just get the little portal to go on the way out. So you don't have to walk all the way back through it. Just make sure you don't miss it. You might die to the traps and stuff. The best way to deal with the traps is actually to just run through them. Don't even think about it. Just go. If you think about it, you're probably going to make a mistake and die. All right, we're getting a crit chance. I probably want these nodes down here for the extra multiplier. So I'm going to go for that. So sometimes you have the option, once you go into passive points, you have a little wheel, right? And you can choose which wheel to go for. It's almost always pretty much a universal thing, but sometimes there's an exception. It is almost always not worth it to grab every single point in a cluster. So I definitely want this cluster. I want the notable here, lethality, increased crit chance, increased crit multiplier for a projectile attack skill. I'm using splitting steel, which is a projectile attack skill. Cool. So I want this. However, I don't want every single node here because, again, these little nodes are not worth the value of the passive point that you're spending on them because, again, the whole goal is to reach more of these notable skills, the ones with the gold borders. So almost always when you reach a circle like this, you choose one of the paths, you don't use the other one. So here I have the option to get more crit chance. So this starting node is 20%. This one is 25%. This one is only 10%, but it gives me 10% critical strike multiplier, which the crit multi is the damage of the crit. The crit strike chance is obviously the chance to deal the crit, and then the multiplier is what actually scales the damage. Crit multiplier is very valuable as a stat, even 10%. Honestly, like 10% for a single point is pretty freaking good. So 10% crit with 10% multi, pretty good. This one gives me more crit chance, and you have to spend an extra point too. Like if I went here, I would then get this notable on the next point, instead of if I go here, I then have to spend 1 more point, then I get to the notable. But it's actually kind of worth it, because again, that 10%, you're essentially spending the extra crit, the point for the crit multi, for the extra damage, which is worth it. So I'm sorry, that was a long-winded explanation, only to, again, remind you, once you reach a circle like that, do not choose multiple pathways, just choose one. There are like very few exceptions to that, I would say. Okay, so here we're just looking for actually we already found the second floor. Oops, I didn't even realize that. Also, I probably should not be leveling up Frostblink because I'm not going to get a ton of intelligence. Every time you level up a skill gem, it increases the stats on it in some way. It's not, it just depends on the skill that you're leveling up, what it increases, but it increases the stats in some way, but it also increases the stat requirements of the item. So for an intelligence skill gem on an attack character, which I am, I'm probably not going to get a lot of intelligence right away. If I level it up too much, I then can't use it. Wait, why am I doing this? You don't need to do this quest. I might as well do it because I'm here. You don't need to do this quest. What? I was thinking I was in whatever. You don't need to go here in the first time you encounter this area. You'll come back here later in the campaign. The first time you encounter it, you don't have to do it. Okay, we're still looking for a golden hand. I have not had this in my inventory. I swear I haven't had that in my inventory in like 6 years since I picked that thing up. All right, actually, that's kind of a good thing because I got a respec point. So I'm going to respec this life note here. Life is very important again, but because I got the notable here, I don't really want to spend the extra point to get that life there. It's just not worth it. So now I can put this over here for more crit chance of crit multi. Beautiful. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to this waypoint one final time, and we're going to keep dealing with the bandit lords. So remember, so far we started the zone by going to the left, went to the western forest, we killed Alira, and then we found the Weaver's Chambers on the other side of the road to get the big spiky thing here. You need this spike. Then we come back here, go to the right, and we did the Chamber of Sins that gave us our Herald of Ash, Herald of Purity, the other permanent buffs. So that's the Chamber of Sins. There's also a Ascendency trial in there. Might as well do that real quick, actually. Now that we're talking about Ascendency trials and stuff, might as well go back for this. All right, so anyway, Chamber of Sins. When you get here, you get to the big zone, wherever side the waypoint is on, so it's a circle, it has 4 entrances, right? That is the way you go. So the waypoint is clearly on the western side here, so we're just gonna go follow this path all the way down, and then what do you know? Oh, wow, the exit. Cool. So the Ascendency trial in this area, once you complete one Ascendency trial, it'll tell you if you have another one in that zone. This text will pop up. The Lord's Labyrinth solved the trial of Ascendency in this area. Obviously that's how you know if you have a trial in the area. All right, you have any yellow? Yellow? Boom. And these, the League mechanic actually gives you quite a bit of XP. At least I just got like 20% XP off of that. Ooh, Wood Splitter's huge. It's like one of the best axes in the game. The base attack speed and the base damage is so high. Boom, boom, boom. I'm actually gonna Blacksmith Whetstone it if I. Oh yeah. This is a good event, baby. The currency event. Give me all the currency. Give me it all.
Give me all the currency.
All right, we're basically done. We'll just end the zone. Oh, look at that. We're done. Free to play on the start. Yeah, okay. The best way to describe Path of Exile is it is a about $25 game with the most generous trial you have ever seen. That's the best way to describe this game. All right, so what we're gonna do here is Whetstone. Oh, look at that. 20% quality. That's what we like to see. And we're gonna slap this on. Oh, close. Close. Could have been the best item in the game, but it was not. All right, we got lethality as well. Beautiful. So now we're just going to look for the Trial of Ascendancy. It's kind of hard to find sometimes. Here we go. So this is what you're looking for. Once you find this little book icon, that's usually the trial. Some zones will have this means like a lore icon. You click this.
The path to justice is slender and perfidious.
So that's the lore icon. But if you see one of those in a zone that also is the Lord's Labyrinth, you know, that quest, remember, if you see that, that means there's a trial in this area. If you see that, that's usually where the trial is. Oh yeah, beginner's going to be omega over leveled. I was helping Tootie out, and I think he was like 15 over leveled at some point. He was like level 60 in a 48 zone or something. Like, oh. Woo! All right, so we got that. That's all we need to do. So let's log out. Don't waste the portal scroll. Go back. I really wish that axe rolled better. That would have been crazy. Would have been the best axe I've ever seen in my entire life. It's not a bad thing to be over leveled, right? It's just a matter of like efficiency, and who cares about efficiency when you're first playing the game? There's so much stuff to take in. Oh, did I find her? Let's go, dude. The Warden of Eves. Choose Wildwood Special. All right, so here is a kind of precursor to the Ascendancy classes. I guess this is technically an Ascendancy class, but not quite. Ooh, Poleaxe. That's actually a better one, isn't it? Ooh, 57 to 95. You shouldn't have. Also has... Yeah, that's actually pretty good. That's pretty dang good. It's a little slower, but who cares? The only issue is that it does not have my links. So I definitely need a fusing orb, which we'll get. All right, so here, I'm going to choose our wildest specialization. So this is the blue class, the Primalist, the Magi, the Warden, and the Warlock. I would go for the Magi. If you're an attack build, if you're using a spell, probably don't go for this one. But as a new player, an attack build, I would go for this one, 100%. We want a Tincture. Let's see what she has available. She has... Oof. Ooh! Onslaught on Kill would be massive. And oh no, it's the wrong one. No! Wait. All right, we need more yellow. Red alert. Need more yellow. God, 3 more, baby. 3 more. Yes. Yeah. Shall we get down, baby? Give me that tincture, boy. Yeah, boy. Give me that. Okay, so tinctures are specific to this league. I don't know if they'll be in other leagues. Again, if you're watching this video in the future, tinctures are cool because they give you a permanent buff on your weapon. It's kind of like a flask, but it's permanent and it only applies to your weapon. So I'm gonna drop the life flask because who cares about a life flask? Am I right, boys? I'm going to toggle that on, and then that's why if you're watching at the beginning of the stream, this was like Control 2 instead of 2. So I'm gonna put this on Control 2. So now I don't accidentally toggle my tincture off. There's no reason for it to be off ever. So Onslaught, why I wanted this tincture, I need to explain that. Sorry, guys. See if this rolls a little better. Hey, it did. Cool. So this tincture gives Onslaught on Kill. Chance to get Onslaught for 10 seconds on killing blow. Onslaught is a buff that gives you 20% attack speed, movement speed, and cast speed. Cast speed is irrelevant for me because that's only for spells, but the attack and movement speed, 20% is massive. Also for bandits, don't even think about it. Just kill them. Kill all of the bandits. Like maybe you want to... No, just kill them all. If your build tells you about bandits, it'll make it very obvious. Otherwise, just kill all the bandits. Don't help them, kill them. I forgot to explain that. I apologize. So I'm going to log out again because that was the last thing in that zone. Is that axe an upgrade? Obviously, it's way more damage. Physical damage. Yeah, that's definitely an upgrade. 100%. But we need to fuse orbit. So I probably don't have any fusings. I do not. But I do have what's called jeweler orbs. I have 4 jeweler orbs. So we have 1 chance. You never know unless you try. It's that simple. Really is that simple. All right, so now our axe is it's like a slight upgrade because this one has a lot of elemental damage on it. I'm not scaling elemental damage. The higher base physical damage is so good. All right, so we've done everything in this zone. You don't have to go to the den. Sorry, I didn't explain this. I should have explained this. Sorry, guys, I forgot. You don't actually have to go here. There's a zone in here called the den, and you can see it on the map. So it says a little circle with question mark. That's an optional quest. It just gives you like a rare belt, I think. Not worth it. Just don't do it. So we're gonna go back to the Riverway checkpoint, and if you ever get lost where to go, it'll tell you in your... No, it's right here on your map. Just like click these quests. So see right here how to like highlight the correct way you're supposed to go. So deal with the bandits is telling me to go over here. Once you get in the waypoint, just look immediately. Remember how we use the broken path at Alira? You see right here? It's kind of hard to see. Right here. So you see where my X is on my character on the map? See it has a broken path right there? So you're just going to follow the broken path. And then the exit's going to be right here. And you're good.
You're getting U plastic in your body. It's better to use a glass bottle.
We might as well keep doing the league mechanic. I usually don't like doing this until we get to the maps, but I might as well keep doing it. It'll be omega over leveled. As a new player, you're gonna be doing this anyway, right? So we're just gonna keep going in here. We're looking for yellow treants and stuff. Dude, can you click the I'm just trying to click the trophy, man. Remember, we still need an extra red socket too. So those gloves are not gonna work. We need a 4 link, obviously, is what we're ideally looking for here. A quad link. Boom. Oh, level up. Let's go. You're late, but you're here. All right, here's Owake. That is how you pronounce his name. It is not oak. Common misconception. Boom. Superior calling wand. The best item in the game. I'm not going to pick it up. Might as well pick it up. We're going to go over here because we're looking for the place to use the big spike. I want to put my big spike in a hole over here and open a door. There it is. Remember, exclamation point is a quest icon, so that means that's where you should be going. I like to grab this waypoint just for posterity, but you don't need it. All right, we can also take a mastery here. Here's our first option for a mastery. So see here, the passive wheels will have a centerpiece, and these are the masteries. So whatever theme the wheel is, so this is leech. So here's life leech, here's mana leech. This is a leech wheel. The leech mastery is shared across all leech passive nodes on the tree. So if I type in leech here, we have another one right here. So here's another leech mastery. We have another leech node here. Here's another leech mastery. So we're here at the projectile one. So we have the option. Once you take a notable passive skill in any cluster, that gives you access to the masteries. So I could get some extra damage here, like 1% increased projectile damage for 16 dex. That would give me like 7% damage. Nice. Probably not worth the passive point. Knockback enemies you get a crit. That may sound good because I am scaling crit, but knockback is irrelevant, so that's not worth it. The only thing that I would take here is projectile speed, which I'm debating. I guess we can do speed. That's not terrible. Projectile speed will just make the projectiles, fly out faster, hit their target faster. I guess the speed's pretty good. We'll do that. They'll just help me with my clear a little bit. So here, this is like one of the worst zones in the game. The pyramid zones in Act 2 are so confusing as new players, especially. This is definitely a dead end. Most times, if you're going back the way towards the entrance, it's not going to be the right way. There are a few zones where that's not the case, but for the vast majority, if you're making way back towards the entrance, you're probably going the wrong way. So just save yourself the time and just go back. Actually, this was one of those times. It's literally the right way. Someone asked like a couple hours ago now if zones are procedurally generated. They are, but they have like an algorithm to them. But one of the things like for this zone, like you usually don't have to do something like this. We have to like go on that platform and walk like that and blah, blah, blah. Usually that's not necessary, but I guess this time it was. Orb of fusing. GG. Best item in the game. All right, so we're level capped on our gems here because we're killing too many things. Actually, I need to not level up Frostblink. Holy crap, I need to remember that. Maybe up here. I'm just trying to kill the packs of monsters, mainly the blue guys. The blue guys give you a lot more XP than the regular guys. So remember, you're not going to waste your time on like one singular enemy. All right, Frostblink, Frostblink. There it is. All right, next time we level up Frostblink, or have the chance to level up Frostblink, I'm going to do something crazy. Probably need more health too, honestly. So now we're going to go grab these health nodes. Perfect. We're only at 500 health. Usually in Act 2, you should have around like 700, 800 health. That feels pretty good. 1,000 if you're a marauder, honestly. 1,000 health feels nice. We're going to kill this guy. So that was an essence monster. He was imprisoned in the essence there. So we're going to kill this guy, and he's going to give us a currency item called an essence. And what that's going to do, it's essentially an alchemy orb, but it gives you specific stats. So see right here, it says it upgrades a normal into a rare. That's exactly what the alchemy orb does. I think I have one. No, I don't. Based on the type of the weapon, it gives you a guaranteed stat. So this is a spellcaster essence, so it's pretty useless for me. But it's still kind of worth doing. It's always worth doing essences when you see them, and you'll see them on the minimap by like the quad blue icon. Looks like a mountain almost, like a fragmented mountain. It's worth doing essences because it's essentially a free alchemy orb. They're very valuable. All right, this zone, you don't have to do anything but just follow the coastline. Follow the coastline. It'll take you where you need to go, into the pyramid, the Great Pyramid of Giza. All right, so we're just making our way through here, the caverns. Remember, we hugged the coastline in the previous zone to get to here, and then you're just walking through the caverns here. It's pretty simple. It's only one way. Boom. Movement speed, rank 1. GG. Oh, we need to go back to town. So once you kill the 3, sorry, I have played this game for so long that I just keep going until I have to go back to town. All right, so talk to Aramir once you did all the bandit crap. He'll give you the thingamabobber to let you go in the pyramid. Here's a very, 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 very important tip. Beginners, please pay attention. Are you on the second monitor right now? You on your second monitor? Stop farting. So crafting bench is going to be in your hideout. You make your hideout by talking to Helena. Helena, you get an Act 2. Once you get Helena, you're going to talk to her. She's going to go tell you to clear a hideout. In fact, I might even get that quest right now. Yeah. Oh, no. Well, I already did it. So she's going to give you a quest to go to, I think it's Dread Thicket, actually. Go to the Dread Thicket to get your first hideout. Once you do that, you select your hideout, make a hideout, and then it'll TP you in there automatically. If you don't get there automatically, you can either type /hideout. /hideout will get you there when you're in town, or you can just click the waypoint and click the little blue icon. I use this button all the time. You can also make a macro for it. They'll automatically type like /hideout. That's too much. So that icon will take you to your hideout as well. So crafting bench, you're going to use all the time. You're going to craft basically just resistances. Okay? Say it with me now. Resistances. That's what you're crafting. Resistances. You have a question about what you're crafting? Resistances. That's the answer. Resistances. Resistances. And life. Life and resistances. That's it. So I'm putting life on there. What can we put on this? We can put a resistance on it. Wow, that's kind of cool. Hey, we put a resistance on our weapon. We can just put lightning res on it. Also, what's the craft? How much is it? 1 transmutation. Sure. Lightning res on our freaking thingamabobber. Why not? Mana? No thanks. You're not going to have a lot of options to craft stuff right away. And you don't need to craft. Like, don't get me wrong. You don't need to do all this. Much better off just saving your currency sometimes. Not wasting it on the item craft. But you see, with that alone, now I am almost capped resistances. And I have like 50 extra life just from doing that. So definitely use the crafting bench. Resistances, 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 and more resistances. And then occasionally life. And then your weapon, if it has an open prefix, you probably want to craft a damage stat on it. So you're not going to use a weapon if it doesn't have some damage already on it. And then if it has an open prefix, you can slap it into your crafting bench and see if you can craft another damage value on it. Attack speed is not going to be worth crafting, although attack speed is very important. You're not going to get high craft values until later on. So it's usually never worth it to craft attack speed. It's usually just damage on your weapon. Other than that, it's life and resistances. Pretty simple. Speaking of life, we just got extra life right there. Cool. All right, so here you're in the actual pyramid now. This one's actually not that bad because it's obviously a pyramid. It gets smaller as you go up. So it'll be really big bottom floors, then it'll get smaller and smaller, and then when you're at the top, you fight the boss. We're almost done with Act 2, boys. The final thing you do in Act 2 is kill this guy that we're about to go kill. And where the opponent? No, yeah. Don't worry about capping your resistances until you're like, honestly, in like Act 7. Maybe like Act 5. If you don't have capped resistances and you're in Act 5, you should probably get capped res, especially by the end of Act 5. Then you're going to be hurting even more. Definitely value resistances on your gear more than anything. Except for boots. Boots, you want movement speed more than anything. Obviously, your weapon wants damage. Don't worry about resistances on your weapon. But other than that, you want resistances over like everything on your gear, honestly. Yeah, movement speed is very, 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 very important. It makes the overall feeling of the game just so much better. And that's why I got this tincture, by the way. Again, the 7% chance to gain Onslaught on kill. Onslaught, again, gives you 20% movement speed on top of 20% attack speed. So that's why I wanted that tincture so much. All right, here's the altar. Bada bing, bada boom. So this is the first, it's not the first example. I haven't talked about it. So just make sure you grab all these crafting recipes that you see. They'll be in random locations. They're not random, but whoa. LE damage, spell damage, +1 fire. GG. GG. Best fire scepter in the entire game right there. That's kind of crazy. These are both being vendored. Putting them in the vendor. How does res work? If 25 res on 3 items, can you get a cap? Does it work differently? No, that'll cap it. Yep. It says, what was that? What? Oh, I stunned him. Oh, my tincture stunned. I was like, I have never seen him spawn one dude and leave. He's supposed to do that. He's supposed to spawn a whole arc of them. Bro, my tincture's damaging hits always stun enemies at full life. That's what happened. I stunned him out of his animation. That's hilarious. Baby is doing great. Cone helmet, corroded. Wow, that's like literally the starting sword. So here's the thing about Path of Exile. Is that the item level, so if I hold alt over this item here, so this is item level 25, which means when I identify this is going to have pretty high rolls, right? 21 dex, for example. Like I'm not going to, even though this item, the base type is corroded blade, I literally had a corroded blade in Act 1, like the first zone. So the base type is super low. So the base physical damage, remember we talked about this on weapons, this number right here, that is the base value, and then that's scaled by the stats on the item itself. I already explained all this in depth and previously on the thing, so if you're watching the video, you can go back and rewind. So this is actually kind of bad because it's a rare item. It's a two-handed sword. It's a rare item. It's like, oh, that might be an upgrade for your character. No, it's not, because it's basically a level 1 item. Zone 1. That makes sense? So it's not going to be an upgrade for my character. That's what I'm trying to say. Higher zones open up higher tier weapons, also up better and higher roll stats. Yep. And that's why this game is so addictive, is because you can literally get like the best item in the game at any time. It's crazy. It's so much fun, man. Like, just because you're not getting like the highest tier, the highest base type item, it can still roll with insane stats, and then you're gonna use it, right? All right, so here we got our life notes here, and the life mastery is actually really good. At the very least, for every character in the game that is using life as their primary health resource, for the vast majority of builds, it will be life, especially as a new player. If you're following a build guide that is not using life, you should probably choose a different one. It gets more complicated for no reason. So choose life as your main health pool. You are going to take this mastery on every single life character, 50 to maximum life. That's adding to your base life pool. So that 50 life is then being scaled by all of the percentage life on the tree. 23 plus 15 is 38%. So that 50 flat life is being scaled by an additional 30%. So very, 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 very powerful. This game is so well thought out. Oh yeah, dude, this game has ruined every other action RPG format. Also, here's where you enter the labyrinth. We're not going to get there just yet, but this is where you do it. Just for reference, you click this. We'll get that in a second though. All right, Act 3, we have arrived. Where's our turtle attributes on my gear? Do not try and roll attributes. I would just wait for something to drop. It's the same thing. So go to the jewelry vendor and then you pick one of these rings or amulets. That's actually the best way to do is amulets. The base type of the amulet. Actually right here, perfect example. Onyx amulet. This is max roll as well, 16. Remember, hold the alt key and you'll see the roll range on the item. So Onyx amulet gives you all attributes and it rolled the max value. So you would buy something like this and then slap an alchemy orb on it or an essence. That's where your essences come in. So even though these guarantee a specific roll, so you see right here, amulet says 5 to 7% increased max energy shield. So this essence guarantees the energy shield. So it's not a pure alchemy orb. However, it still upgrades the item as if an alchemy was applied. So you essentially lose one stat. So it's going to guarantee 5 to 7 increased max energy shield, which is a prefix modifier. But that's good actually because I want suffixes. Suffixes are stats and resistances. So I'm going to slap that on. Boom. Look at that. 22% lightning res and a little bit of damage. What's my current on? Actually probably better than that. Do I need the int? Oh, I knew it. I've over leveled Frostblink, man. How much int do I have if I put this on? I have 50 int. That should work actually. Here's a vendor recipe for you guys. If you have a skill gem, you won't need to do this until you're way later in the game. Yes, perfect. That's exactly 52. If you put a skill gem in with one orb of scouring, it will de-level that skill gem by 1. If you put an orb of regret in instead of scouring, it'll de-level it all the way back to level 1. It'll reset the gem. I never recommend doing that because you can just buy all the gems from another vendor. We'll meet them very soon. But this is very useful because if you're swapping around your gear, if you find a better piece of gear, but you lose stats on a gear that you swapped out and you can't use some of your skills, this will solve your problem. You probably won't run into this issue for a little while. This is a band-aid to try and fix the problem. I'll show you how to actually fix it in a second. But that's just a useful vendor recipe to know. So I'm going to de-level that. All of a sudden, if we put on now we have the amulet on and we can use our stuff. Perfect. Also, this one gave me a whole orb of augmentation. If you vendor a rare item with 6 full modifiers, remember rare items can roll up to 6 items. This is a rare item, has 3 prefixes and 1 suffix, which means this can have 2 more suffixes. Then it'll be a full item. So if this item was full and I vendored it, it would give me an augmentation orb instead of the alteration shards. So this right here, this is also a full, this is actually not full. So I vendored this guy. This will give me like 12 alteration shards, 15 alteration shards. If it had another modifier, it'd give me an augment orb. Just keep that in mind. I'm going to put another resist on this, cold resistance, and then we'll be capped on cold resistance. Right? Yep, we are capped on cold, perfectly capped too. Now we just need a little bit of fire res and we're chilling. What's going on, eh? What's going on, bruv? Eh? Oh, we got our 4 links. All right, so here's a great example. 4-link sword, baby. It has the colors I need to. We're taking that. So check your vendors for 4 links. Once you get into Act 3, that's when you're probably going to find them. Boom. I'm going to slap that on there too. All right, here we go. You guys ready for this? I'm going to upgrade this into the best sword you've ever seen in your entire life. Orb of Alchemy. Are you ready? Let's see if we can get the best item in the game. Ooh. Ooh, it has open. No, it's full, dude. The freaking LE damage with attacks. So the funny thing is that this might actually still be an upgrade. It rolled very bad flat physical damage. You'll see it's 7 to 14. That's so bad. If it had an open prefix, this would actually be insane. But this still might be an upgrade just because of the fire damage because I am using Herald of Ash as well. Yeah, actually, this is an upgrade. This is definitely an upgrade. And it's a 4-link. And yeah, 100% this is an upgrade. What am I saying? You use alchemy orbs on your weapons when you get them. My Arc Witch is level 40. I've been using the same wands forever. So spellcasters have it easy. Spellcasters don't necessarily need better weapons because the base stats of the weapon are so good and you just need like 1 or 2 extra stats on it for it to be actually usable for your character. So spellcasters, no, you actually can get away with the same weapons for a very long time. Gem levels are the most important thing for a spellcaster. +2 gem levels. You can have +2 specific spell gems. You can have +2 all spell gems of like fire or cold or lightning. And then you can have like +1 global skill gems. All of that can roll on your wand and your shield and stuff. Your spellcaster stuff. And that's all you really need for damage. Whereas attack builds need specifically the weapon stats to go higher. All right, I think we're good to move on. Remember, we just upgraded this sword by looking at our vendor in town. If you're playing an attack build, I highly recommend this. So whatever build you're running, whatever weapon type, base type. So two-hand, I could use either an axe or a sword right now because again, I haven't taken anything specific to a weapon type just yet on my passive tree. I'm about to go over here and get sword stuff because now I'm going to use a sword for the rest of the playthrough probably. But I've only grabbed like generic damage, like projectile damage. I'm using a projectile skill. This is projectile projectile crit chance, projectile crit stuff, not weapon specific. But I'm going to go over here next and grab a Fatal Blade, which gives me a bunch of crit chance right here. Crit chance, crit multiplier, crit chance, crit multiplier, crit chance, crit multiplier, but with swords specifically. So I'm going to start getting into the very specific stuff, which now I need to use swords only. So go into the act vendor if you're struggling on damage. Look for the base type that you're using. So if it's just two-handed weapon, you can get literally anything. Make sure you can use it with your skill gem. So here it says the end of the green text. So look at the green text. The final line says requires a sword or axe. So I can use either a sword or axe with this gem. Make sure you're not buying something you can't use. And then you just look for like the most links, the most sockets on something. Bada bing, bada boom. All right. Let's continue. We're going to keep skipping the thingamabob right here. All right, so the super grading, keep note of where this is because we're going to need that very soon. Super grading. It's usually right next to the entrance, so it's really easy to find. This zone, we're just running through until we get to a bunch of platforms, basically. A bunch of, like, broken staircases. You plan on grading the affliction points for increased movement speed, res? No. That's too much for new players. Like, having to juggle socket priority and links and stuff while not putting stuff in the boots, that's just way too much for a new player to handle. Yes, I do that on every other character I level up. Yes, but definitely not for new players. All right, we need one more level, I think. Nah, yes, one more level. One more level, and we can use the new sword, which should be quite a bit of damage increase here. Always be on the lookout as a new player for 4-socket, 4-link item. That's very important. So these, I don't need these colors, but actually I do want that because I can just alch a better chest piece. I do want that. Also, here's my trial of Ascendancy. You saw that little skull emoji over there? The skull emoji. Here's where we're going. What about slow loading times and going in towns? Buy a better computer. Sorry, but that's like the only solution. I was being facetious, but not really. All right, new sword, go on. We already have the right stuff in there, so we can just boom, boom, boom. We can also socket in Pure Support, which I put right there. Beautiful. Always worth making sure your auras are still on once you swap your weapon, because again, if you have any aura gems in your offhand, your main hand or your offhand, and you swap your weapon for any reason, you might have disabled your auras, and then you're doing way less damage. You're like, what's going on? And you're like, oh, I swapped my weapon. Whoops. All right, it's marker. So my general loop right now for attacking stuff is I'm using Sniper's Mark on the enemy, which is the big green arrow above her head. And then I'm placing my totem down like that. So my totem's here, gives me more attack speed, and then I'm just holding the right click button.
Enough of this.
Really is that simple. That's a pretty good helmet too. I don't need the resistances because again, I kind of fixed them elsewhere. All right, so we're logging out here because once we get that gem, that's the only thing in that zone. Aside from the Labyrinth trial, which we already did that as well. All right, so here, let's see what happens with 2 alchemy orbs. Boom, boom. Good, that chest piece is actually pretty good. Nice, 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 nice. And now we can put on a red on this guy, or 4 reds. That's fine too. We can do War Banner. Did I get Dread Banner? I think I get Dread Banner like right now, actually. I think I literally get it right now. There it is, Dread Banner, poggers. So I have Dread Banner here, which says 20% chance to impale enemies with attacks, and Splitting Steel says 40% chance to impale enemies with attacks. Essentially, an impale is if you land the chance to hit an impale, it stores 20% of the hit damage that procs the impale, 20% of that, and then when you hit the enemy again, it deals that damage back to them. So an impale is essentially 20% more damage, but you can get increased impale effect, where it gets to the point where it's like quite literally doubling your damage. Pretty crazy. All right, cool. So those alchemy orbs worked out pretty well. It should be pretty high in resist still. Yeah, we're still capped on resistances. Perfect. Don't need to worry about it. We lost a little bit of health, not a big deal. All right, so we're selling. Usually when you upgrade a piece of gear, it's nice to sometimes keep it in your inventory just in case. I'm also gonna delete this, don't need that anymore. When you swap a piece of gear out because you think it might be an upgrade, it's a wise idea to keep that gear in your inventory or in your stash just for a couple more levels, because you might find out that maybe it cucked your mana regen, so you don't have enough mana to attack stuff. Maybe put the other item on just so you figure out a way to solve your mana issues. Maybe it'll drop your health too low, so you're just taking too much damage. Maybe it kills your resists and you didn't realize it. Maybe you lose stat requirements for your gems. Whatever it is, it's usually a wise idea to save your gear that you just upgraded in your stash somewhere. Okay, so we're gonna buy Pride and we're going to buy Determination. These are big boy auras. I'm actually gonna buy Grace as well because I might be using that at some point. The rest of these we don't need. Okay, so these are big boy auras. These are 50% reservation auras, which you might be thinking, oh, you can only run one of these, right? Because if you run both of them, you reserve all your mana, then you can't use anything. Not really. There's a stat on the tree, which is incredibly valuable for every single build, called Reservation Efficiency. You can see right here, this node right here says 8% increased reservation efficiency, and this is also a little node with 8% reservation efficiency. There's another cluster up here. These are mana reservation specifically, but reservation efficiency versus mana reservation efficiency. Sometimes you use your life pool to reserve stuff, which is really cool. This game, you can do so many things in this game. You can literally use your life, just reduce a portion of it and get a permanent buff because of it. It's really cool. So you have some clusters for that. And what that does, I won't talk about the math at all, but essentially just reduces that 50% value, right? So as soon as I start getting some reservation efficiency on my tree, which I will very soon, I will be able to use these auras. So for right now, I'm just going to put them in my gear so I can level them up and they can get experience so they grow in power. So I'm not using like level 1 stuff, obviously, but I don't need to worry about that right now. So now we're going to go back. Remember I said keep an eye on the sewer manhole. We're going to go back just to the entrance. You don't need to waypoint anyone. Go back to the entrance here. So let's do Pride, Herald of Ash, and Precision. 14 mana. That's a problem. Let's actually drop Precision. Oh, Dread Banner. Duh. There we go. Now we're chilling. Bing, chilling. I have a little bit of mana leech, so I should be fine on the recovery here. I'm using a Herald of Ash still because it just gives me a lot more damage for 15% mana reservation or something. It's actually like 20%, 25. It's definitely worth it though. So if you hear your guy say something like that, like, I'm out of mana, my spirit is spent, blah, blah, blah. Fractured? Are you kidding me? What do we get? Lightning damage, life, damage with bows. Cool. So this is a special kind of item called a fractured item. That's actually hilarious. I got one in Act 3. Huh? Fractured items have a guaranteed stat at all times. It's kind of like using an essence, but it's permanent. It always has it. And you can actually use essences on fractured items to guarantee 2 stats, which is really cool. So the only thing that would kind of be useful is right here, the gloves that have 29 life, but we're so early in the game that I'm not going to craft gloves. Yo, I just realized my gloves literally have no stats on them. Maybe we should get better gloves. In fact, I can move this over here so that we only have 2 slots. We have 1 slot. We only have 1 slot we need to worry about. 1 single red. If I get gloves with a single red slot, I can upgrade my gloves. So I might have more damage on paper with this Herald active. However, because my mana is now so low overall, I might be running out of mana when I'm fighting stuff. Once you run out of mana with an attack, you'll just use your default attack, which is like 0 damage. Essentially, you're doing 0 damage. So just because you have theoretically more damage doesn't mean you're in actuality getting all of that damage. We should be looking for the last little bust here. So that's the wrong, well, that is the right way, but oh, perfect. We're going to right click that one anyway. So what I did there is I right clicked the Frostblink icons because I don't have the stat requirements to level it up again, and otherwise it would just stay on this menu the whole time. So if you right click the level up icon, the little plus icon, it'll just put it down here in your character menu instead. So I haven't been explaining the zones right now, the pathing of the zones, because that's just something you learn with time and experience. There is a zone that we have to go here called the Mausoleum, which we just ran past. We will go back for that because that's where one of the... Actually, I just realized this zone opens up the other way. The Mausoleum is pointed this way, so the exit's over here somewhere. That's crazy. I've not had a backward zone in a long time for here. Let's just do this right now. Why not? The Catacombs, sorry. It goes into the Mausoleum. So Catacombs has another Trial of Ascendancy here. So we're just going to scout this out real quick. Just go through here. There's the icon. Remember when I said the lore icon that usually is a trial? Oh, so here's actually an example of it not being one. That's just a regular lore icon. We got baited. Omega lol. What is an evasive monster? Yes, monsters can have different amounts of evasion. Yep, exactly. So blue monsters have 2 affixes on them, and rare monsters have up to 6. It's just like your items. So monsters can roll with stats just like your items can. So sometimes monsters can get extra evasion as a stat, extra life, extra damage, extra speed. Here's another essence monster. This is what we're looking for. Just gonna pop that. So this guy's physical resistance, so I'm dealing less damage to him. Also, he is draining my mana like crazy. Holy moly. Not a big deal. Yo, Stone Hammer. Elegant Sword's actually pretty good. Not that one. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of downtime. I don't think we should do just the entire VOD with timestamps, boys. So once we get that trial, we're good. We can just log out, save a wisdom, or save a portal scroll. Again, every time I log out, you can use a portal scroll if you want. I just like doing it because it's way faster. Obviously, if you're a new player, you have no idea when to do that because you don't know, oh, am I going to miss something? Is there something important in the zone? All right, we're getting more sword crit chance here. Sword crit stuff. Looks good to me. We're going to go back to the marketplace waypoint, and instead of going in there, we're going to continue traveling over here, which should be the correct way to go. It's actually really weird. It should be right here, actually, along this wall somewhere. Over the top and chaotic this game is, developers can fix bugs. I mean, how do you know something's buggy? No, dude, the devs of this game actually know what they're doing. They've made some mistakes in the past, especially with the monetization and stuff, like more morality-related things, ethicality. They've made some dumb choices, for sure. But for the most part, for developing the game, they've done a very good job. They have some really talented devs over there. So as soon as you go into the zone, always hug the left side, 100%. So always, when you go in, hug the left side. You'll find this waypoint. As soon as you find it, just immediately book it to the left. You'll find the ribbon spool right here. It's a quest item. Open that up, drop the ribbon spool. Then you're going to keep going, follow that staircase down. You're going to go to the docks immediately. This will give you the 2 quest items for this act without you having to backtrack for them at all. So you're going to go over here. Hello, Leaf Slam. Thank you. Go, go, go. Just, oh, as a rogue exile. Let's go. Yummy, yummy, yummy. I don't need those. Take that and that. Actually, I don't need that. All right, so here we're just looking for an exclamation point to pop up. This is not the right question mark or exclamation point. We're looking for not Fairgraves. You don't need to talk to Fairgraves at all. What that node does. All right, so get the thematic soul fight. That's what we're looking for. We can take both of these, actually. Oh, we need gloves, dude. I literally have garbage tier gloves on with no stats. Actually, 0 stats. All right, we're going to log out again because we got both the quest items. We go back to town. Talk to this brother man. ID that. Those are both chromatic. Boom, boom. Okay, it's all trash. These are all chromatic. Oh, my gosh. That ring is crazy. Holy moly. This gives me crit chance, although I need the inch for my amulet, so I can't use that amulet. It's a pretty decent amulet. This ring, though, that ring is good. And it has an open suffix as well for even more resists. Are you kidding me? That ring is insane. Life, all res, double res implicit, max roll, by the way, and fizz damage. And chaos chaos res. I mean, why not? Put some chaos res on there, bro. So just take that off. If you're ever worried about what a upgrade is going to do to your character, just take off the current ring that you have, or the current whatever gear spot it is, and then just, you know, put on a new one. So we clearly need to craft a fire res on that one. GG. That's a huge ring, actually. Wow. Definitely better than this one. This ring's actually pretty good still. It has, you know, 1 crafted res, 2 implicit res, a little bit of life, a little bit of strength, which strength is extra life. This ring has way more resistances, way more life. So we're just going to use that one. I think this one is better than the one I just took off. Yeah, the regen, the all res. Yeah, that one's better for sure. Just tedium. Boom. So what are resistances now? We're basically capped. Okay, so level 2, we're just looking for the end of this zone. This one, these temples are pretty easy. There's not really any dead ends. That's a total lie. There are definitely dead ends. They're not, you'll be fine. Don't worry about it. You'll be fine. Okay, dead ends, yeah. This is why you take movement skills, by the way. So you can just jump over gaps like that. You don't have to actually traverse them. So notice that I'm using Leap Slam and then I'm immediately Frost Blinking. So that will essentially cut out on the downtime of the Leap Slam. It'll just instantly blink me when I'm at my apex of my jump. Just boom, they'll go like that. Get some extra distance and play a little faster. All right, we'll take the intelligence amulet for sure. Actually, why do I need that? I just need the level 1 Frostblink. I actually don't need intelligence as a stat. All right, so once you get those things, you already had the items that she needed, so she instantly just gives you the end of the quest. So remember, that's the ribbon spool and the thermatic sulfite, so the docks. So once you get the battlefront and go to docks, immediately get thermatic sulfite. Then she'll just give you the item straight up. So now you TP to the sewers, go down here. We're gonna burn the big vagina. That's what it is. I'm just calling it how it is. Look, what else is that? What else is that, huh? That's all I'm saying. There you go. That's all I'm saying. I'm keeping it PG. I'm just calling it how it is, okay? Simple as that. Giant anus. I mean, yeah, that's pretty accurate too. Hey, it feels good to be capped fire res, huh? This guy would be messing me up if I didn't have it. This guy's really tanky. His energy shield is like 50% of his health. So once you take down his energy shield, you'll see he dies way faster. Normally when monsters have energy shield, they have like barely any of it. This guy has a ton. So you're like, I'm not doing any damage. Why? I haven't taken down his shield yet. And then once you take down his shield, you're like, oh, never seen one, so I wouldn't know. Ooh, got him. All right, we're just going through this temple. Ignore most of the, I mean, I can kill these, I guess. Again, it's not a bad idea to kill monsters. Yo, all helmets, hold up. I need gloves, man. I wish those were gloves. Does lore exist? Oh yeah, this game has a ton of lore. Yeah, you'll find these little lore book icons on your map. You just click them and it'll narrate to you. It'll just start yapping to you. Yep. Oh! Chaos Orb! Yeah, definitely save all of your Chaos Orbs if you get them while you're leveling. Not an if. Don't kill this guy. He's not worth your time. That's Brutus number 2. Cole. His name is Cole with a K. This is cool. All right, all in favor of me putting on Calamity mod music right now. There you go. I'm the vibe, boys. Oh, yes. All right, we are 1 note away from Fatal Blade. Let's keep going. Lunaris Temple level 2. Make sure you grab that waypoint before we go down here. All right, so here, this zone is basically a big square, but you're looking for ramps that take you up to the next big square. Right here. There you go. So once you see this ramp, this is always the right way to go. So you're looking, starting, obviously, so don't use those ramps, but you're just looking in a big circle. Once you find the ramp, go up that ramp. Then you just keep finding the ramps. Sometimes they're straight. That's a dead end right there. That chromatic orb, thank you. A Tale of Ancients. Another ramp right there. Here's the right way. So, all right, Fatal Blade has been acquired. 50 crit chance, 20 crit multiplier. Beautiful. And jump over there. All right, so normally you have to walk through like a big door. I chose the wrong path, but the zone was actually close enough that I could just leap slam over, so I'm just gonna leap slam over. Normally I have to walk through like a big old door to get in the zone though. All right, here's the big door. That's actually the exit though. Cool, we're already done. Let's go. Yeah, Lunaris Temple does have the titty bitches. That is their proper name, chat. Again, this is keeping it PG. I'm just calling it how it is. Look, titty bitches. See? Titty bitches. See? I'm just saying. What is this guy doing? What is he doing? All right, you know what? We're just gonna... Yeah, you don't want to reserve this much of your mana if you're a new player, for sure. The Omega-ish of Omega Vibe. We don't need any of those gems. Wait, what did you have?
What do you want?
Oh, nothing. Oh, wait. These are pretty bad gloves, but it's literally just better than my gloves. My gloves have no stats on them whatsoever. All right, make sure you talk to Grigor over here. Grigor gives you a passive skill point once you kill Piety. I can't believe I'm using a white pair of gloves. I kind of can believe it, honestly. Here's our first damage mastery point. We actually have a lot of options. Sword masteries are insane. They are so good, dude. The melee strike range is good for melee strike builds when I'm doing melee strike build. 20% chance to impale is what I'm going to take, and that's good for every fizz build. Frenzy charge when you hit a rare unique enemy. Frenzy charges, there are 3 types of charges in this game. Power, endurance, and frenzy. Here we go. 4% increased attack speed, 4% increased cast speed, 4% more damage. Oh, it's not movement speed at all. My apologies. I thought I got movement speed. My bad. So more damage is a multiplier. Every character has 3 charges automatically. That's your maximum automatically. you have to still generate those charges. You don't have them there on your character. You have to generate them. But you have a maximum of 3 by default. So if you can generate frenzy charges, which that mastery enables us to, 4% more damage is 12% multiplier when you have all 3 of them, and then 12% attack speed. For 1 passive point, that's insane. That's insane value. But I'm pretty sure the Impale is probably better for me right now because I'm generating frenzy charges when I'm clearing regular stuff from this skill right here called Blood Rage, which I actually didn't explain. My bad. This gives me a temporary buffs. It's about 8 seconds there. Gives me a little bit of attack speed, a little bit of life leech, but I take some of my life over time as physical damage. Not a big deal. The leech that the skill gives you offsets the degen of your max life per second. But if you have some regen as well, that'll also offset it. 4% is not a big value. Not a big deal. But it also gives me a chance to get a frenzy charge when I kill an enemy. Anyway, I'm trying to say that I already have frenzy charges. Then you also have 120% increased crit chance, but minus 20 crit multiplier. That's also absolutely huge, which honestly, I think I'm taking that actually. I'm taking that one. That's massive. So 120% increased crit. Here is an important point. So critical strike chance in this game does not work like other games. You would think, oh, 120% increased crit chance. That means you have your 100% crit chance, right? No. So everything has a base crit chance. For an attack, it's going to be your weapon. So this weapon has a 5% base critical strike chance. You see the 5th line down. Critical strike chance, 5%. Every percent increase off of the tree or elsewhere modifies that flat 5%. Think of that as flat 5 crit chance. And then I have how much crit chance on my tree? Oh, that's my total. That is the total crit chance. I don't think I can see like total increased crit chance. I probably have like 130, 150, 200. Yeah, so we have 200%. So I essentially have like a 15%. Well, no, it said 21. So I don't know what the other crit chance is. Oh, because you know what? Because this thing right here. See? Right here. 120%. So 5% is scaled up to 21% now. That's all it is. All right. Ebony Barracks. So once you get the tower key, you come back to the Ebony Barracks. You TP to the Ebony Barracks, and then you go into the right-hand side. You saw me go to the right once I hit the TP, and now you're in the Imperial Gardens. This zone is very important because it's 3 things. Number 1, your last trial of Ascendancy is in this area, so you can finally ascend, which is very huge. It's absolutely massive, the power spike you get from this. Secondly, you have a optional quest, which is very powerful. This one right here, the library. This gives you a quest, which unlocks a vendor, which can give you every skill gem up into this current point in the game for every class. There are a few other skill gems that you get later on that he doesn't sell, but then you'll find another vendor that does sell all of those as well. But this guy sells you essentially all the skill gems in the game. All right, so here's the guy. See Sosa. Make sure you hit the waypoint here. That's very important. Hit the waypoint. He's going to tell you to go find 4 golden pages. You're going to look for a zone, a little candle icon. It's usually pretty obvious. Here you go. Boom. It doesn't show you on the map the loose candle, but once you have like an alcove like this, it'll be pretty obvious that this is the right way. All right, hit this, and then you're gonna find 4 golden pages in here. I think now we're gonna could grab some more life real quick, but I'd rather go over here to the reservation efficiency. It's all the way over here, so I have to spend like 10 points to travel over there. I also get some sword crit, and I get some more life along the way, so this is a pretty good direction to go here. I need this life as well. Yeah, it's definitely more efficient to go down here. I'm going this way, because I get these impale nodes as well. What I'm doing right here, you don't have to worry about. This, don't worry about it, because your build guide will tell you how to do that. But I will explain why I'm choosing the nodes that I am, and that'll help you when you're following a build guide that already has all the nodes there for you. You'll be like, oh, okay, I want to take this node because it gives me more damage, and how's that the damage scales, and this one will give me more life, and blah, blah, blah. All right, so we're going to log out because we have the waypoint at CSOSA, and then we'll be good. Boop, boop, boop. Right here, go to library, turn pages in, and now he sells every single skill gem, and he also gives you a reward for it. So we probably want arrogance is useful. I will be using that eventually. I don't think I need impale. In fact, I definitely don't need impale. So arrogance support, that's the one that lets you reserve your life instead of your mana for stuff. This is really good for once we get into maps, especially. This will be nice. All right, I think we'll go arrogance here. All right, but more importantly, we can get our crit gems finally, man. The only thing is this guy, you still have to buy the gems with currency. You don't have the currency on you. It doesn't like read your stash. So I need 1 alteration, 1 transmutation orb, or once I find enough int, I'm like, wait, I can buy frostblink right now. I could drop the int right now. Heck yeah, dude. Boom. Now I should be able to. What? For what? Well, maybe we should take off the herald. Honestly, yeah, I think we should take off the herald. There we go. So now we can take off these 2 mana points here, and now we can go impale. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. And now instead of the herald, we just run precision. Not a big deal. Cool. So what I did there is I was only taking this node. If you were watching way back in the beginning, I only took this node for the plus 20 intelligence to use as a stat requirement for my frostblink. But I don't need to level up frostblink at all. It just gives it like extra distance, and it's not even that much distance. I took these 2 points out. Ooh, also my mana is super low. Maybe we can't run precision just yet. Oof. I need to get some kind of reservation first. Oh, you know what we need int for? Freaking crit support. I do need the int. I just craft int on these gloves. That's just not a good idea. That is not a good idea at all, but I'll do it anyway. Intelligence. There it is. All right, crit chance in there. Do I have enough chromatic orbs to try and get a... 2 green, 1 red, 1 blue is kind of likely with 6 chromatics. Let's see what happens. What's the worst that can happen, boys? Think I'm going to fail this? Come on. What are we, a baby? You know what? I'm keeping it. Nope, I'm not going to risk it again. All right, that's it with Siasosa. If I have to come back to him, I can always buy more gems again. Let's go back to the Imperial Gardens. We're going to find our last Trial of Ascendancy, which should be up here somewhere. Oh, we found the correct way here. I'll just unlock that real quick. Let's go back one more time to the waypoint. So here's our last trial. It's always going to be basically to the top right of the gym guy.
Precisely.
All right, so we need one more trial, and I forgot it back in Act 1. So if you go here to Act 3, and you go up to this little plaque right here, and then you click it, it'll just show you where they are. It says you completed. So right here, the prison, Act 1, not yet completed. So we're gonna go to Act 1 prison and go find it. There it is, right there. So remember, when you see that little book icon, that is the trial. Of course, I have to go this way first, though. Whoa, Jeweler's Art. That's pretty good. I'll take that, dude. I really do hope I'm helping you guys. This game has so much to it, so I understand it's still probably kind of overwhelming, but I really do hope I'm helping you guys more than not. I'm gonna take off Dread Banner for now. I just need more mana. It's just too annoying. All right, there we go. Last Trial of Ascendancy done. We're gonna go Ascend, boys. Here we go. Trial of Ascendancy. As soon as you can, you should complete the Labyrinth. The power spike that you get from this is insane. So when in doubt in the Labyrinth, go to the right. Go to the top right. That is essentially all you need to know. If you're getting lost, you're getting confused, go to the top right corner. GG. You found it. Here you go. Here's going to be the exit. It's going to be Aspirant's Trial. Bada bing, bada boom. You have to fight the boss 3 times total in the Labyrinth. Don't forget to grab the crafting recipe here, by the way. Boom. You have to fight him a total of 3 times. And the last time is the real time, obviously. So if you want to, you can kill... he'll spawn like little totems and stuff. Little portals, little totems. You can interact with them and kill them if you're worried about dying. It'll make the boss fight a little easier. Yeah, this damage is... welcome to Solo Cellfound.
You were born.
You were born for this. All right. There you go. Phase 1 done. We go again. Do I have a chance to bleed on still? Wait, I don't need chance to bleed on. Bro, okay, I'm griefing you guys. That's why I'm not dealing any damage. Bro, I have chance to bleed on. Actually griefing, dude. I cannot believe. What ambition. Amethyst Flash is pretty good because you chaos res, but not gonna use it right now. All right, past the point. We are still going down here. We're getting our chance to impale, overwhelm, blah, blah, blah. Champion? Yeah, we're going champion for sure. We're going impale, splitting steel, so champion seems like a no-brainer. I could go Slayer too if I wanted, but dude, holy moly, please die. There we go. Gnarled Branch, first unique item. Let's go. All those are garbage. Not gonna pick them up. 2 treasure keys. Here we go. Elegant sword. Hey, that's actually not bad. I think I'm kind of over-leveled for it now, though. That's not terrible. I wish the multi-strike worked, though. All right, gloves. Thank you. Gloves. We have good gloves? Nope. All right, what do we get here? 3% quality. Let's put quality on our main gem. So quality is a very important stat on your skill gems. If you hold the Alt key, see at the very bottom, it says additional effects from a quality, 0 to 40% increased infect of a pale. Did I say infect? So every 1% quality is 2% impale effect, which is very powerful. Again, remember, impale as a default thing deals 20% of the hits value that procs the impale as extra damage when you hit that enemy again. So the impale, like,
I'm impaled by a big stick,
and then you hit him again, he's like, I did bonus damage, So impale effect just increases that 20%. All right, so here is the Ascendency classes. When you finish the Labyrinth, you get your choice of 3 Ascendency classes. This should excite the ever-loving crap out of you. These things are so cool, man. These are classes on top of your class. They have miniature skill trees. These nodes are insanely powerful. They're build enabling. Sometimes, like this node right here, this is the only node in the game, for the most part, that says life leech effects are not removed when unreserved life is filled. That doesn't seem very powerful if you don't know what the game is, obviously. Just know that node, it's such a good node. This node right here essentially defines the entire class. That's how good it is. So these nodes are insanely powerful. Like right here, impact, 50% accuracy, 0.4 melee strike range, 5% AoE per enemy killed, up to 50% area, and 15% more damage from one node. So Ascendancy nodes are extremely powerful. We're gonna play the champion. I'm choosing this guy because we're playing Splitting Steel. Splitting Steel revolves around impaling, as I just described. So this guy has a node specifically for impales. Impales you inflict last 1 additional hit. That essentially impales usually lasts for 5 hits. This makes it 6. So it's a 20% more damage for impales, essentially. That's what that says. If you've impaled an enemy recently, you get extra armor. Armor is always nice. And for each impale on the enemy, again, we go up to 6 with this node, you deal 6 to 12 added phys damage. So that's 36 to 72 extra physical damage flat, which is really good because that'll scale all my other stuff. On top of that, we get extra attack speed, 20% extra attack speed, and immunity to stun, and a little bit of armor evasion. And you get permanent fortify. Fortify is a buff on your character that says you take 1% less damage from hits for every fortification stack, maximum 20. So essentially, if you're fortified on a build that uses it, you're going to be at max stacks. So 20% less damage taken is essentially what that node says. Specifically from hits, a hit is like an actual monster casting a spell and it hits you. So this would not decrease damage from like ignites, poisons, bleeds, that kind of stuff. Think about fortify the buff as 20% less likely to get one shot. That's a basic way to describe it, which is permanent, by the way. No qualifications. Once you take this node right here, fortitude, boom, you always have maximum fortification. And then finally, this node right here, 30% increase effect of non-curse auras. We're going to be running a bunch of auras. We're going to be running pride, which gives us a bunch of damage. So I have defensive auras like determination. This is going to be crazy powerful with that. Pride, which is an offensive aura, which is huge for damage. I'm probably going to run Grace as well, and I'm going to run Dread Banner, which is even more. Like, this node is insanely powerful. In fact, I'm tempted to take this one first, but no, I'm going to take the Impale one. Definitely want to go for the Impale, because you get an Impale chance here as well. Until you get 100% Impale chance, it's kind of like accuracy, where every 1% Impale chance you're missing is essentially, well, you could roughly equate every 1% Impale chance is roughly like, yeah, 0.3 to 0.5%. That is accurate. Sorry. All right, so we're going to take the Impale node. First, we should have a lot more damage now. Should feel pretty good, dude. Honestly, I am going to use that sword. And I'm going to use this shield too. I mean, screw it. Why not? I do need better gloves, so let's slap an alchemy orb on these bad boys. Okay, what do we need for our... Honestly, I can just use that. No, I kind of want 2 blues. I can put them here. Wait, okay. I know what I'm doing. Come on. Yes. Okay, I'm gonna need the int on our gloves. Dude, I'm trolling. Do I have essence? I do have an essence. GG. GG, noobs. Watch this. Ready? Boom. Please someone has open stuff. It does. All right, we're gonna get some int. All right, so what I'm doing here is I'm swapping my 4-link off of my weapon onto my glove slot, which means if I get a better weapon, I can just slap it on right away. We have to craft int on this, unfortunately. Who just farted? All right, we're gonna put in splitting steel, vicious projectiles, increased critical damage, increased critical strike chance. Boom. We should have way more damage to that, honestly. Pierce is not a good support gem for what we were doing. I was kind of trolling running that. Put that in there, put that in there. We need to put that in there, that in there, that in there, and that in there. All right, so now we have made that way more efficient, honestly, for damage. I'll put the shield on too. Here we go. 13% increased attack speed. GG. So after you do the labyrinth, you probably haven't killed the final boss yet, so you're gonna go, the final boss, the Act 3 boss. So you're gonna go here back to the gardens, and you're gonna find the Scepter of God, which if you remember, I already opened it a little bit. Oh yeah, here it is, Scepter of God. It's usually in the top right. It's always in the top right, not usually. It's literally always here. We're probably dealing like triple the damage before we ascended. Just by ascending and then making those changes to our skill gems, I'm like probably triple my damage. Whoops. Sorry, guys. Okay, so we're going to get into the mastery here with the Impale one. We'll probably take the 10% chance on hitting an enemy for all Impales to last an additional hit. It's like 10% more Impale damage, essentially. We're going to grab that bad boy because our Impale chance is like 70% now, I think. 70% on the money. It's not the right way. So for this zone, if you ever have to go outside into the range, it's not necessarily the wrong way, but it's definitely not the only right way, if that makes sense. You don't have to go outside. You still could potentially get to the next orange door from going outside, but you never have to. That's what I should have said. You never have to go outside. Tower rooftop. Here he is, Lord Dominus. I'm going to try and speed it up here, though. I've kind of explained the basics of everything. I'm still going to explain stuff, don't get me wrong, but I'm not going to go as in-depth on things. So this is my favorite zone. The regular aqueduct's pretty cool, but then the blood aqueduct in Act 9. Oh, baby. That's a classic right there. Maybe I see more crit chance, actually. Just more crit chance, more damage. I'm pretty close to another pair of crit, or another crit node. In fact, I'm literally 1 point away. I can grab these nodes 1 point away. I might do that. Might do that instead of going over to the mana reservation stuff. In fact, I will do that. All right, Dried Lake time. We're looking for kind of like a mini Azaro, if you will. GG. Look at that crit. Yeah, dude, if I hit a good crit, this guy's just dunzo. Question is, when are we going to crit again? Elegant foil could be very nice. Make sure you get the crafting recipe once you kill that guy. Once you kill him, you can just log out, save the portal scroll. All right, and then you go and open this big old door over here. So we're going to put our point here just for the pathing. Deshret Seal. You can talk to get a golem reward, but golems in this game are complete bait. Don't even bother. So mine's level 1. Doesn't have anything, but mine's... Actually, there's a crafting recipe. I lied to you. There is something here. Crafting recipes, you only have to find them 1 time, just for reference. Once you find them on any character, you never have to find them again. For that specific league, I should say. Okay, we need more intelligence level for crit gems. I just need to find int somewhere. We need to go solve this issue. We don't need to necessarily do it just yet. I can wait a little bit for these skill gems to level up, but we do need to fix our int. And honestly, I probably just swapped the cold res on the amulet to int. In fact, that's definitely what I'm going to do. We're overcapped on cold res. I'm going to do that right now. What am I saying? Yo, 30 int, 50 max life. I'm just going to run that instead. Holy crap. It's Saga resist on it or something. Boom. Fire damage. Unlucky. Put that... What? Strength. Now we need strength, man. Could get a better belt. Let's try and get a better belt real quick. Let's go back to Act 4 real quick. Yeah, that completely destroyed our character here. And here we go. 16%. All right, good enough. Let's go. Come on. I need strength. Is that an open suffix? No, it's not. It's such a better belt, though. I'm definitely going to put that on. Dude. Maybe we don't need the int with that. I guess we'll have to deal with not having enough int for our stuff just for the time being. Unluckers. All right, so that is the correct way. However, we have not found the passive skill point. There is an exclamation point icon you're looking for in the mines level 2, specifically level 2. Once you find that icon, that is an extra passive skill point. There it is. Sometimes you get unlucky and it's like all the way at the very beginning. So just click that icon. You don't have to kill anything. You can if you want. Just kill the little unique enemy right here. Some better gear. Poor favor. I'm actually getting pretty unlucky with gear drops, which is nice because this is a good learning example of when the going gets rough, how you fix things. Am I near a strength node, by the way? I'm literally right next to a strength node and an int node. Let's take the int first, and then we can slap on... Wait, no, I should take the strength first. Take that, put that on, and now we can level up these as well. Perfect. All right, we fixed our build, guys. Although resistances are... resistances are still pretty good, actually. This is what these nodes exist for, by the way. I need to explain this real quick. These nodes right here, when you get close to them, so they're always at like the junction points of a skill tree. So if you need extra stats, just take these nodes while you level up. How to counter bleeding? There's a couple different ways. You can get bleeding immunity on a life flask if you're using a life flask for your build. That's the easiest way. You get immunity to corrupted blood and regular bleeding off of the life flask. You can also get Pantheon node, which says you take no extra damage from bleeding while moving, which that is why you die from bleed. It's because you're moving. I think it deals triple damage. It works for bosses and stuff too, by the way. If you're doing a bleed build, you don't make them move. So that's why you're dying to bleed is when you're moving. If you just stand still, you just won't take nearly as much damage. You'll probably be fine. Corrupted blood doesn't work like that. Corrupted blood is its own beast. You just need to get straight up immunity for corrupted blood, like on a jewel or something, a passive, an implicit on a jewel. So the life flask, the Pantheon mod, you can just straight up chance to avoid bleed. There's some nodes on the passive tree right here. Bleed one is right here, right there. So chance to avoid bleeding, chance to avoid bleeding. So you get 50% off of this, and you get extra 50% off of like an abyss jewel, off of one of your eldritch goop implicits can have avoid bleed, I think. Mainly just use your life flask. That's been the tried and true way for many years. Level up, put this, we probably don't need the int, so I'll just keep that for now. Let's get some more crit, baby. Look at that damage. It's actually not bad damage. If I can just get a little more single hit damage, I'll have good leech all the time, and then we will just be permanently just wrecking things. But until that point, you're gonna have times like this where I just run out of mana. I'll just portal out here, why not? Maim is a debuff that makes enemies take increased damage. If an enemy is taking increased damage, that is a separate multiplier. Like your sources of increased oh, those are pretty good boots. If an enemy is taking increased damage, all of your other damage being multiplied by that value. We need some sockets on it though. We have 5 jewelers with our name on it. Boom, good enough. We can put our green over here, put our green right there, put our red right there, get out of there. 7 fire res, goodbye. Probably don't need this amulet anymore. So Maim is very powerful to get. Might be a better shield. 96 strength. Unfortunately, I don't have that. All right, we're gonna log out, save the portal scroll this time. Can I get another blacksmith whetstone? I think I can. This guy sells them. Yep, there we go. Just need 4 of them. All right, come on, baby. Like, this is already more damage. Okay, do I have a essence? Yes, I do. All right, what's this one? Physical attack damage. That's a suffix, I'm pretty sure. Boom, put it on. Oh, elemental damage. That is and I repeat, big oof. I'm actually still gonna use it because I think it's still better. I'm gonna chaos orb this. I just don't care. We're chaos orbing it. Okay, that's pretty good, actually. Holy crap. That's actually really good. Nice, dude. Huge. 91 to 186, and it has crit chance. I need to put some sockets on it, though. Hold on. Come on, baby. Let me see it. Dad needs a new pair. Boom! It's probably fine. Let's get one red on it. Boom. Perfect. I don't need the Maim on right now, honestly. Wait, I can do it here. Cool. Perfect. Perfect. Do that there, do that there, do that there, do that there. Cool. I'll put the sword in the stash just in case. I think it's going to be a significant upgrade, though. Shield as well. All right, let's go get our skill point from Tasuni. Is LA damage bad? Yes, you want to pick one specific damage type and scale it. And the vast majority of times, you're going to be scaling physical damage for an attack build, especially early on. You're not going to really stick to elemental damage. So physical damage on the weapon is far more important than elemental damage, and that's because a lot of these nodes on the tree will say increase physical damage with swords. Generally, just it's easier to just scale physical damage, and then if you're running elemental damage, just convert it from physical into elemental. You don't really need that flat elemental. It depends. There are definitely builds that use just flat elemental, but normally those are one-handed weapon builds, not two-handed weapon builds, because the attack rate is you get the flat damage from a bunch of other sources, not on the weapon, whereas physical damage is largely from the weapon itself. I know I just talked like about 10 billion things there. Yo, what? Hello? Where's my... Hello? Are we just dealing no damage right now? See, that's why I kept my other weapons. What is going on here? Hello? Let's go! If I don't crit, I don't do any damage, obviously. Man, is this better? Yeah, I think we're fine. So here's the tricky part of the run, of the leveling experience, I guess, where capped on resistance is nice. It's called socket pressure, I guess, is the best way to describe it. Because if I find better gear, I can't necessarily just slap it on because I actually need the gems that I'm using. I can't just like put them in my offhand to level for the most part. I need to have all the ones that are on my character still on my character. And we don't have a lot of currency to work with to fix our sockets and whatnot. I didn't mean to take that. Get our crit multiplier from here. 30% crit multi is very, very good. Yeah, our damage is not terrible. That guy is a red beast. Red beasts are significantly more tanky than regular ones. If we can actually just attack things, we're doing fine. Problem is, again, actually attacking things. I'm actually gonna grab this as well. 25 crit multi to unique enemies. That's a huge mastery to get for crit builds. We got a 5 socket, not a 5 link. If that was a 5 link, I would put it on and just YOLO some chromatic orbs on it. 5 links are very good if you get one to drop. Not terrible. That sword is actually pretty dang good. Has global crit multi as the implicit. I might scour that, see what happens. Or we can just alteration it, honestly. Oh, come here. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. All right, go back to town. Let's go get our quest reward real quick. All right, we're going returning projectile support, which actually it doesn't give me the option to get it. Are you kidding me? I have to spend my hard-earned alchemy orb to get returning projectiles? Say it ain't so. You get spell echo instead of returning projectile. Are you serious? Okay, so we're looking for double red and a blue linked together. Honestly, we'll just put it on here. Boom, perfect. All right, so now we're gonna go back to Act 1, grab a life tap support gem. We're gonna put that on Leap Slam and Frost Blink, and this should help a ton for our mana issues. Because what this does is it spends our life instead of mana. Or Leap Slam and Frost Blink. Cool. And now we can do Ancestral Protector and Maim up there. No problem. Okay, let's look at the gems here. Oh, look at that. Returning projectile support. One. Oh, I have an alchemy. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, mark on hit's really good too. It didn't give me two. The 2 gems I needed from that quest are returning projectiles and mark on hit. And 3. I need brutality as well. Oh, dude, that's rough. Okay, I think I'll go mark on hit right now. No, that's going to actually annihilate my mana, actually. That would straight up annihilate my mana. I'll level up returning prod, I guess. Don't need pierce for sure. All right, let's get a magic rustic sash. 1 blacksmith whetstone. Boom, boom, boom. 49. We serious? 49%? Honestly, still kind of better though. Yeah, might as well. May as well. What do we get? Boom! Cold res. Yeah, no, this is bad. This is bad. Goodbye. All right, continuing on. Back to Crystal Veins. We're gonna go over here. Grab the belly of the beast. Oh yeah, look at that mana bar. Look at that mana bar just chilling now. So this zone is really annoying. It's one of my least favorite zones in the entire game, actually. Usually, you want to hit the first left you see, and then just keep trying to go left. This zone is very annoying, but usually if you can just keep going left, you'll probably find the right way. Get me out of here. Oh, 2-handed sword. That could be the best item in the game, boys. Hey, more gloves. Are these better? Nope. Is this sword good? Nope. Remember, life resistances. If you're ever wondering, how does he know how the item is good so fast? Life resistances, and if it's a weapon, damage. Intelligence it is. My character is too dumb. I am literally hitting every dead end right now. This is crazy. All right, mark her up. Go. I missed the mark somehow. Okay, mark it up. There we go. You have to wait for her to finish animating, doing this stuff. And then you talk to her. She gives you a thingamabobber, and you say, thanks for the thingamabobber. I'm out of here. Goodbye. Goodbye. All right, here we go. Can you overcap with res? Yeah, overcap res don't actually mitigate the damage. 75 is the maximum for mitigation purposes, unless you get past that from a explicit modifier. It says like increase to maximum all res. Oh yeah, those crits are juicy. We're moving his health bar that much. Our damage is fine. And by proxy, our mana reservation or our mana regen is quite okay right now. Mana leech, I should say. All right, take this to the hideout. Go to our crafting bench. You'll see me use this thing a lot. Oh, it is full on prefixes. How? Oh, it's hybrid. That's why. Dang it, I got baited. So here's a good example. So 76% increased physical damage. I thought that was just one roll. Turns out it's hybrid. You can get hybrid fizz, which is percent fizz with accuracy rating. And then you can get accuracy, which is separate. And you get percent fizz, which is also separate. So I thought it was just 47 accuracy, minimum roll, a separate accuracy roll. But it's hybrid fizz with the accuracy. Unfortunate. And then that lightning res caps it off. This would have been a pretty good upgrade to my sword right now, but all good. You die? Thank you. Ah! Help bar. Help. That's no problem, right? It feels good to play. That's all that matters. Was that 3? I think it's a pretty good representation of PoE though. Quality of life is held hostage. You have to follow a build guide. It's pretty complex for new players, but it's like literally the best action RPG on the market. Nothing's even close to this game. If you like killing stuff, leveling up, and getting loot, this is the game. All right, cool. We killed Malachi. We log out. We come back to town. Save that portal scroll. Then you just ignore every other NPC as long as you talk to some of the people. Got your skill points and whatnot. And then go here to the Ascent. And then we're going to Act 5. Let's go. Versus your unguided thing. Okay, what do we need the res of? Probably nothing. I guess lightning res. Fire and cold. You know what? Fine, I'll go fire and lightning. 13% roll. Sure. It rolled double res, but they're all really low. They're both really low, so we're out of there. So here's a cool zone. If you just jump through the spikes here, you don't have to actually find the staircases. Just jump over those spikes on the broken wall there. And you should be chilling. All right, we are over leveled for this zone. Should probably speed it up. I do need gear though. Better weapon and stuff would be very nice. Boom. Where's my leech? Hello? Someone leeching my mana? Leeching my life. Hallowed life last. GG. Instant recovery. Cool. That's what I want. Also have bleed? Shock immunity. Yeah, that's fine. All right, I think we get our pierce in one more level. This is like projectile damage. Yep. And then we get one pierce there. I think I'll just take the one for now. I won't waste my passive point. All right, let's waypoint it up. Yeah, again, at this point, I'm not really explaining anything because there's nothing really new to explain. I'm just kind of follow my path through the zones. I'll explicitly mention if there's like a secret shortcut that I'm doing that you need to know about, but otherwise just kind of follow my general loop for each zone. Again, most zones are just a big U, right? Take the entrance, make a U shape. There you go. Bada bing, bada boom. I love the level up sound. Dude, this is one thing that you notice once you find a game that has a cool level up effect or sound or both, you can never unsee it, man. Every other game that you play, you're like, man, that was lame. Path of Exile is dope. All right, we got our pierce here. Maybe this should drastically increase our clearing capabilities here. The reason why I'm going down here first is because there should be a crafting recipe like right around here. All right, open the strong box. Give me the best loot in the game. Double leather belt. Honestly, I kind of want to see if I get strength on those. Yeah. Let's go out these real quick. Huh? All right, diamond flask. Use crit chance, baby. Oh, less duration though. Oof. All right, reroll that. Increase effect, reduced duration. It's not less duration, it's reduced duration. That's still pretty bad though. Let's reroll again. Dude, stop giving me reduced duration. Stop. Just stop. I don't want res either. Stop. No reduced duration. Thank you. Oh my word. I actually probably need that mana flask still. Put that in the stash though. All right, we need to alch these leather belts. Please be decent. Strength on that one. All right, you know what? It's strength. It has life and strength. That's all we care about, boys. And now we can level up our gems. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Let's get our passive point from this girl real quick. Valentia. She won't turn evil. She's a good guy. We could get some big upgrades here, boys. We could get some big upgrades. You ready for this? I'm gonna put a big upgrade on this guy. Let's go on this guy first. Boom, 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 boom. You ready for this? Alchemy orb. Boom. Done. That's actually a huge upgrade. Let's go, baby. Woo! That's hybrid fizz. Yo, if this did not roll at 6 to 123 lightning, we would actually have like a 400 PDPS weapon on our hand. That's not even a joke. I could use this till I get to maps. It's still really good. It's still a massive upgrade, but holy moly, it could have been even better. So our current weapon, 91 to 186 at 1.3. This is 116 to 225 at 1.53 attacks per second. On top of that, we have increased accuracy. On top of that, we have increased crit chance. That's a really, and it has life per enemy hit as well. It's not bad. That's a really good sword. Let's freaking go. I'm getting my extra projectile here. That'll help for clear as well. Here's my portal. Found it. Cleansed of impurity. Holy damage. Hey, that's not bad. Hey, that's not bad damage. I'll take it, man. So I think our biggest source for an upgrade right now would probably be our amulet. All right, here we go. I like to hit this waypoint and then I go down first. You definitely need to go in that door right next to the waypoint, but I don't like to do that right away. I usually go down here first and then just portal back to the waypoint. All right, crafting recipe. Thank you very much. Accuracy, rank 1. Holy moly. So in this zone, you're just looking at the 4 corners of it. Actually, it's only 3 corners. Top left, bottom right, bottom left. Looking in those corners for the green. Oh my gosh. The green little chest icons here. The yellow exclamation point on the chest. And then you open the chest and then you get the green quest item. Oh, I love Duelist Sleep Slam. It looks so good, man. All right, there you go. You got all 3. You can just log out, go back to town, deliver these to Lani. Lani, my mommy. What? I mean, what? Attack speed, nice. Garbage. No int on those. No movement speed on those. Oh, int on those. Nice. Life all res, but the so low. Both those rolls are terrible. Crit multi mana all res. Crit multi mana. Oh, it has int as well. That's so bad. That's such a bad item. But the rolls are actually pretty good. This amulet though, do we need it? Hey, we don't need it. Oh, yes we do. All right, you know what? I'm gonna alch another amulet. I'm greedy. Strength int. There we go. Plus mana enemy killed. I'll take a blue one. Here we go. Come on, baby. Give me a big boy roll. No, I need a big boy roll. Big boy. There you go. Boom, boom. Okay, and now we're going up here. We're grabbing this attack speed, attaxifier, an additional projectile. That's what we're going for. Additional proj is very nice. Look at that. We're chunking them, baby. Woo! Oh my gosh, what happened? I got 4% extra attack speed. The game said, hello. You made it. This is the real build. All right, so this is Kitava. This is the midway point of the campaign, kind of. It's the midway in terms of like the actual zones you're going through. The amount of time invested though, this is like probably 3/4 of the way through the campaign. You're pretty far once you kill Kitava for the first time. It won't take you that long to finish the rest. I think Act 1 takes, on average, like, geez, I don't know, like 15% of your campaign playthrough is the first act. Maybe even 20%, honestly, sometimes. Act 1 can take a long time on a fresh league start. Yeah, Act 1 is short. It's just you're figuring out your build and your items and your gems and all that. As a new, I'm saying as a new player. As a veteran, yeah, Act 1 will be super fast. All right, so Kitava Act 5 down. What's going to happen is I lose 30% to all my resistances. So we're good, actually, in fire and cold, but lightning res is going to go down to 25, which is not good. And we're perfectly capped on cold res. That's hilarious. All right. Let's go through the rest of the campaign. I'm actually excited, man, because now our build is actually online. I just get some passive points, maybe get another weapon upgrade here and there, get some cool boots or amulet or something. We'll be good. Okay, here's where I recommend the first thing you do is do this optional quest, Fallen from Grace from Lilly Roth. You go here to the Twilight Strand where you initially spawned. I know it was like eons ago now. Go to the initial spawn area. You're going to clear out this entire area, and then Lilly Roth is your new best friend. She sells every single skill gem in the entire game. Every single class, every single skill. Boom. You access them from this quest, so you have to do this quest to be able to buy all the gems. One monster remains. What's our damage like on him? Oh my gosh, that damage helped. His damage. Damn, let's go. Talk to Lilly Roth. All right, we're going to use a mark on hit support, and we're going to use brutality support. I don't have an alchemy orb. That's fine. Also, it's a good thing how you log him back in so quick. Just spam the enter key. It'll just default to your current character. You have selected on the menu. Okay, here's a good time to say. This is a good time about halfway through the campaign. Type /passives. If any of these are 0, you need to go back and do that quest. Just go to your quest log here. Just click through them. Find the name of it and just go do it. Definitely need to do that. All right, let's keep going. Keep trucking along. Not really anything to update you on except for that Kitava kill and the resistance minus. If you have some spare alchemy orbs and stuff, this is where I'd recommend you buy some jewelry from the vendor, like resistance rings or a stat amulet, and try and get some extra res. Usually jewelry slots are the easiest way to do that, so I recommend them specifically. All right, so here you actually don't have to go to Tidal Island again. Bestel's epic. You don't need to do that quest. I don't recommend you do it. Maybe it gives you a flask, actually. I forgot what it gives you. Again, you can do all of those optional quests. Just because I say don't do them, I'm just saying in terms of like time efficiency. But you definitely can do them. Where's this Mama Jama? There she is. I didn't mark the wrong one. Ah! Oh, yeah, we got some damage. Look at that, boys. Look at that. We're feeling like a build right now, boys. Let's go. All right, one more passive point. We get an additional projectile. It's going to be huge. The laws of war. Ah! Whoa, it hit me. No way. I was definitely out of the circle. What? That's a bug. Let's go. GG. That was the hardest boss in the game. Just got him. Just nailed him. All right, this is huge. Extra projectile here. Boom. That's going to increase our single target and our clear speed. Single target, not yet, but I'll explain that in a second. All right, so again, we're here in the prison. You are looking for the Trial of Ascendancy because you need to get different trials for the harder difficulties, essentially. So here's a little book icon. Remember, the book icon is generally where the lab trial is going to be. So here's the book trial. Here's the lab. Boom. Or here's the book icon. Here's the lab trial. Boom. I think I want to go down here. I want to go for some, I don't even know, 5 divines. Obviously, you need a lot of stat stats for that. So same thing here. Once you kill Brutus, both times, Act 1 and Act 6. Once you kill Brutus, you can just TP out, or by TP, I mean log out, just reset. What colors do we want? We actually want this color right here. Well, not the base type, but the colors. See if we get a good item here. Ooh, that's not terrible. I need the strength though. I actually need the strength on mine. That's so sad. It's a full suffix. Can I get strength elsewhere? We have 136 strength. We need 109 there, 109 there, 109. This has 21 strength. Wait, we're good. Wait, we're good. Okay, so now we get better gloves. Perfect. I think we solved our end problems. I could get this mana node here. Mana reservation efficiency, and then we can run precision again. Let's put that helmet in here for now. Nah, it's not a good helmet. It's not worth it. I'm looking for big boy upgrades right now. None of these are big boy upgrades. All right, so here, you do want to follow that pathway, but first you need to do an optional quest to get an extra passive point. So just go out like you're in Act 1. If you remember the ship graveyard, going to that area. You're basically acting like you're going there. They're going to find a doorway right here. Mr. Abarath, which he's gonna melt me because I have no fire damage. No pun intended. Oh, our damage is crazy though. What the heck? Abarath's usually pretty tanky. All right, we go over here too. All right, so here is Western Forest. You don't actually need to do anything here, so you just keep walking through it. This is a dead zone. You just leave it. Goodbye, zone. Goodbye, Western Forest. See you later. Follow the path. Keep following the path. Don't deviate from the path. Okay, so you get that waypoint, same idea as in Act 2. Once you get the waypoint in the Riverway zone, you follow the broken path, and then you just go to this doorway here. This is an optional quest, but it gives you a passive point, so it's not optional. Every quest that gives you a passive point, you're doing it. All right, so kill this little thing. Wait, what? Someone alive. Oops. Kill these little nests right here. It'll spawn the boss. Boom, boom, boom. She does chaos damage, by the way, so you might want to watch out. You now have negative 30% chaos res thanks to Kitava, the man, the myth, the legend, Kitava. Best item in the game right there. Chain hook. GG. GG. Not even close. All right, we don't really need more life. I feel tanky enough, so I'm going to go all the way over here to the reservation nodes. I went the wrong way. Let me go down here. Orange door. Remember, you're always looking for the orange door. Well, that's a huge leap slam. What the heck? Yo, I'm about to show you the craziest skip in the game. I guarantee even some of you guys that have been playing this game for years don't know about the skip I'm about to show you. You ready? I'm not joking. Look at the screen. You looking? Not yet. Okay, it's gonna be like 30, probably like 2 minutes. You have to charge these things. This is the worst part about this act. I love Act 6, except for this right here. This is the worst part. All right, ready for this? Look at the screen, boys. You ready? Even you veterans now. Watch this. I need those gloves actually. Hold up. Watch this. You ready? Light the beacon. Put the thing in. Boom. Greatest skip known to mankind. It saves you approximately 0 seconds because you can just walk down the stairs and by the time he shows up, you're there. But it doesn't matter. It looks cool. This zone's kind of annoying. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna take down the hardest boss in the game, the Brine King's Reef. This filter shows too much crap, man. I might change this.
Sail me out, baby.
All right, let's finish the campaign. No more messing around.
The Mosin Iron Sights is mentally insane and should be admitted to the nearest asylum.
Oh, yo, we're about to get Merciless Cruel Lab done, boys. That's actually huge for us. I don't really know what I want to upgrade on my character just yet. I think my helmet needs a big upgrade. Yeah, my helmet needs a massive upgrade. So get that waypoint in this area and then come down here to the crypt again. Level 55 billion. The PoE boot camp, you know what I'm saying? So we need the lab trial here, but we also need a quest item. So do not just leave the crypt. Leaving the crypt is only Act 2. Once you get to the Act 7 crypt, you need to actually do the quest in here. Unlike the other time, the golden hand, you don't need to do that. All right, let's just do this real quick. Let's go to the Chamber of Sins and we'll call it good. Actually, let's get the trial in Chamber of Sins and we'll do Cruel Lab. Ah, that's what we'll do. All right, let's do this real quick. We'll do the Malagaro's map. Yeah, this will be good too, because I can blow through the rest of the acts, no problem, on part 2, day 2 of PoE boot camp, and then we can just focus on endgame. Got him. All right, I think that's it. Sell our stuff real quick, and we'll be good. Let's do Cruel Lab real quick. Just real quick. Just a quick little Cruel Lab. Going any millisecond now. What? I missed what? What did I miss? I got Crypt. Oh, I didn't do Chamber of Sins. Hold on, 1 second. Hold on, almost got it. Secret passage, din. Boom. Now we go back to here. Now we go back down to here. Because now we know exactly where to go for the lab trial. Which is right here, upwards. All right, GG. It is time to complete the labyrinth. You know what, let's just complete it real quick. It'll take like a minute. Again, top right, labyrinth. And then if you're in doubt, go top right in the labyrinth. There you go. Wow, Aspen's Trial, number 1 out of 3. Get another craft. I think this is all resistances. Double resistances. Good. Actually, that's really good. Double res is super, super good. All right, one more. Come on. Come on. Thank you. That's all garbage. I guess that actually still harms okay. The Great Crown. The rest of that's garbage. All right, let's go. Boom. One key to rule them all. All right, 10% quality. GG. 4%? Whoa, wrong one. 4% quality. Oh, level 56. I'm about to say we're missing a stat requirement. All right, cool. We waste our points here on force. Actually, we get yeah, 15% armor. Let's go. So my goal was to complete the entire campaign in one playthrough on my stream. However, that didn't happen because, you know, family came over and they had pizza with them. So, you know, I just wanted to go hang out with them and had some pizza. So what I've done so far is I swapped some resistances around. This ring had fire res. Now it is lightning. These boots have crafted cold and lightning. Swapped the belt out, which basically means we're at max res right now. You know, need a little more lightning, but we're fine. Got a little more life as well. And for the rest of the campaign, I'll just do it offline here. I will record things like noteworthy drops, cool passive points acquired, stuff like that. But for the most part, I'll just blow through the rest of the campaign. Hey, these are pretty good boots. Just need to craft some life on them and we're good to go. Never mind, they can't have life. All right, so I just found a couple things here. We have a 4 link, but 6 sockets. I'm gonna try and try my luck here with 16 fuses, try and get a 5 link. Let's see what happens. And 2 left. I'm gonna keep it at that because we can always, nah, I'm going again. Boom. Unlucky. And then the boots. These are actually just pretty good boots. They have an open suffix for another res. They have very little life, but 30% movement speed, armor, and some chaos res. Looks pretty good to me. Just found this helmet. Pretty big upgrade here. Got some life, got some cold res, fire res. Even has another prefix. Get some more life on it. Bada bing, bada boom. And that was what I upgraded from. Found this pretty nice chest piece. Just need a tiny bit more strength before I can put it on. I'll probably find a way to get that. Got a really nice dagger drop, cold iron point, but it's not going to be used for any build that I'm going to make on this character, so unfortunate. What? Did that thing just one-shot me? This is a very nice ring. Again, not for any build that I'm going to be doing on this character. Unfortunate, but good drop. Bro, who? Very cool boss, dude. Very cool. Put a freaking ghost in the room and it infects the boss. And then that happens, bro. Very nice. All right, right here. DPS, 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 DPS. Look at that damage. Look at that. You gotta dodge him. Gotta kite it around. Don't get hit forehead. Boom. Got her finally. Jeez, that's dumb. What was that? Are you serious, man? What is this? Holy boss fights right now, man. Insane. All right. Act 9 done, and I just kind of forgot that I forgot to record the Act 8 boss kill. Oops, my apologies. So Act 9 done, we're moving into Act 10. I'm gonna give a quick little overview of Act 10. Just pro tip, you actually only need to complete 3 quests. That's right, 3. It is gathering the Seal of Purity from the Desecrated Chambers, killing Valentia, and then of course killing Kitava, the final boss. That's it. So obviously I'll record myself doing those 3 things, just so you have the reference point, but just want to give you an overview of Act 10. It's very, very, very fast. All right, so here's how you do Act 10 as fast as possible. From the entrance, which is coming down from the rooftop right here where my cursor is at the orange door. You're gonna run all the way through here. Don't go through the middle path because it's blocked off and there's also blockage here. You're gonna run through here, the right side, then book it left, come to the waypoint. You can hit the waypoint and then run actually all the way back down to where you spawned in Act 5, the control blocks. That's where you kill Valentia to get the passive point. So before we go into the Desecrated Chambers, we're gonna go all the way back down here. I will update you once we reach the boss. Got a pretty interesting ring drop here. I might be able to fit this into my build somewhere. It gives me quite a bit of crit chance, which I am a crit build. So I'll see what I can do with this. All right, so here we are at the entrance to the Valentia boss fight. Again, you're just coming all the way down to here, and there's a little opening in the wall. That's where the old waypoint is right here. You can see it's broken. Just going in here, and then we're gonna find the boss in here, kill her, and then go waypoint all the way back up to the top to go finish the act out. So So you can see we're getting quite a bit of damage off on the boss when she's sitting in a corner because of the way that splitting steel works. Every single projectile that you see on the screen has an AoE explosion when it ends the flight, the path. So if the boss is next to a wall, like that, we're just gonna annihilate her with a couple explosions, unless she just moves away like that. Oh well. Boom. All right, so that's the boss. Got a passive point. We're gonna log out and then finish out the act by TPing all the way back to where we were before. Dang. Okay, so we just YOLO'd one Chaos Orb here on this sword. Has an open prefix, so I'm gonna take it into my hideout, craft flat physical damage on it, and this is an absolutely gargantuan upgrade over my current weapon. This weapon right here is 512 physical damage per second. This is 260, so quite literally just doubled my damage. Nice. Cool. Once you kill this guy, you can just log out, go back in, and then it's off to kill Kitava. But I actually highly recommend, before you go to Kitava, to actually go do the Merciless Labyrinth. Because once you kill Kitava, you get minus 30% to all resistances, and then you're just stalling until you can actually, finish off Kitava, because you have to get your gear upgrades, blah, 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 before you go into the Labyrinth, unless you want to die to Azaro. So I highly recommend that before you go to Kitava, you actually do the Merciless Labyrinth, which I will go do now. Okay, there's the last Trial of Ascendancy, and I also forgot to mention the other Trial of Ascendancy. The one in Act 8 is in the bathhouse right here. The one in Act 9 is in the tunnel right here. And then Act 10, I am in the ossuary right here. And that's how you get all the trials for the Merciless Labyrinth. Also, for doing the labyrinths, you absolutely want to use a site called PoE Lab. Just go to poe.lab, click on whatever labyrinth you're doing. So for me, it's Merciless Lab. Then you get the entire layout here. Just the area where the dot is on the circle is where you should be going roughly when you enter that area. So if you go to the top right in that area, it'll lead you to this one. Right, go to this one, right to that one, left, take you there, etc., etc. So just find the shortest path. You don't have to use your brain, just follow this. Easy clap.
Failure is an illusion.
No, what?
Those who ascend
I'm trolling. I pressed the R key, but it did not register. Oh, well. Go again. Oh my gosh, no way. Okay, so we just dropped a lightning. I dropped a straight up 5 link, so I can just use that once I get a little more int. But we also dropped a lightning coil, which is an absolutely crazy chess piece for defensiveness. The 50% of physical damage from hits taken as lightning damage is just insanely powerful. I'll explain more in detail if I can manage to fit this into the build. I probably can, though. This is gonna be great. We need 3 green and 2 blue. Should be very easy to get. 3 green, 2 blue. There it is. All right, now we have to try and get our int requirement up, or int stat up, to meet the requirement. So we're gonna look for actually something like that, or that works too. I guess we're just gonna put that on. See with our augment orb there. Mana is not very good. Actually, what I'll do is I will roll this. Oh my gosh, that's perfect. Let me do that. Okay, it rolled terribly, but then we can go to our hideout. We can slap on some more resistances. Actually, we'll just put that up, 8%, perfect. And we lost strength. Oops, we need strength somewhere. Well, let's see if we can find strength. I don't need that int anymore on gloves, because our something else has int here. We have to do some, wow, actually, wait, we need a ton of int. Did that even give me extra int? Yeah, it gives me tons of int. What am I saying? Oh, and this gives int as well. Okay, so what we can do is we can scour that chess piece, put an alch on it. That's actually really good. And then we can just craft on strength for right now on this thing and call it good. Okay, now all of a sudden we can use all of our gear again, and I have the 5 link on. This is going to exponentially increase my damage because I'm going to socket in returning projectiles. GG. As you see, the difference with the support gem is pretty massive. I'll show you on the Azaro fight. Watch this rare bop, 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 bop. Pretty big difference with that support gem socketed in. What? His name is crazy. What the heck? And we just got a 6 link, but it's a staff. That's actually not a terrible staff either. It's pretty bad. But wrong base type. Can't even use it. But we get 20 fuse orbs. That's cool. All right, here we go. 3rd time's the charm. Right, guys? Surely, surely. Shotgun him, get up close, nice shotgun, boom, nice. Another 5 link. Wow, I'm getting 5 links like crazy. It's definitely not a base stop I'm going to use, though. Cool.
I shall strike you down.
That's pretty crazy damage. Returning projectiles, by the way. This heart's usually really tanky. Let's see what we do to it. Oh, yeah, our damage is looking solid right now, boys. All right, here comes the heart. Final blow. Going in hot. Yeah, that's some nice damage. That's some very nice damage. Very nice. Pick that up. Garbage. Just pick this up. All right, cool. Kitava's down, which means that we are on our way to mapping. Obviously, I'm going to wait to map until I go on stream. So once you kill Kitava, each time actually, but the final time here, you get minus 30% to your resistances again for a total of 60%. So going into maps, we have 14 fire res, 42 lightning res. We're still capped cold res. So I'm going to have to do some serious work to try and get my resistances up here. So here we are after just finishing the campaign. Let's do a quick overview of the character. This sword, again, I just alked randomly and then used 1 chaos orb on it to get this. Pretty good. Helmet is okay, has double res, a little bit of life. Amulet as necessary. It's not pretty good. It's not that good rather, but it's necessary. The int and the strength requirements. It's actually a decent ring, a little bit of life, damage, resistances. This ring is trash. We're gonna try and upgrade this ASAP. That'll be probably the first thing I alk. These gloves are also complete garbage. Literally, I just need them for the intelligence, so we're gonna upgrade those as well. So these gloves, that ring, we're gonna upgrade those ASAP. This belt's actually okay, but it only has 2 mods on it. Obviously, we're gonna look for a way better belt once we get maps. And these boots are also pretty okay. So for the passive tree, we are currently doing something like this. We have finished all 3 labyrinths. We're waiting for Uber Lab to get the maps, and then once we get Uber Lab done, we will grab this node here. For the general tree, I'm scaling projectile damage, critical strike chance, critical strike damage, and then just generic physical damage here with this node. That mastery, we have a little bit of reservation efficiency here. That'll be useful for once we grab another 50% aura, such as determination or grace. Other than that, it's just like sword, crit chance, crit damage, life, more reservation efficiency here. I'm working my way towards this jewel socket here. That'll be the first thing I get, is we can get our stat requirements from jewels pretty easily. That's my goal there. We have 2 passive points here. If you have things like this on your passive tree when you're going into maps, you should try and fix these immediately, because it's just not worth using your passive points. Your passive points get exponentially more powerful the higher your level. Like, I'm not joking. If you're level 85, 86, and you level up like 3 times, you probably just got like a 20% overall increase to your power on your character from just 3 points, 3 levels essentially. So try and not use passive points for things just to fulfill stat requirements. Not a good idea. And yeah, other than that, we're just, crit chance, crit damage, the usual stuff. And it's feeling pretty good. Returning projectile support is absolutely bonkers. There is a ring that gives you the same thing. It says projectiles from supported skills return to you. Well, it says projectiles from skills return to you, not supported skills. But that ring is called Nimbus, and it's a very, 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 very rare drop. And it's also from a super in-game boss. So if we get that ring, it'd be incredibly lucky, and it's not going to happen for a very long time. But in the meantime, we use the support gem, which essentially does the same thing. Just those projectiles deal 63% less damage while they return to you. Doesn't matter because you're shooting so many projectiles, and it's a massive multiplier to your overall damage. This support gem alone is probably like 5x my damage at least, if not a little more. Absolutely gargantuan support gem here. And yeah, other than that, that's pretty much where the character stands. I will do a little bit of resistance swapping and whatnot and see if we can cap our resist before maps. With here, I have a potential upgrade for my helmet. My current helmet's actually pretty good, but if I need the extra fire res off of this one, then I can always swap it out. So that's why I have this one waiting in the wings. We have these gloves here with no life, but they have double resistances on them, which will be quite nice. So these are potentially going to replace these. We'll put them over here for now. And we have this ring right here, which has intelligence, a little bit of cold, a little bit of lightning res. So if we need the extra intelligence after we alch these things, I have it ready and waiting. So we have this, which is blank, this, which is blank, and this, which is blank. So we're going to toss alchemy, alchemy, alchemy. That's a pretty good ring, actually. Wow. And I think it has an open suffix. Yep. So this can have another resist on it. So this ring is absolutely being socketed on. This amulet is garbage. And this amulet, unfortunately, was almost good. If that +2 to all attributes said like +20 to all attributes, that would have been pretty good. So it's full on both prefixes and, yeah, it's full on everything. So not the best amulet. So what we're going to do here is actually slap a couple chaos on it, see what happens. That is not ideal. I need more intelligence or some extra resistances. It's also not ideal. We go again. Dexterity, don't need the stat. And the last one gives us strength. Interesting. I think I do need the strength. I definitely could save a passive point with that. So maybe this is okay. So let's go ahead and see what happens. So if I put this on, I no longer have intelligence. Yep, I need 109 intelligence. I have 83. So what we can do is slap on that ring. Now we're at 104, so we're almost there. Nothing else has intelligence. Is kind of unlucky. That amulet. So maybe we can put the amulet back on. There we go. Okay, so we didn't need to swap the amulet after all. Which means we probably cannot. Yeah, we need to keep the passive point here because otherwise we can't use our gear. So that's fine for right now. And what our resistance is like this. So we're way better in cold and lightning. However, we have 7 fire res. That's not gonna fly. This ring has fire res. Do we need the intelligence off of that? We actually don't need the intelligence on this ring. Cool. So all of a sudden, now we're looking a little better. We have these gloves here. Now we need the intelligence. Hold on. All right, so we're gonna swap that back. So 35. Perfect. Now we're looking good. So cold and lightning, that can switch over to just straight up fire res. That lightning res needs to stay. Actually, that could be hybrid probably. And this something has an open suffix, right? Oh no, it was like this ring has an open suffix. Yeah, this ring is crazy good. I need to use this ring eventually. Just can't use it right now though, unfortunately. Oh wait, maybe I can. No. Okay, so this is definitely the setup I'm gonna use, and then I'm gonna look to nope, no suffix there. Do I need the strength? 15 strength, probably. I don't really need. Wow, you need 140. Wow, Red Banner has that requirement. I was gonna say I don't need Ancestral Protector to level up too much, if that's where the strength requirement's coming from, but no, it's coming from Dread Banner. 142 on that. That is kind of crazy. Okay, so I think I'm in a better spot right now. We just need to swap some resistances over to fire res. The first thing will be on these boots. I need to go ahead and buy a Scour Orb because I'm pretty sure I'm out. Just buy one of those. Go to the hideout. Come over here. Bada bing, bada boom. These boots are going to just fire resistance. We can't use the top tier one. Oh, that rolled really poorly. And we lost our cap on lightning res, but that's okay. We can definitely fix that as well. This thing is full on suffixes. Unfortunately, this belt, if I get a regal orb, did I get another regal orb? I had one at some point. No. So if I get a regal orb, I can regal the belt, or what am I saying? Regal the belt? Am I trolling? Here's what we can do. We can go to here. We can talk to her. We can buy another belt. Ooh, strength and life on that belt. She didn't sell regal orbs, right? No. Well, she doesn't sell one, so we're going to go to Act 10. Every single act has a different set of vendors, so if you're looking for something and the vendor doesn't have it, just go to a different act. So we're going to go down here. Don't go too far down because the item level of the item that you're trying to buy probably matters. Oh my gosh, we have to buy another Scouring Orb, both the same item level. This one has 39 life. Good, I chose the right one. All right, and then we're gonna go flap and alchemy orb on that. Boom, we get fire res, strength, oh, that's actually huge. That is actually so nice. So it's definitely an upgrade over my existing belt, and that gives me the strength, which means I can probably take off. I don't know if that actually opens up anything for me. Darn it. But it puts me basically at capped res, and I think I'm just gonna roll with this. 70 fire res, 71 lightning. We're barely under capped. For the start of maps, this will be perfectly fine. And once you get into maps, you get a ton of loot. Like a metric booty butt ton of loot starts dropping compared to just regular campaign. It's like literally 3x the amount of loot. So I think this is what I'll do right now. I'm gonna craft on physical damage to attacks on this thing, not with chaos orbs. Boom, just get a little more damage. Just make sure all of your gear is full on modifiers because you're just missing out on power for no reason if it's not full. Well, crafted, you know, like this thing is not full, but you can only craft one thing at a time, so that one is technically full. All right, cool. I think we are good to go. Oh, I totally forgot about my helmet. Oops. I can do what does that do me? Oh, look at that. Boom. All right, capped on fire, and we're 4 off on lightning res. That's totally fine. If this, wait a second, I can do fire and lightning, and GG, we're capped. Yep. All right, we actually just capped our resistances. Good stuff. Hold on, I'll show you. And this is the dance. You have to do this dance at the start of the mapping experience every single time because you don't go into maps without capped resistances. You're just gonna fall over and die. Oh, here it is right here. 1, 2, boom. Go here, change this on over to fire and lightning resistance like that. And we are capped on absolutely all of our resistances. Our defenses are looking okay. I'll just have to fix my sockets real quick, which should be very easy. I have plenty of jewelers and chromatics. I might as well keep doing it because I'm doing everything, doing everything on the recording, so I might as well just finish it off. This has an open prefix as well, so we can craft on a little bit of armor and evasion rating. Armor and evasion, boom, boom, boom. Oops, I need to put that here. So we're going to spam. So we got 4 sockets like that. What colors do we need the most? We need reds like that. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We only need 1 link there. Ancestral Protector and Maim needs to be linked. We have Dread Banner just chilling by itself right there. Put Precision on the helmet as well. Put Grace in the green socket there. Put Determination in the red socket there. Ladies and gentlemen, we have just fixed absolutely everything on our character. We have basically the same amount of life. It's actually pretty low. It's pretty low life. We need to get some more life on the gear. Yeah, gloves don't have any life. Belt has a good amount of life, actually. Boots are pretty low. That ring has no life. That ring has low life. That amulet has okay life, and the helmet has okay life. We just need to get more. Oh, the 15 strength. Do I need that? Oh, I don't think I do. Hold on. Oh, baby. Do I need it now? Yes, I do need it now. All right, so we'll keep that on, but we save a passive point, which means we can put this passive point. Where was I going? I was getting my jewel socket. Cool, and that's what I can get some stat requirements for too. Now we have an open jewel socket. I think I sold all the jewels. If you're playing solo self-found, I'm only playing solo self-found for demonstrative purposes, such as me, fixing all my resistances and stuff, just to demonstrate to you guys that it's really not that hard. You just have to know what you're looking for and know what you're doing. But if I play solo self-found, I usually keep a bunch of jewel drops just so I can, once I get my first jewel sockets, just immediately craft one and put it on. This is still a really good ring. If I can figure out how to use this is gear that I'm gonna try and use eventually. This gear's trash. I'm gonna sell it. What else could we potentially put back on? Maybe that helmet. That helmet's pretty bad though. That amulet's bad. Cool. All this is garbage. Just vendor it, get it out of our system, out of sight, out of mind, as they do say. Cool. All right, so again, we are capped on resistances now. Our damage is feeling very good. We have Merc Lab done, and we are ready to begin mapping. But with that, I will catch you boys later, and I'll see you back on the stream. Goodbye.